We're live? Refresh that right there just to make sure.
Me?
Yeah, you're watching on the stream.
Yeah, we're good.
There we go.
We're live.
We are live.
I'm giving out the first grade. Us being live. We have an A.
We figured it out.
We managed.
Add a plus to there for my elite refresh.
There we go.
Here. A++. We are live. I don't even know how well these get seen in front, so this will be a good test.
I do like the eraser on this, though. That's nice.
Eraser's not. Oh, there we go.
I thought I was going to be making
That looks solid.
Smudge marks?
Yeah, just smudging the whole time.
Well, if you didn't have an eraser, then we'd have to really split the board up.
For everyone watching right now, thank you for joining us. We are, let's start with our names because it might not be the most familiar faces to everyone that knows Bar Down because obviously we are hockey-centric for the most part, but we've got Eric, we've got Christopher Hein, also known as the Digital Sports Center producer.
That is me.
And we've got Matt Hempstead on the camera. His shot will come up and his voice will be heard. He's waving right now. Absolutely unreal. We love it. We're here for one reason and one reason only, and that's the NFL draft. This is like Christmas for football fans.
I was going to say, is this your favorite day of the NFL calendar? Like, a lot of people say Super Bowl, and I get that. I love the Super Bowl, but it's only like really exciting for two fan bases. I feel like everyone can get excited for the draft unless you trade it for Russell Wilson. Then
I'm still excited for the draft.
Yeah.
Honestly, as a Bills fan, the draft used to mean so much more to me. But now when we're the best team in the league, it's not as important as it once was in the J.P. Lossman, Ron McCargo, terrible draft pick era. But I still love the draft, though. It's awesome. It's it brings on hope, especially if your team's garbage. It's a good day to be a football fan.
I figured you would like the draft more because you haven't been to a Super Bowl in over 30 years.
I was gonna say the only thing I'll like better is if my team is in the Super Bowl. But other than that, free agency is okay. The draft is so much
Free
better.
agency just rips your heart out all the time, constantly.
Here's a question, though. Did this year's free agency, which was arguably it was like an NBA free agency, did how good this year's free agency take a little bit of the luster away from the draft because free agency was so crazy?
Maybe, and I think also the fact that there are no QBs that are exciting in this draft as far as top 10 guys go. That really has taken some of the, I don't want to say luster out of the draft, but it's a more wide open board than I think we've seen in a long time.
If you're looking for the star players and stuff like that, I do get that. But this is the first draft we've seen in years where every mock draft is so different.
Yeah.
Kayvon Thibodeau could go 2. Kayvon Thibodeau could go 12.
Yeah.
I have no idea where he's going.
He's the ultimate kind of boom bust guy. And
Right? But there's so many players like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So many guys have been saying, just in terms of the drafts and in the history of drafts, it's 1, 2, probably we know what's going on, and then after that, could be literally
But
anything.
there's late buzz that Hutchinson might not go 2, that Thibodeau could go as early as 2, which is kind of crazy, especially when for the longest time Hutchinson was penciled in at 1 for pretty much this whole pre-draft process until Monday.
Thibodeau was penciled in at 1 forever before that,
Yeah.
I feel like. But either way, what's going on in the chat, everybody?
Matt looks good. Matt looks really good. So first of all, let's explain some of the things we're going to be doing because there are obviously... This is the first draft I think we've all experienced where we're not at home. Just every year I order a pizza and watch the draft and go along with my own mock draft and try and do that. And so this year it's obviously very different. We're going to be talking about every pick that's made, but we've got some whiteboards here. We already gave out a grade for us being able to start the stream.
A++. All right.
Exactly. So every time a pick is made, we will announce it and we will immediately give our grade for that pick on our whiteboards. Now, in the comments, you guys are probably going to be blowing us up and being like, this is who the pick is because we've already seen the number 1 pick leaked supposedly from Shams.
A basketball guy.
Hey,
I love it.
Don't do that.
No.
Stop. I'm not trying to wait in line at the movie theater for someone to tell me what happens in the movie.
Exactly.
I want Mr. Roger Goodell to tell me what's going on.
Exactly. And so that's how we're going to be doing this. We're not going to look at any leaks. We're going to be watching along the draft as if Twitter does not exist and we will find out the picks in real time. It's more fun that way.
That's the best way to do it. Honor system. Obviously, I'm going to have Twitter open because I'm an addict.
For sure.
But just in case we hear some leaking of trade stuff. Apparently the Chiefs are trying to trade up. I learned that on Twitter. And then I also saw the first pick was ruined, even though we knew it was going to be Walker anyways.
How awful would it be to see Matt's heart get ripped out when the Packers take 2 quarterbacks in the first round?
Yeah.
I'll say this. Someone would have wasted $44 billion if the Packers do not take a wide receiver because Packers Twitter will literally implode. It'll be a nightmare.
It'll be insane.
Which-
but we want those genuine reactions. That's why we're doing this.
Love
That's
that
why
it
we're
took 5 minutes for a Musk comment. We already got to Elon. We're 5 minutes in.
Sorry.
Love it. This is going to be fun. We are also going to do a few other things. We've got a tier list, which I will bring up right now. And you can see every team is on here from the Super Bowl finalist Bengals at the top here. There really is no order of this, but it's going to go in the order of the draft. So Jacksonville is the first team we'll put on this tier list, obviously. Actually, maybe the teams that don't have first-round picks will put on this tier list as well.
What are the rules for ranking this?
I'm going to explain.
Like, what are
Glad
we
you
based
asked.
on?
That's a great question, Eric. So what this is based on is basically after a pick is made, where you see this team going into this season, just after this first-round pick and free agency into account. And so the Falcons,
Why?
absolutely.
I don't care who they pick. They're still going to suck.
That's a great selection right there. We could probably put that one in right now. And it wouldn't matter who they take unless like.
So, but is it though based off of their draft or what we think they are next?
Where
season?
they fit even after the draft.
It's based on where they fit after the first round of the draft. You include free agency as well and just what you think of these teams. So that's one thing that we're going to do. We're also going to be doing a bit of a quiz. I came up with 5 questions draft related, and I don't know when we'll get to them. We'll get to them at some point. Honestly, Matt, let's bring in question 1 if we can right now, because let's get the comment section rolling here. I know everyone loves quizzes. Anyone that watches us loves quizzes.
It's the bar down brand.
It is. This is the first kind of football one we've tried, and I will wait until.
So Diego in the chat just asked why I'm a Ravens fan. So just real quick, I feel like football fans in Canada are so random unless you cheer for the Bills or a team close to your hometown. So
I think let's not be Toronto centric. I think in the West Coast too. If you're in the West Coast, it makes sense. If you're a Seattle fan,
that's just what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like if anyone relatively close. So I just picked the Ravens because I was young, liked their jerseys, liked the colors, and I watched Ray Lewis hit a guy, and it was quite exciting.
That's fair. You don't need any other reasons than that. Okay, the first question I have for you, because we'd mentioned the quarterbacks off the top, and so they may not go in the top 5, they may not go in the top 10, they may not go in the top 15. When was the last time no QB was selected in the top 5 of the NFL draft? Drop your answers in the comments.
Are we
if you
writing
know
this
it.
on our whiteboard?
You can write them on your whiteboards. I will tell you if you are right or wrong. And Roger Goodell is at the podium right now, officially announcing that the NFL draft is now open.
All right, are we revealing? Or are
Yeah,
the comments,
reveal.
Are the comments going.
The comments, we got a couple. Atomic Monkey thinks it's 2008. Don't know about
I'm gonna
that.
guess 2013.
So
What do you got?
I'm just basing off of that being the EJ Manuel draft, and I know that was a terrible quarterback draft.
You're right. It is 2013. You're right.
Well,
right.
I'm not giving a point to Eric there because
He's
he basically
right.
didn't
No,
write
I was-
anything down.
I will accept no point there because I was like my brain was locked in for
What did you-
2015
oh,
for
you-
some reason. I don't know why. It was locked in on 2015. And then the second you said EJ Manuel, I remember he
Yeah.
was the first one off the board.
It
And
is
that was a
2013.
brutal
So
pick.
I was in Munich for that draft. I stayed up. I'm in a hotel with my dad. I stay up all night to watch the draft, only for the Bills to trade down, so I have to stay up even later. And then they draft EJ Manuel. So that was probably my least favorite draft experience.
That-
A lot of people are saying the 2011 draft, which is not true. Cam Newton went first overall that draft. It is, in fact, 2 years later,
Nice.
the 2013 NFL draft. Eric Fisher was the first
Yeah.
overall pick. That
Chiefs,
draft
yeah.
was not very good for kind of top 10, top
Yeah.
15
Man,
picks.
look at the quarterbacks that draft. They're all junk. And that's
Quarterbacks especially.
So, and that's what kind of I could fear about this draft.
That's the Matt Elam year. That year's been erased from my memory.
But like, don't you think we could be at the same thing here, where you could have desperate teams who are like, "Oh, we need a quarterback." Pittsburgh desperately needs a quarterback. I think if you bet Pittsburgh's first pick is minus 200 to be a quarterback. So clearly they're picking one.
So
this draft is proof, though. If there's no guy there, why reach on them?
I don't think like Pittsburgh's in such a driver's seat right now because like who ahead of Pittsburgh are you really scared that is going to take a QB aside? Because like Carolina's too high in the draft to take a QB at 6.
So they would have to trade down,
Right? If Carolina trades down, then I think Pittsburgh has to make a move and trade up. But other than that, you just see how it folds out, and Malik Willis could fall to you.
So this is in my notes here. The Panthers GM said earlier this week, we feel comfortable drafting a quarterback with the 6th pick, which means to me, there's no way that they're going to draft a quarterback with the 6th
smoke
pick.
screens.
This is
Classic smoke
misinformation
screens.
season. Whatever you say, I'm thinking it's the opposite. My buddy Derek, who's in the chat making some noise, is a big Panthers fan. He's hoping for Pickett, but wants them to trade down. Doesn't want Pickett at 6, which would be ridiculous.
Glove guru.
Small hands.
Small
hands, Kenny. And you know what? I usually don't think there's anything to those small hands things, but when it's like 3 quarterbacks in the history of football that have actually been somewhat successful with a hand size of Kenny Pickett's, then there's got to be something to that. He fumbled a ton in college, which is not great. No. If he's going to a cold destination, that's even worse. Maybe the NFC South, not many cold games if he's going to Carolina.
He had one of my favorite plays of the college football season, though.
The fake it was amazing.
Awesome.
It was amazing.
Nothing like getting a rule change because of something you did. Like, that's pretty sick.
I mean, look, they got Ice Cube there.
Jags officially on the clock. Here we go.
The draft is open. It's about time. And so the Jags are on the clock. I was going to ask, who do you think is going to go number 1 overall? But it seems to be leaked that it is Treylon Walker. And this is a guy that wasn't even on sports books months ago. You couldn't even bet on him. It was like 25 players deep to be the first overall pick. And you could not bet on Treylon Walker. He was not a guy that was even available, and now the rise of him has been kind of pretty crazy. So
it was Shad who wanted Treylon, right? And Balky wanted Hutchinson.
No, apparently Balky loves
either way. Either way.
Yes.
Other way.
The owner Shad Khan wanted Hutchinson reportedly, and then Balky loves athleticism, the long arms. That's the big thing. Hutchinson has these I've got the long arm factor, but Hutchinson apparently has tiny arms, and that's why he doesn't want him. But Balky always loves athleticism. I'm just wondering, where's the production? He had 6 sacks last year.
And I don't know. I don't think sacks tell the entire story all the time. If you're looking at players with just insane athleticism, I'll just mention Odafe Away was phenomenal for the Ravens, and he had no sacks his last year in college. Betting on athleticism is fine, but the first overall pick, that's a tough one.
It's interesting for sure. And his relative athletic score to what, Eric, you're talking about, 9.99, which is comparable defensive end wise to Myles Garrett, Javon Curse, Ezekiel Ansah, Sean Merriman, and Preston Smith. All guys that are incredible. Only one of those guys, Myles Garrett, is better than all of those other names I mentioned, but you'd want all of those guys on your team. Those guys were Pro Bowl players, double-digit sack guys. I think you wonder, and the worry with someone like Treylon Walker is on a stacked Georgia defense, the production. And I get that. Can you teach him pass rush moves? Mm-hmm. And if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, how many misses have you had over the past 10 years of guys you're taking in the top 10 or 15? You got to be worried that at some point it's player development, and that's what's going to be the difference between Treylon Walker maybe being a Pro Bowl player every year or him being just a guy that is an athletic freak and really doesn't reach his full potential, is that player development part of it. And if you're Jacksonville, what have you done to change that player development side of things? I'd be so worried if I'm a Jags fan. If you're bringing a guy in that you're
that's so raw.
You're betting on the traits. Yeah, I would want Hutchinson maybe just because he might be a little safer.
He's proven. You know he's gonna.
You would think.
The example everyone's given is Hutchinson is a double, and Walker is the potential for a home run.
Yeah.
With the higher probability of a strikeout.
Yeah.
So with the first overall pick, don't you sort of want that sure thing as opposed to banking? I know the upside is great, but if
you can also say the other way. With the first overall pick, you might want that home run. Want the Hall of Famer.
For sure.
You want.
I think whatever the Jags do, we can trust they'll be wrong.
This is also the guy who just gave Christian Kirk $85 million.
Yeah. So completely blew up the wide receiver market.
It's true. It's true. So let's pull up, because we have graphics for every single team here just to showcase some of their draft history recently in the first round. We've got the Jacksonville Jaguars, their last 5 first-round picks. And, the last 5 actually don't do it justice how bad it's been, because it's just a wasteland since the Justin Blackmon draft, really. Wow. If you look at it, and let's go back to that one specifically because it's been bad. It's been bad before that. If you want to go,
it's been really bad.
Let's go back to 2010, because 2009 Eugene Monroe, a really good tackle, but 2010 Tyson Alualu, 2011 Blaine Gabbert, 2012, Justin Blackman. 2013, Luke Jokel. 2014, Blake Bortles. 2015,
and it's not like these
Dante
are late
Fowler.
picks. These are usually all
2016, Jalen Ramsey, who then left.
Yeah. What was Ramsey, fifth?
He was fifth overall.
Right
and
before the
he
Ravens.
fell in their laps because the Cowboys decided to take a running back. 2017, Leonard Fournette. 2018, Taven Bryan, who just signed as a free agent with the Browns this year. 2019, Josh Allen.
The better
looks like
Josh
a stud.
Allen.
And 2020, CJ Henderson. They already traded him. 2011, Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. And the worst part about it, too, if you're a Jaguars fan, the second round picks haven't been much better. You've got Caleb on Chase on as well, was the first last year, but Laviska Shenault, Jawan Taylor, DJ Chark, Cam Robinson, who did just sign an extension.
DJ Chark's a good player.
Yeah,
But he's not on their team anymore.
Yeah,
he's
fair,
on the line. Like,
fair.
if you're taking a
I guess you
second
want
round
good players
receiver,
on
you
your team.
want
You wanna keep
these
these guys you're
guys.
drafting.
Miles Jack just left. TJ Yeldon, Marquise Lee, Allen Robinson, gone. Jonathan Cyprien, Andre Branch. Like, these guys, I know second round picks are tough sometimes.
Yeah, but these are all misses, though. These
are
are
all
all guys who aren't
misses.
on your squad.
Exactly.
Can we ask a poll in the chat? Will the Jags blow this pick?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's
What's
get some going.
what's the confidence in the chat in the Jags? Because on the panel, it's clearly not high.
And the pick is in. The pick is officially in.
Nice.
Unless Shams was just trolling everyone, it's going to be. We expect it to be Treylon Walker of Georgia,
Shams
the
don't
defensive
miss.
lineman.
Shams don't miss.
Shams don't miss. I wanna ask you guys about this because I've watched some film on Treylon Walker and you see Tony Khan in the draft room here, absolute legend.
Is AEW guy? Yeah.
AEW guy hits every week. He should be making all the picks if I'm being honest because everything he does on AEW just turns to gold. I want to ask you about Treylon Walker in the sense that a lot of guys that are smarter than me, smarter than us, that watch schemes and things like that have said that Treylon Walker, the scheme he was playing in didn't necessarily showcase and allow him to be a pass rusher. Like there was
I watched a lot of Georgia. That defense was absolutely insane last year.
They might have like 5 guys that go in the first round,
exactly.
which is nuts.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that because they were pretty deep on their defensive line.
Yeah,
and just
linebackers
because
too. Their linebackers led the team in sacks, and so you can tell that. And there was a great breakdown on YouTube that I watched, and now I forget the channel. I'm not even going to give the guy credit, but he's an incredible draft analyst. I'm going to look him up after. But he was saying that first and second down, you watch Georgia, they sell out to stop the run. And then third downs, they're running stunts and blitz packages with their linebackers because they know how much attention a guy like Treylon Walker will have. Who's the other guy? Jordan Davis, not Justin Davis. Jordan Davis. They command Raven. So much attention, and so you've got Nakobe Dean leading the team in sacks.
He's a guy who, to me, he was the best player on that defense.
For sure.
That guy made every single play, every single game. He probably won't even go in the first round. I know linebacker is kind of a disposable position where it's not valued. Here we go.
Ding, 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 ding.
Love that sound. Come on, let's get fired up. Drop a Jaguar in the comments. Let's get a Jaguar train.
Can I vote on this too?
Yeah,
will the Jaguars mess this pickup? Yeah, they will.
Here it is. Can we get some lights? Do we have lights again?
Can we get the lights?
No, we don't have lights.
No
again.
lights.
That's okay.
No lights. Treylon
Walker. Okay,
official.
So now we will be surprised with every other pick, and I feel like the draft kind of finally starts when the number 1 pick has been said.
Look how fun that graphic is. The pick is in. Baby.
It's awesome. I love that.
Let me get the little Walker graphic here.
Wow.
We could see a first look in a Jags jersey.
I will say, again, opposite Josh Allen, not Hein's Josh Allen, but I think
the better Josh Allen.
They just gave him his 5th-year option today.
Yeah,
they did.
The appeal with him too is you can move him around, right? Like I know Hutchinson, obviously a great player. But Walker gives a bit more versatility and athletic upside.
Whoa, we got some Jaguars in the chat. Love it.
Look at Treylon in the Jags jersey.
He looks good. That was Miles Jack's old number, I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's start with you, Eric. What grade are you giving it? Let's do the grade quickly on them.
A real quick B+.
I think that's safe.
I think that's a fair grade to give them. I think he's a very raw prospect. It all depends on how they can actually develop him, which I don't have a lot of confidence in. But a lot of the things that we can look at with the Georgia defense was how much did Treylon Walker make everyone else's job easier? And once you get to the pro level, if he's not getting sack numbers, but he's making everyone else's job easier, that's a good enough pick.
Hein, what do you got?
My marker's not really
an update already. The Lions didn't waste any time. Their pick is in, and
I'm going with a B. I'm basing this off of organizational history.
Yep.
And that I think this is a franchise that screws up all the time. so they're going to continue to screw up. That's all.
So nothing to do with Trayvon himself.
No, honestly, man,
that's
all
fair.
the
That's fair.
athleticism- When Luca brought up that athleticism chart and some of the names you were comparing it to, it was like, okay,
I guess.
yeah, I see why they're doing this. It's just the production, man. 6 sacks last year, 9.5 sacks in his career. You need some production. I want to see at least something.
The Jags just don't have the history of developing raw prospects, so that's what drops it to a B+ for me.
It's a B+ for me too. I think it's a pretty easy one. You're excited if you're a Jags fan, I think, because this team has so many holes. You could have gone offensive line, even though you did sign Cam Robinson to an extension, which was a good move. Obviously, you want your left tackle being locked in. They could have gone offensive line and gone with Ickey, who could play guard.
That was the other name that was potentially mentioned.
Yeah,
for the Jags?
I would be okay with. Yeah, and I would have been more okay with Ickey just for the upside of him. The way people talk about him is he can be an all-pro.
You just mentioned it though, but you really want to use the first overall pick on a guard, which guard is also sort of
It's true.
I remember last year when we did our grades after, not live, when the Jets took Vera Tucker, and Vera Tucker.
We were a little down on him,
but it's just that's a position that you can find guys in the 3rd and 4th round.
It's true.
Exactly.
Those premium positions are what should be going early: left tackle, edge rusher, quarterback. I don't want to take a guy who's he might be our tackle. I'm like, no, he's a better fit at guard.
But there's also, we talk about this all the time with the Bengals last year, was obviously Jamar Chase turned out to be a stud. But that meme keeps popping up in my head where it's you place Sewell in there.
Yeah,
and Burrow has
Anybody
time.
catches
Burrow has time, man, and
But we can't really chirp. Chase had arguably the best wide receiver rookie season
just
ever.
if you're relating it to the Jags, man, Trevor Lawrence looked lost all season last year. He had no time with the ball, no one to throw it to. So sure they're getting a really elite player in the draft, but it's not helping them.
Roger Goodell, who do you guys predict is going to be the pick? Aiden Hutchinson?
It's Aiden Hutchinson.
I think it's Aiden Hutchinson.
Your stream's
as well.
ahead of mine.
This is probably the most anticlimactic pick, unless they go completely
I would
wild.
love a Malik Willis blindside here.
Aiden Hutchinson. And so I've seen guys want to mock Malik Willis, but Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end from Michigan, he stays in the state of Michigan and plays in Detroit. And this is a guy that, a lot of people are excited about as far as just the safety of a guy like this. The Detroit Lions, they needed some juice up.
It really
front.
fits a need. Lions last year, 30 sacks on the season, 3rd lowest in the NFL. Yeah. So it's you get the local kid in an area of need, a guy who everybody says is kind of can't miss. I think it was Todd McShay mentioned he'd spoke to all these scouts all across the league, and every single one of them said that Hutchinson would have been their first pick. Yeah. So you might be getting the best player in this draft, and he's fallen to you too.
Yep.
Thomas Turfy Turfree says draft begins now, and I agree with him because the Houston Texans could go a number of directions here. Let's get our grades before an Aiden Hutchinson pumped up. This is so cool for a guy. I imagine just being from there, going to school there, the hometown. The hometown thing, you may think it doesn't mean a lot, but I think it really does. It makes it that much
Obviously,
cooler.
You're going to draft the best player. If he sucked,
but if he happens to be from there, it's really cool.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
I'm going A. I like this. I think this is the safe thing. Everybody kind of figured this is what was going to happen.
Yeah, I had A down immediately. Yeah, first thing.
If you're a Lions fan, Chris B, where you at? This is you got to be happy with this.
Yep.
Did we all? You went A+ or A?
I went A-.
Okay.
And the only reason I went A- is because I feel like a lot of people are getting caught up with this comparison to him to either the Watts or the Bosas, and that seems a little extreme to me, if I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be honest, I think Kayvon Thibodeau might be a more gifted pass rusher and could end up being a better player in the long run, depending on the situation. And I know with him, there's a lot of different things going on, whether it's the off-field stuff, just his effort level, whatever. There have been a lot of things.
Low motor.
Yeah, there have been a lot of things that have been said about Kayvon Thibodeau, who was supposed to be the number 1 overall pick when this process started, when the college football season began. He was the guy. Aiden Hutchinson kind of came out of nowhere, and so I just think that maybe in the long run, Thibodeau might be the better player, but I don't think Hutchinson is going to be bad. I think he's going to be a really good player.
Do you want to take that chance at number 2?
It's tough. It definitely is tough.
I think just them taking an edge is obviously what they needed to do. You look at, it's not the most exciting QB draft year.
Yeah.
They addressed their line last year. They have him on St. Rod at receiver. They've got
The
TJ Hawkinson.
The fantasy god.
They've got TJ Hawkinson. Like, they're starting to build together an offense. Now you build together your defense and you take the QB next year so he can come in
you can
and be
ready,
ready.
still get a good quarterback,
right? And be ready to go.
He seems like a Dan Campbell player.
Dan
Campbell,
love
what's the Dan Campbell quote of like he wants the ankle biters,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He seems like that. Like Dan Campbell probably is gonna love him, but apparently Dan Campbell also loved Thibodeau and had like a relationship with Thibodeau. So
I think the thing is too, though, for a Lions team too that struggles, especially on defense, right? He's a leader more than anything too, right? He's a guy out there who will pump up the defense, pump up the fans, and that's something you want to build your team around too. Not just, obviously he's a great player, but he's so much more than that on the field.
And it's a really young defense too, and they brought back a lot of their players in free agency this year. They did a great job of kind of retaining some of those key pieces that they had. Charles Harris, Alex Anzalone. They brought back Jared Davis, who was a first-round pick from years ago. Tracy Walker returning. So they definitely made moves that, and I think the big thing with the Lions defense is like Jeff Okudah from a few years ago.
The jury's still out on if he's in bust territory.
One thing on Hutchinson.
It might be a bust.
I know
he's looking like a bust.
I know we all liked Hutchinson. That college football playoff, he was invisible against Georgia, and he was going against pro linemen and did absolutely nothing. So like, that's tape against a high quality opponent where you want to see him dominate.
Yeah.
And he didn't. Now, other people will be like, oh, but like Ohio State, he had one of his best games of the year, 3 sacks, completely swung that game. So it might just be a 1-game sample size. But on the biggest stage against a really good team, he disappeared. So that would be the one thing that kind of worries me about Hutchinson is just how bad he was against Georgia.
Yeah, and I was going to say, but he didn't have Dan Campbell, who makes you want to run through a wall.
Yes.
But he did have Jim Harbaugh.
Which is essentially
the same thing.
It's true. If we have time,
the pick is
Texans pick is in. Do we have time to bring up their last 5 first-round picks? I don't know. Roger Goodell is kind of coming up, but
he's moseying on up.
Yep.
He's moseying on up. Who do you guys think this is? Prediction time. Drop it in the comments, and let's see if we can get that graphic.
Is Stingley going to go this high?
No, it can't be Stingley. Like to me, it's Ickey or Sauce.
So here you see the last 5 first-round picks for the Houston Texans. They haven't picked in the first round in a couple of years, and the last one was a shocker. Titus Howard, who is still playing on that offensive line. Obviously, none of the other guys that you see on that screen are with the team anymore. They obviously hit on
Will Fuller.
They hit on them.
That one week he hits for you in fantasy.
It's like, amazing.
But just the other 7 weeks where he's questionable.
It really is good. Here's Goodell. So make your prediction.
To me, you just take the best player available right now.
And who's that?
I would take Sauce.
That's a high for a corner, but
it's high for a corner, but it's corner behind quarterback is probably the hardest position to play in football.
Derek Stingley Jr. it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is crazy.
So, Derek Stingley Jr.
Are we about to get a J.C. Horn, Patrick Surtain situation again?
So this is now...
The LSU kid. I'm not an LSU fan, but I just have an Odell Beckham LSU jersey because it's swag.
Honestly, like 2 weeks ago, obviously I'm a Bills fan. People were saying, what if Stingley falls? If Stingley falls to the 20s, that was a realistic conversation. No, but that was a realistic. McShay and David Jeremiah were on Russillo's podcast, and they said if Stingley could fall, that's the pick for the Bills. This was 2 weeks ago.
I don't even think McDuffie hits the 20s.
Yeah, but all of this is.
Well, see now the run has started on corners.
It's such a
now.
weird draft. Everything is just. There's really no difference between the top 10 and then 11 through 20.
It was funny with Stingley too, because like you said, he was with the Bills, and then you start seeing him going no further than 12 to the Vikings, and have Patrick Peterson there behind him, and now it's like number 3.
Number 3, yeah.
And a lot of people thought he was a number 2 corner behind Sauce, but he's got
the LSU Vikings.
Yeah, the LSU Vikings.
But like DBU, like if you want a corner, great corners are coming out of LSU. I think it's kind of crazy he's going ahead of Sauce.
That's why I'm giving them a C minus, not because Stingley's not a great player. He is, and it's definitely like going to help them in the long run. I just don't understand how you pass on Sauce. If you're taking the same position, you took the worst one. In my opinion,
the jury's out on that, and I'll go with your grade first before I say that,
because I really like Stingley, and I'm not going to say, oh, this is a D or this is a C because he should have gone here. I think he's a good player. I think he'll be a good pro. So because this draft is so wonky, I'm not going to criticize them for where they took him because I think he's going to be a good pro. So that's why I'll stick with the B. Also, my marker sucks. Look at this. This is like transparent. We're switching. We're at like pick 10. I'm switching.
It's a tough marker. Everything is happening at once here. I'm going with an A- because I think Derek Stingley Jr. I want to believe that tape that we saw 2 years ago when he was locking everyone down and just like he had one of the best years you could have as a college cornerback that year, locking everybody down. And the Texans needed a cornerback. So whether you want Sauce or not, I'll take the guy that played in the SEC and proved it against SEC competition. I know Sauce played in the college football playoff, but again, he did play at Cincinnati, and like
Cincinnati always had a great defense.
They
he
was
really good.
But there's something to be said about him not allowing a single touchdown.
I agree. That's an insane stat, and like to do that in all college football,
non-Power 5 conference, though. You're not going against
not a single one. Though.
That's fine.
Right?
Look,
That's
again, I get
look
it.
at the bums at quarterback he was going up against.
But like. Not one.
Yeah, I know.
It's an insane number. It's an
zero.
Insane
but where like Stingley's
number.
going up against SEC offenses, where he's playing against the elite of the elite week in, week out.
For sure.
So I don't know. I don't think it's crazy that if you're to say, Stingley's the best corner in this draft, that wouldn't shock me.
If he turns out to be, it wouldn't be surprising. But as of right now, I just think Sauce is the better corner.
That's fair, and you can think that. Now I'm really interested to see what the New York Jets.
Yeah, that's where the fun starts. Now this is going to be.
Wait, also, will the Jaguars mess up this pick? 69% say yes, nice, and 30% say no.
All right,
and 1% say maybe.
Let's get up a quick poll here if we can, and just.
Will the Jets mess up their pick?
Well, who let's ask the people, who will the Jets pick? Maybe put a few positions, maybe cornerback. Offensive line, defensive line.
It's Ickey. It's Ickey, right?
Could be Evan Neal.
It's Ickey or Evan Neal to me.
It's a Kayvon spot too.
It's a Kayvon spot too. It's a Kayvon spot too.
But if you're going all out to get Debo, if they're selling out to get Debo, you want to like solidify that O line and make it so it's so much easier on Zach Wilson.
You want to give, exactly.
I will say though, Robert Saleh, obviously a defensive-minded head coach. Made 2 picks in the first round last year, didn't get to pick a defensive player. And obviously you had to pick a quarterback if you were the New York Jets and you pick an offensive lineman. I totally get it. I just think the moves they made this offseason as far as who they brought in, and I'll just bring that up now because I've got it here, but just to kind of illustrate my point a little more, they didn't really bring many guys in on the defensive end and defensive line positions. Nathan Shepard, Solomon Thomas, the only 2 defensive line positions they brought in. And so they need an upgrade at that position. Quinnen Williams had a really good season. But imagine adding Kayvon Thibodeau into that and getting to be coached by a guy like Robert Saleh that's coached Nick Bosa.
Given the rep that we've heard about Thibodeau, doesn't it just seem like he goes to the Jets and then that's where he doesn't have a career? Like how many careers have the Jets ruined?
I mean, potentially, but you guys got to like what they're building now, don't you?
I don't at all. I don't think Zach Wilson's that good.
I don't think Zach Wilson's that good either.
We've watched this play out with the Jets before. Yeah. They take the quarterback as a high pick, and then he's seeing ghosts for 3 years until he has to go play for the Panthers.
So I will say this, because you drafted Zach Wilson 2 last year, Jets gave up 53 sacks last season, 4th most in the NFL. You need to protect that investment. It's like you were saying with Burrow. If you want to see what you have in Zach Wilson, then you draft Evan Neal right now, or you draft Ekwonu right now, and then maybe trade your 10th pick for Debo. And then it's like, hey, we have the weapons. Well, we have the protection and a weapon to put around Zach Wilson, and then we can see what we get in him.
Right. If you can completely eliminate any excuse Zach Wilson might have, like it's like we gave you everything.
Yeah,
it's important.
Right? Then you know if he's for real or not.
It's kind of like what the Dolphins are doing with Tua right now. It's
no
like,
excuses.
Hey Tua, if you aren't good this year, then you're just not going to be good.
Like no reason to have an excuse. You know if this is your guy or not. Then you work on your defense. To me,
I'm curious if the Jets do go offensive line here, what they do at 10, especially if Kayvon Thibodeau falls. I will say, the Deebo Samuel thing, I've never believed that the Jets are actually going to acquire him, and I don't think the 10th pick is enough. I think that, and if I'm the Jets, I think it's smarter to just go out and draft Jameson Williams at 10.
But they were so desperate to land Tyreek.
I know.
And I feel
I would rather have Tyreek killed than Deebo Samuel.
So, but given that, I understand the concerns with the pounding he took playing running back, but like how old is Tyreek Hill now? 29.
Debo's 26. He's not exactly young. He's been more injured than Tyreek, and I also think that let's let them make their pick first. Here we go. New York Jets.
Okay. What letter are you getting, fellas?
Sauce Gardner. Okay. This was another direction they could go.
Wow.
And they get the second best corner on the board. It is
first best.
Ahmad Sauce Gardner. I mean, second best as opposed to where he went. But there's an argument that could be made. A lot of people have him first.
The thinking with this to me is you are going
I don't get this pick at all.
You're going up against the best quarterback in football twice a year. You need someone you need a good corner.
I mean, just look
you
at
also
the New
need
York...
to get him down if you're going defense.
yeah, that's true.
There's so many other, like...
Look at the New York Jets cornerback depth chart.
You loved Gardner as a player.
Oh, I do.
If he's arguably... He might be the best player available right now. So when your team like the Jets that has so many holes, I don't think it's a problem taking the best player
I just
available.
think they have more important holes would be kind of my one argument.
So what
they have the 10th overall pick.
I would have gone Ickey.
Yeah.
They have the 10th overall pick still, though.
Yeah, but he's not going to fall there.
He's gone. Ickey and Cross are both gone by then.
Cross.
Evan Neal might be there
Evan
still.
Neal's gone,
They're going to get another good...
But Evan Neal might not be gone just because there's this injury concern and some people might not.
If they get lucky and one of the elite lineman falls to them, this is a phenomenal
stealing your marker for my grade.
That's fine.
And I will change my grade.
I mean, a couple of stats here to just illustrate that the Jets really needed a corner. Only 7 interceptions last year, second fewest in the NFL, tied with the Jaguars with 7. The Raiders had 6 somehow and made the playoffs. That's insane to me. But anyways, and they gave up, 28 passing touchdowns, which wasn't the worst in the league. It was obviously in the bottom half.
And they had
of the
to
league.
play Josh Allen twice.
Allen twice, Mac Jones twice, and Tua
and Mac Jones isn't really.
No, but you know what? Every quarterback in that division isn't a laughingstock, I would say. Like Tua with that brand new offense is going to be good. Mac Jones with Belichick and what they're building there. Like you need a guy like Sauce Gardner that can lock up a side.
So I agree with you on that, but I'm just going to push back a little bit on the quarterback thing. I don't know if you could. Are Tua and Mac Jones ever going to be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL?
Probably not.
So.
No.
But it's not like you're facing like Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, it's not Goff.
Exactly. It's not Goff. Like you're actually facing competent quarterbacks that are on good teams and have good skill position players that will make you think at least. And so ESPN is showing just a great.
Yeah, the no touchdowns allowed.
Yeah, the no touchdowns allowed. The longest reception, 13 yards.
That's crazy.
As a targeted defender. So to illustrate Eric's point, if he's doing that for the New York Jets and they can pair him with a pass rusher too, I think the Jets would knock this draft out of the park if they come away with premium players at defensive line and cornerback, which are 2 of the most premium positions in football.
This skyrockets to an A+ if an elite lineman falls to them at 10.
Okay.
Your
problem with it is basically that they went too early on corner.
They're too worried about.
I wonder if Stingley going 3 scared the crap out of them.
Yeah, so I'm going with an A. I like this pick because I like him as a player. The one thing that I mentioned before, here's who they played last year: Miami of Ohio, Murray State, Indiana, Notre Dame, one good team; Temple, UCF, Navy, Tulane, Tulsa, South Florida, SMU, East Carolina, Houston, and then obviously Bama. It's not like he was going up against good quarterbacks, but that Cincy defense was kind of
crazy.
They've been good for a while, so
he's got crazy stats behind him too. Like some of the stats you pull out: no touchdowns, 13-yard receptions, the longest one. Like those are. I don't care who you're playing.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Because you could just slip one time and then there's a 70-yard touchdown.
That's true. I'll give it a B+. I really like him as a player.
My boy is running to the stage.
I think that the only things that concern me are definitely the level of competition in college, and that could be just kind of a whatever thing. You could come in year 1 and be a lockdown corner. I don't think anyone would be surprised. Yeah, this draft is going a lot quicker. I was wondering how much things we would be able to get in. 4 defensive players going in the top 4. I'm not sure when the last time that's happened. So I'm sure it's been a while. And if you're the New York Giants,
that just threw a wrench.
It did, because if you're the Giants,
well, they have to go one of the O linemen now.
Well, they were going to take one of the O linemen regardless.
I don't know if they would have. If one of those corners was there, because everyone has been saying James Bradbury, who is a free agent next year, who's a good corner. They have been shopping him.
But your book ended in between Carolina, who just took J.C. Horn, in the first round.
So they're not.
So
yeah,
they're
no
probably
longer.
not taking a corner.
I mean, that's
so you don't
fine,
have to worry about
now-
I think that complete like they were taking one of those.
How
corners.
does this would be
Does
wild
Trent
if this
McDuffie
happens?
fly that high? No,
I don't think so. Today was the 5th-year option for everybody. They did not give the 5th-year option to Daniel Jones, as a lot of people expected.
I thought they did.
They did not.
They did not, no.
They did
Oh,
not
they
give
did.
him the option. So this team needs a quarterback. They have a brand new coach,
trading
Brian
down?
Dable,
Oh, you're right.
who would love to work with a raw prospect like he did
Yeah.
with Josh Allen. I think it would be crazy, and I would love to see it. I don't think it's going to happen, but them going like Malik Willis here would be wild.
Yeah.
I would love that.
They're also so the Giants also brought in Wink Martindale, who turns
Yeah, your boy.
DBs. He
Yeah.
turns DBs into cornerbacks and cornerbacks into DNs into cornerbacks.
But he also-
and cornerbacks into DNs. But like
Thibodeau makes sense because he wants a
Thibodeau is a
good edge
great
rusher,
player
too.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thibodeau is a great player. Wink, I'm sure, is screaming on the phone right now to take Thibodeau.
So what went wrong with Wink in Baltimore? I thought he
Before
was
you
always
answer that.
beloved there. Like he was always a good coordinator. Baltimore's defense was always good. Was it just he didn't see eye to eye with Harbaugh? Why was Wink out in Baltimore?
Scheme just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Right? Like why we were just rushing players that made no sense. Like all of our corners were injured and we're trying to rush Anthony Averett. Like it made no sense. So I think just the roster that the Ravens were trying to build
It didn't
versus
fit with
his
what he wants to
scheme
do. Yeah.
didn't make sense.
So are you happy he's
right.
gone or no? Oh, here we go.
No, I wanted the other coordinator to leave.
Yeah. Oh God.
This has to be Ickey though, right? Especially with Carolina right behind.
I don't-
You
For,
would think so.
It's-
tackles.
And
it's
that
either
would make
Ickey-
Carolina's pick so interesting.
It's
I
either
really
Ickey
do.
or Thibodeau would be my guess.
I would say one of the lines as well.
I think it's going to be one of the O linemen.
Drop it in the comments before they make their pick who it's going to be, and give a. This is what we want to hear your interaction in the comments as well. So give us your grades after every pick. We want to read your grades. Ask us any questions that you want to ask us to. Someone said the Sixers are up 22. So Raptors
Wow.
fans,
What's happening in the Raps game?
the Sixers are up 22.
Oh God.
Let's 92 to 70. That's
All right.
Jeez.
it's really tough. We have Borat is in the chat.
My
He says-
boy,
he
Borat.
says it's Kayvon Thibodeau.
Very nice.
That'd be a very nice pick indeed. Let's see.
Who is it? This guy's soaking
Kayvon
up his
Thibodeau.
moment.
There it is.
Thibodeau?
There it is. Makes sense. It makes sense.
It fits
It
for
fits
it
Wink.
fits for Wink.
That's
yeah.
what Wink wants.
It makes sense.
And also,
That sucks, though. I really wanted the Ravens to make a move up.
I know I mentioned the quarterback thing. They still have another pick at like what are they? They're
7.
They're
yeah.
7,
So they're
yeah.
they're 3 picks away from another pick.
They're one pick away.
2. Sorry. Yes, you're right.
But they have
6
to.
then 7.
They have to take O-line at 7, or it's a whole thing. Like,
Yeah,
Also, yeah. What does Carolina do now?
Well, they go offensive line too. You'd have to think.
right. But
They
there's
would-
two.
no,
There's two
technically,
really good
Ickey's
offensive
there
line.
at 6 though, right?
There's what? Sorry.
Like for the Panthers, who would think that Ickey slides to 6?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Exactly. You scoop that up.
So their mock consensus was Cross, Carolina,
Yeah.
and pretty much every mock had Cross, but that also had Neal and
Ickey gone.
going before that.
Yeah, gone. So it kind of, I guess, what are you looking to do if you're the Panthers? You're
Trade
taking
down.
one
I think
of them.
I think they.
You trade down?
If you want a quarterback, it depends what they want to do at quarterback for next
Call
year.
it Pittsburgh?
No, but
How
that's the
much
thing.
do you want your guy?
He's not going to go that early. That's the thing. So like,
Unless they throw up some smoke screens that they're taking.
but who knows?
Either
Maybe
give us all your
maybe they
picks.
have one of those linemen rated like at the top of their draft board, and it's like, wow, we didn't expect both of those guys to fall to 5 or to fall to 6.
Give me your grades quick as the Panthers
Oh, yeah.
are
Oh,
on the
Thibodeau?
clock, and I'm gonna give my grade as well. What do we got? A plus. A. I think the consensus
great
is
day.
the
We all like
Giants.
Thibodeau.
Yeah, the Giants
great
needed pass rush help. That's desperately needed pass rush help, especially when you consider that some of their upcoming free agents, I believe Leonard Williams is a free agent in 2024. Dexter Lawrence, 5th-year option guy that they did pick up his option, I believe. But Dexter Lawrence hasn't exactly produced the production they were hoping for as high as they drafted him. Kayvon Thibodeau has been on record saying he is the best player in the draft. If the Giants did get the best player in the draft at 5,
That's great.
that's a home run. And
Does the motor and all that stuff concern you guys at all?
I don't know if it does. I feel like a lot of this stuff gets blown out of proportion because we need something to talk about.
sure.
And especially, and I listened to a great podcast with, I believe it was Benjamin Solak of The Ringer.
Oh yeah, Solak's great.
He's awesome, but he was
Solak's
saying
awesome.
that like because this guy has been the projected first overall pick since a year ago.
Yeah.
We've just been looking for something to nitpick and being like, wow, he had a really good season. Look at all the traits. Look at the athleticism. Look at the production. And then it's just like, well, what's wrong with him? And we've had a year to kind of figure out.
To pick it apart.
It apart. And so scouts are going to say something's wrong with him. And then people are going to say, like, I think I read an article it was Bruce Feldman of The Athletic, and it was scouts on prospects and saying, like, a coach said it was easy to game plan against him. And it's just like, well, who else is on that defense in Oregon? Like, he's commanding a ton of attention.
In Wink Martindale blitz happy defense, Wink has done a great job developing players like Thibodeau in his past. Like, if he was still with the Ravens and the Ravens made that pick, I would wholeheartedly trust that is going to be a home run.
That's why I think it could be a home run, because if you have a good coordinator like Wink who can develop him, then yeah, that's perfect.
Right, they've got the pieces in.
But what the hell are they going to do at quarterback? By not exercising that Daniel Jones option, I really think that they're going to try to make a move in the next couple of days. But like either whether it's in 2 picks or whether
Mayfield or
you got
something.
Baker Mayfield, or you hold on, you let Daniel Jones play out the season, and then you go for one of the good quarterbacks next year.
But if Daniel Jones has a good year, you have no real option. You can only franchise him. Yeah. And if he's bad, you just waste another year. I feel like with Dable coming in, Dable's going to be like, I want someone that's not Daniel Jones.
Sure, but Baker Mayfield's an option.
And what does Baker go for? Like what? A third and a fourth?
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like a lot of
I don't know what the Browns are doing.
A lot, and
because I don't care if Deshaun Watson gets suspended. There's no way that Baker Mayfield is playing another game with the Cleveland Browns.
No chance.
And so I think that you could get him for like a fifth at this point, because teams know that there's no way he is stepping on that football field in a Browns uniform, no matter what.
He's proven he can be like between like the 10th to 15th best quarterback in the league. He's 2 years ago.
I think 10 to 15 is generous. I'd say 10
to
20.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, sure. Right now, no.
No, exactly.
I mean, he's going to a much worse situation in Carolina than he had in Cleveland.
Right. The offensive line that Cleveland has is
on the offensive line, but the receiver positions, the running backs.
Those guys are super hurt though. He did have tons of injuries with the receivers. But yeah, their running game. That running game's a quarterback's best friend.
Right. But like the amount of time that he had in Cleveland is going to be drastically different than what he has
with the Giants.
What he would have in the Giants if he were to go there.
For sure.
Will the Panthers take a QB?
Panthers take a QB is the big question.
Matt, what are your thoughts?
If they take a QB, I think it's a huge mistake, especially with their next pick being 105 in the fourth round. I just think can't take a QB here and then support him immediately. He's going to be hung with the dry.
They're in such a weird position with Matt Rule, because it's just like he's got to be out.
He seems like he doesn't want to be there.
Reports
are that he's sort of like, he's not checked out, but like has one foot out the door.
They're not going to have a good season this year, and so they don't have another good season. He's gone for sure, which makes me think that you're not going to draft a quarterback here. That just immediately is a red flag of like, you've got a coach that is on a 1-year life support thing here, and it's happened before. I mean, we saw it with Chicago last year going up to get Justin Fields, and now that GM and coach are no longer there, and so it's a new regime tied to a new QB, which honestly could set your franchise back further if it doesn't work out. So there's things to consider there, and have those considerations when you're making this pick. But I honestly don't know. Can we pull up the last 5 picks for the Panthers? We've got some time here.
Emrick, 252. Big fan of TSN and Bar Down. Watch you guys from the States. We're a big fan of you, Emrick.
Thanks, Emrick. Thanks for everyone for watching.
Yeah,
I know football.
Everyone.
Again, football's not our sport as far as what we usually do on Bar Down. And
football is these 4 people's
basically,
sport,
and Jesse, who was not able to be on the stream tonight, but I know Jesse is a huge football fan. And you see there, J.C. Horn last year, they picked in the top 10 the last 2 years and 3 of the last 5 years. Going back to Christian McCaffrey at number 8, he's been super hurt, but they've really hit on their guys. I mean, McCaffrey's a great pick. DJ Moore got an extension this summer. Great player. One of the better receivers in the league. Brian Burns has turned into an absolute stud at defensive end. The Derek Brown pick is interesting. I feel like defensive tackles, especially ones that are so big like Derek Brown, like he is just a monster of a human being. That one might never translate to value as far as sack production, but he may still be a valuable player. I mean, I feel like his value probably doesn't show in them being bad. And then J.C. Horn unfortunately got hurt last year, but I think he's going to be a pretty good corner for them. So
it's hard to judge.
Pretty well.
Hard to judge J.C. Horn just because of the injury. But like I'm sure he's going to be a phenomenal player for them.
So real quick, I see someone in the chat saying, "What's Jesse's favorite NFL team?" It's all of
every
it's
single
every
team.
single
It's
team.
the most annoying
Yes.
thing.
Yeah, no, he like
He goes
argue
from
with
the
you. He'll be like,
Texans to,
well,
like-
I'm into this team, and it was
Yeah.
like, what does that even mean? But he's like, I don't love them, but I'm into them.
But then, like, he'll wear Bills gear and act like he's a Bills fan, but he's also
So
a Pats
weird.
fan.
And a
It
Raiders
makes-
fan.
Makes no sense.
He's a sellsword, to use
He
Game
was
of Thrones
well.
term.
Well, in 2019 he was a diehard Chiefs fan. Then 2020 he was a diehard
Yeah.
Bucks fan. Then last year he was a diehard Rams fan. So
Wow, the banner's up, the pick is in. Panthers
that's-
fans are pumped. I want to get another question on the quiz in after this.
yeah.
Let's try
After
and
this,
do that.
I also want to kind of discuss with you guys before our teams start to come up here.
Huh.
What's like something you don't want to see your teams do? Obviously, Luca.
So
your
I
team.
have the question board that I will bring up, but great comments here from Flake_flawless and Espino1415.
with the exact
Same comment somehow, but Jesse is the raw blow with the NFL.
yeah,
That
there
is
we go.
him.
Oh, here we go. Here's the pick.
Who's it gonna be? Ickey?
I think it's
Has
Ickey.
to be.
I think it's Ickey.
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 It is Ickey.
Yeah.
Oh, that suit is fire.
Wow.
This guy is a stud. I love this pick. I absolutely
Yeah, that's a phenomenal
love
pick.
this.
That is
pick.
nice. I like that suit.
I'll start it off. This is gonna be a quick one for me. It's an A+, and I think it's
Twins.
I'm just gonna be different.
A.
I'll go
Wow.
with an A still.
We've been giving out pretty good grades. I think it's an A+ generally for the fact that
I can't believe he fell that low.
Yeah.
can't believe he fell that
Well, this
low.
was someone who was people were talking about being the first overall pick.
Yeah.
It was, and I think as far as just his talent, like his athleticism is off the charts.
Fits
Yeah.
in need to. Carolina gave up the 5th most sacks last season. They definitely need O-line help.
They do, but he's an amazing run blocker.
That's it.
And so wherever you want to put him, like he gets to the second level,
Yeah.
he manhandles people. Like it is unbelievable watching this man just run over people every single time you watch him. It's
So
insane.
I don't know if this is verified, but this is my buddy who's a Panthers fan told me. I think of 800 snaps or something, gave up 2 sacks.
Yeah.
Something
Unreal.
stupid like
Yeah.
that. Like
And like that on like that's not even like including like he's such a good run blocker. Like, he was someone that like I would have loved to have. There's so many players I would love to have in this draft.
Here's
but,
a
like,
question though: if he gets moved to guard, is this worthy? Is it worth picking a guard this high?
I
If
think
you move him to guard,
I think it still is because he
depends on
could.
his production
People
at the end
say
of the
he
day,
can
but-
be an All-Pro guard and like a Hall of Fame level guard. Like
Yeah.
that's some of the talk around this guy.
Yeah.
Plus, and I've got a great stat on Football Outsiders here. The Carolina Panthers were the 3rd worst in the league in stuff runs at 21%.
oh
tied
yeah,
with
has
Chicago.
a McCaffrey fantasy on team. There's a defender like 3 feet in the backfield, but right when he gets
That's
the ball,
exactly
Yeah.
the stat is the percentage of a team's runs that are tackled behind the line of scrimmage. So think about that.
You got to hit me with that Football Outsiders password.
21% of the time, the Panthers had runs that went behind the line
That's
of scrimmage.
crazy.
Like
Yeah.
you're just starting behind the eight
With
ball
one of the best
20% of the
running
time.
backs in the league,
With
too.
one of the
Yeah.
best running backs.
He's
in the
injured,
league.
but
Injured a lot, but so this has got to make Christian McCaffrey super happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a great runner between the tackles too. I'm sure he's gonna love running behind Ickey.
yeah. So at the end of the day, everyone gave it an A for a reason.
Yeah, no, it's
So-
a pretty easy
And they
pick.
can still trade back into the first round to address quarterback later. I think we can all agree if they would have gone quarterback there, it probably would have been a mistake.
Yeah. So you said you had a question to bring up?
I have a question to bring up. Before I do, I think it's important we bring this graphic up of the 8 teams that have 2 first-round picks this year because the Giants have made their pick. The pick is in, and they're the first team of 8 that have 2 selections in the first round, which is a record going back to the common draft in 1967 when it first started. The most before that was 6. And so no draft has ever had 8 teams with multiple selections. I don't think they've ever had 6 teams that have made multiple selections either, just because of teams trading out and things like that. And
Yeah.
so we could see that later with the Packers or the Chiefs.
Well, I don't think the Chiefs will have. I think that changes. I think the Chiefs
think so,
definitely
too.
move one of those picks because
Yeah.
I think so too. They're
the
back
Chiefs,
to back.
They have
It's-
12 picks. They only need
Yeah.
6 players. So like,
Sure.
definitely move some of that draft capital to
true.
move up.
But you look at it, and the Jets are going to be the second team coming up, and then you've got a lot of teams that their picks are really close together after the Jets and the Texans, other than the Lions, who have 2 and 32. There are a lot of interesting options here for the Jets. Evan Neal is one of them. I think I would go offensive line here if I were the New York Jets.
Yeah.
Or do you go just crazy ballistic bananas?
They go Drake London?
And no, I was going to say Jameson Williams.
You mean Giants, though?
Giants, yeah.
Giants
are up, yeah.
Oh, did I say Jets?
Yes, you
yeah.
said Jets.
Sorry,
yeah.
Giants.
Yes.
Do you go crazy bananas here and go Jameson Williams? Because he's going to be better, or do you go Garrett Wilson and one of these receivers? Because I know Sterling Shepard's coming back, but Darius Slayton is on his way out. Shepard could be on his way out. Galladay is not great in getting up there in age. They just gave him a big contract. Sure, that was a different regime, though. Do you go with a guy that you know is just going to give your offense some juice? Because if anything, I feel like the Giants have like 5 possession receivers.
Yeah. You can't give your offense some juice if your receiver's wide open and your quarterback can't get him the ball.
I mean, it's fair.
Right? So I think you got to start at the line.
Yeah.
And at least, like, Daniel Jones, he ain't it. But you got to give him some time.
Well, I think this is your final year to evaluate him before you have to sign him to a long-term deal or something, especially after that 5th-year option being declined.
But that essentially means they can't sign him to a long-term deal, though, right? Like, if he has a good year, someone else will want to take him unless your only option is to franchise him.
Well, here's the pick.
And you're not wasting a franchise on Daniel Jones.
No.
This draft is going so fast. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, this is flying by.
Goodness. Evan Neal. There it is. They went offensive tackle.
Great.
There were some concerns about medicals, I know, before
Yeah,
the draft.
but the Giants were one of the teams that did clear him.
That did clear him, and there you go. So this is an interesting one because Evan Neal, like the really cool thing about him was for 3 years in a row, he started at 3 different positions: guard, right tackle,
So I got
left
the stat
tackle.
right here. 40 career starts at Bama, 15 at left tackle, 13 at left guard, 15 at right tackle.
Can play anywhere.
And offensive linemen go down like crazy. You need that versatility of a guy who you can plug in anywhere. I didn't erase my previous grade. I'm just going to stick it with this again.
Yeah, I'm moving to an A.
I'm going with an A.
The Giants have had a phenomenal draft.
Yeah.
Those 2 picks were, which it's kind of hard to have a bad draft at 5 and 7.
They both fell to them, though, right?
did.
Like, those
Having 2 players that were both projected to go in the top 5.
could have been the first 2 picks.
That's a great draft
I'll
for a
go-
team who really needed one.
I'll go A-, and I really like it that he doesn't have to play left tackle in New York because Andrew Thomas is there, and he had a really good year last year. He was out of Georgia, I believe, as well. And so he had a really good year last year, and the ability to play him at right tackle or at guard is something that's great. Position versatility is always great. They signed one offensive lineman to a pretty big deal, Mark Glowinski. He played for Indy, full-time starter for the Colts the last 4 seasons, and so they brought in an offensive lineman. They brought in John Feliciano as well. They lost former Bill,
he was
but
key too. Feliciano called out all the coverages when Feliciano went down. That really affected that Bills line. Like, that's a good signing for them.
There were a lot of changes on the Giants' offensive line, though. They had Will Hernandez, who's been the starter for the last 4 years since being drafted in 2018. They had Billy Price, who started 15 games last year. They had Matt Skura, who started 14 games last year, and then Nate Solder, who they gave a huge contract to. All 4 of those guys are gone. So there is a real shift happening on this Giants' offensive line, and to shore that up, it makes a lot of sense.
I think just based off of value alone, the fact that these 2 guys could have been 1 and 2, and might have been 1 and 2 in a lot of people's draft boards, and the Giants just sat there, let them fall to them, and did the right thing.
Yeah.
So like, this is a franchise that like historically, has like been very great, but they've had like a rough 10-year stretch, man. Like you had a stat in Digital Sports Center the other day of, I think it was the Jets and Giants haven't drafted an All-Pro since Jamal Adams. So like
combined.
These two franchises just drafting poorly in the first round, and now they have, I don't know, that's 2 great picks, and they didn't.
Phenomenal picks.
I mean, if you take it to just Pro Bowls, I'm pretty sure the only Pro Bowl players have been Odell Beckham.
Well, Beckham was 2nd team All-Pro, so our stat was first team All-Pro.
It was first team All-Pro specifically. Okay, Matt's got a cool poll up. What team will take a QB first? Atlanta Falcons are on the clock.
This is where the draft gets really weird to me now.
It
this
does.
Is where everything
the Falcons
is blown
literally
wide
need everything,
open.
and they signed a whole bunch of players to 1-year contracts this summer. It was the weirdest thing.
Clearing cap space tank for the Falcons this year.
Oh my God, it's so funny. Like, look at all of the players.
I think we get the first receiver here.
Really?
I think they
take a receiver here. Yeah.
Look at their wide receiver depth. Their number 1 guy, if you don't count Patterson, is Olamide Zaccheaus.
And like
he had a great year last year.
He did, but he's not number 1.
Not like a great year.
I definitely get it, but like
yards, but
what do we got? Marcus Mariota slinging him the rock?
Yeah.
I guess.
I don't know why.
I don't know. Man.
Cordero Patterson decided
this is quite
on his
possibly
own to return.
This number is insane. They had 18 sacks last season.
This is one of the
TJ Watt had more sacks as a one man
one person
than their whole team. So that's a major need. But like Matt said, like they have no receivers.
To be completely honest, they have nothing. They have no one anywhere. This is one of the worst NFL rosters I've seen in years.
Well, you want to talk about team needs?
Awful.
Like,
team needs anyone. Take anybody.
Pick is in. Something that displays like how bad their team is right now. Only 2 players signed through, I believe it's 2025, and that's Jake Matthews and their kicker, Koo, who's their highest kicker.
What about Pitts? Not Pitts?
He's technically not signed through 2025 because of the fifth-year option. So technically, he's not signed. They have 2 players on their roster signed through 2025. They need everything. Yeah. And they need to hit on multiple picks this draft.
And I understand that like Kyle Pitts is a generational talent at tight end.
He is.
How do you take that guy at 4th overall? Like that's such a crazy pick to me.
You know what?
That's last year's draft. Who cares? But like.
He did have 1,000 yards. Like that's
he had a great season. He had a great season. But like your team's so bad now because that's who you took.
But they're not bad because that's who they took. But
like their teams, like they have nothing to build on now.
They're definitely not bad because that's who they took. No. Maybe we can bring this up at some point. But the Falcons' last 5 draft picks, last 5 first-round picks, just to illustrate how bad they are at drafting.
So let's look. Pitts. They could have went Chase. They could have went Waddle. Sewell would have made a lot of sense last year instead of Pitts.
So many better picks that they could have had.
I know, but
but Pitts was still awesome, and Pitts is going to be. I think he's going to be a generational tight end.
I guess.
Okay, so who do you think they go with here? Terrell is turned into one of the
literally
greats.
anything. Take anything, and it will help.
Would have been
okay. Pick is in.
Like this one who's like I can't even give you a prediction because they need everything.
Could it be?
I'm going off the board. I'm guessing Garrett Wilson.
Drake London.
I don't see
USC.
Oh wow, there it is.
Wide receiver.
Wow.
So, first receiver off the board,
his
Drake
size.
London.
Let's start the run on receivers for my over 6.5 receivers taken in the first round bet.
Right.
But this guy's a monster, man. He is like
he's the jump ball king. Who's throwing the ball?
I feel like he's literally playing in the same position that he was at USC because every time you watched his highlights at USC, he had separation, got great separation, and the ball was either behind him. I mean, for him, I really like him as a receiver. I think he's going to be really good.
I'm also going to go B+.
I think you got to temper expectations because of the offense and because he may not live up to his full potential in Atlanta.
I think if you look at his game log, he was a monster last year, and then he had that injury. But like he only played 8 games. You still had 7 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards.
I know that's nuts in 8 games.
6'5", played basketball. I love a guy who has that basketball background.
Jimmy Graham.
I feel like it translates.
I feel like every time someone has played college basketball, it is brought up 12 times on every NFL broadcast.
Here's what scares me: he did not run the 40 on his pro day.
No.
So like, is there something to hide? Why didn't he run the 40? I think if you don't do that, something's up. I know he's coming off the injury. That's probably why.
Eric's drawing a whole graphic, but look, like
they gave him the Vincent Jackson comp.
Yeah, which honestly, that's a really good comp. Yeah. I like that comp. That's why they do them and we don't. Seattle's on the clock. Maybe Seattle is the first spot.
So we've got a C.
We've
got a C for you.
That's crazy.
This is Mariota getting sacked. This is the Falcons O-line doing nothing. This is the other team. Here's the ball, and here's Drake London. That's what we're going to see all season as the Falcons cruise to an 0-17 record.
That ball's deflated, Eric, though.
That's a Tom Brady
This
ball.
is the same thing that they drew about Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Yes,
this was literally the meme, and it didn't work out for everyone that said, draft Penny Sewell.
Oh, it didn't? Look at how the Bengals lost the Super Bowl.
Okay, lost the Super Bowl. They made it to the Super Bowl.
But that play was the meme come to life. That's
literally what happened. Jamar Chase was wide open, and Joe Burrow had no time to get him the ball.
The microcosm of one play. If they had Penny Sewell, maybe there's no Jamar Chase being open because Tyler Boyd specifically plays in the slot.
There might not be, and either way, they don't win a Super Bowl.
Okay, well, you know what?
I like London as a player.
Spot.
I don't. The Falcons are just kind of trash, so I don't really know how that'll work. But I don't know. He's huge, and when he was at USC, he put up massive numbers every game.
Again. anyone in the comments, drop your grades as well. We'll read them. Drop your questions. The Seattle Seahawks are on the clock.
I just don't understand why you go with
9.
like a skill player when you have nothing around them.
So, but I think to me, it's their biggest needs were defensive line and receiver. I feel like if one of those three between Thibodeau, Hutchinson, and Walker
are still there.
But if Thibodeau,
but Jermaine Johnson was right there. He's still there.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a bit of a reach. To me,
I don't think that's a reach.
Those other three, I think people put in that elite category. He's just the next. He's the tier below or the tier after that.
And maybe they did do some calling, but if you're the Falcons, they're like, why aren't you trading down? Like you can get a good receiver later.
I mean,
get out of there, get some value for your pick.
It's tough. Obviously tough to say because we don't know if there are any offers on the table. But I agree. If they could have traded,
but all these receivers are all kind of grouped together, and every mock I saw has different guys going in different places.
Yeah.
Yep.
This draft is such an absolute.
It's been a lot of fun so far.
Their mock consensus had Garrett Wilson at 28%, and on my notes I had Garrett Wilson or Drake London.
Wow,
I thought they were gonna go Wilson, but yeah.
Drake.
I
the
like
rapper just made some quick cash.
Oh, he did. Yes.
What would you mean?
He bet 100,000
that
Drake London would be first receiver.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he's rattled that his Raptors are down 23 in the fourth, but
it's
he
over
made
for
some
them.
money on it. Should Seattle go for a QB? I say yes because I saw Drew Lock play for 2 years and he sucks.
But not at 9.
Why not?
It's a little high for what you're getting right
It
now.
is. I don't think they come. I mean, they have the ammo next year to move up and get a QB if they want. So yeah, I guess and Bryce Young and CJ Stroud are supposed to be very good, and so
their O-line's garbage.
This has to
their
be
O-line's garbage.
Pardon?
This has to be Cross.
It's got to be Cross, eh?
You look at who played tackle for them last year, and it was one of their undrafted rookies and Jake Curran on the right side.
So isn't that the reason why Russell Wilson left?
So,
2 years ago, he was calling out the O-line in like a GQ interview or something.
Yeah.
I think it has to be kind of line.
Yeah. Our boy Borat asked, which team in the top 10 do you think is most likely to go on a Bengals type run?
That's interesting.
Wow, that's a good question.
Anyone on the team a Packers fan from Diego? Matt behind the camera is. Sam is as well. Who was picking in the top 10 again? Who do we got?
So we have
Giants, Falcons, Texans,
Jags. No, Lions. No. I think the Lions not a
Depends
Bengals
how they
background.
do the rest of their
Wouldn't surprise me if
draft.
the Lions kind of are 9 and 8 and make the
team.
playoffs.
So the problem with all of these teams is that they're not in this. Well, the same situation as the Bengals doesn't apply because they had Joe Burrow.
Yes, but the
they had
Jags
their
have
guy.
Trevor Lawrence. So that's a similar situation.
Really?
But I'm not saying. I'm just saying, playing devil's advocate, going into last year, the Bengals win total, I think, was 6.5. They were projected to finish last. They were near the bottom in the league in Super Bowl odds. So the scenarios aren't really that different.
Yeah,
First
I
overall
guess
pick
so.
at quarterback, and Lawrence was actually more hyped, a more desirable prospect than
He was.
So
I guess
the
it's,
answer.
I guess it doesn't compare apples to apples for me because the Jags are so bad.
And the Jags.
Oh yeah,
And
I
the
don't
Jags.
believe it. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
that
no,
would
I
be
get
a
what
big
you're
deal.
And the
saying.
Jags didn't get Trevor Lawrence any help with their pick.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's true.
Right. That was the thing with the Bengals was sure they gave Joe Burrow that weapon and then they gave him a 3-headed monster at receiver.
Yeah.
T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd are
Yeah, I
great
know,
2
I
and
know.
3.
It's true.
If
And
Chase wasn't there, those two guys would be talked about a lot more.
the Bengals
Right?
they made some great defensive signings last year too. The guys they brought in, they hit on all of them.
Yeah.
Basically rebuilt the defense through free agency.
If Daniel Jones wasn't the quarterback, I would say the Giants.
Yeah.
But Daniel Jones is the quarterback. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a team, to be honest, in the
I
top
don't
10.
think there is. I don't think there is.
I'll be intrigued to see what Dable can do with Daniel Jones and maybe open
will
up the
too.
offense to try to get a lot more of those running plays in because Daniel Jones is a crazy good athlete.
Yeah.
Like he's a very good runner. He's not much of a passer, but I don't really think we've seen enough yet. I'm intrigued to see what Dable can do with him, but I don't have much.
That was an
faith in
absolute
Daniel Jones.
sellout answer. I'm sorry, Borat.
So here,
None of us gave you an answer.
The trade that has Seattle on the clock. I'm a Broncos fan. We picked Russell Wilson tonight, and there's no one that Seattle can draft or the Broncos could have drafted that would have been more valuable and better than Russell Wilson. That's how I choose to look at this. You have 2 firsts, 2 seconds, a 5th. Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris. They got a 4th.
It sucks losing Noah Fant.
Albert O is an athletic.
I don't think anyone's
freak.
Yeah, no.
I mean, Noah Fant had 3 years to show that
Yeah, he didn't really put the production that
he didn't. And I mean, part of that is obviously because he was playing in a horrible offense with, oh my God, who is it? Shermer that was our offensive coordinator. horrible and playing with Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater. And so I'm just like, yeah.
Apparently Seattle kind of likes Drew Lock and they think they can work with him.
Go for it.
Yeah, good
I
luck.
see Matt laughing in the
That's what you
That's
tell
a joke.
yourself. That's what you tell yourself for this year, so you can say, or so you don't exactly say we're trying to lose every single game, so we can get the number one pick.
If you're Seattle right now, you're trying to suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Same thing with Atlanta.
What are you
if you're
doing?
in that quarterback mediocrity spot, just tank.
Yes
But
and no,
garbage.
but because like DK Metcalf could just.
Why?
but, like, trade
trade
him.
DK or trade Tyler Lockett. Trade both.
Why are you keeping them?
Yeah.
Like, they don't want to be there, and you can get so much value for them right now. Like, what's the point?
Here we go.
Tell me, Raj.
It is Charles Cross. It is the
Wow.
Yeah.
next tackle. We've got our run on tackles, and that rounds out the top 10. Charles Cross.
So Jermaine Johnson drops. We still got Jordan Davis on the board. We're going to see an interesting little run here.
So
B minus.
I'm giving it a B. I'm pretty. I mean, he played in an offense that passed a ton, had a great pass blocking grade according to PFF. I think he's really good. I think it'll help Seattle having. I mean, they should have done this instead of, because if we bring it up right now, because it's freaking hilarious. The Seahawks' last 5 draft picks, because you want to know when one of their last 5 first-round picks was? In 2012 when they drafted Bruce Irvin.
Wow.
How is that possible?
Yeah, what are you doing?
What? What?
But that's also another thing. Like, if you look at, like, I guess that's a little later than the Rams, but look at the recent trend of teams are just, like, firing their first-round picks out. And then as a fan of a team who, like, I would say overvalues our draft, like, in our first-round picks, we hit a lot of draft picks, but we gatekeep those picks. Like, we're not giving them away. Right? So you
Look at this.
Yeah.
LJ Collier, Rashard Penny. It took him like 5 years, but Jermaine Ifedi and Bruce Irvin. I get it. When teams are good, they're picking at the back half of the first round, and sometimes those picks turn to second-round picks because you trade out or you trade a first-round pick altogether because you want to get a guy like Percy Harvin who did help them win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Fine, whatever. But
Bill's
like
legend.
the last 3 years of your Seattle, you can't tell me that you're just like, we're not gonna pick someone in the first round. We'd rather not. Trading 2 first-round picks for Jamal Adams.
Yeah, that was
may have
just
been the
stupid.
dumbest thing you could have ever done.
Yeah. I also just realized that Tyrod Taylor plays for the Giants now, and he's the most unlucky quarterback ever. So Daniel Jones is about to turn into God
something good,
reincarnated
yes.
on earth. Like, something's going to happen that's crazy here. The Giants are winning the Super Bowl. Bet it.
That was the question. Which team in the top 10? There you go.
Which
Giants.
team in the top
I'm answering,
ten? It's definitely
So-
not Seattle after this pick.
Well, I think this is a
they're
pick
well
for
on their
next
way.
year.
They
It's a good
definitely
pick.
needed O-line
a
help,
pick for
so I'm
next
okay
year.
with that. But what scares me is just, I mentioned before that that Rosillo pod with Daniel Jeremiah and Todd McShay. They made one comment of, if who's a guy who's going to be picked in the top 10 that would make you worried, and they both said Cross. So those are two of the smartest draft evaluation guys.
Yep.
So that worries me a bit. But yeah, he was in an offense that passed literally every single time.
Yeah.
And he didn't give up any sacks. I think he gave up
It
5
just
sacks
showed-
on the year.
It just showed the number 1,243 pass block attempts that he had, and so that's insane.
So now you're the Jets, and all the linemen are gone. Exactly what I was worried about.
All linemen are gone. You've got Jermaine Johnson.
No, O linemen.
Oh, O lineman. Yeah, I mean, Penning is a guy that.
Oh, I would be furious
This
if
is
the
gonna be
Ravens
receiver.
took Penning.
If you're not
at
trading for Deebo-
14, if the Jets take Penning at 10,
Man,
that's
I
a
think-
reach.
I think he's going to be good, man.
He could be good.
Yeah.
What about
But, like, you don't-
center?
you-
Do they
you
take?
can get him
Do they
way
take
later.
Linderbaum?
So,
The Ravens?
No, the Jets.
I think
the
that's
Jets,
once again.
not
I think
at
that's
10.
a position where it's like you don't want to use
Not
a
at
top
10.
10 pick on the center.
Not a 10. If you
I agree,
love him
but-
and you want him, trade back.
I agree.
I think this screams wide receiver.
Yeah, I think receiver too.
I
It's
think
Garrett
they take
Wilson
Jameson
or
Williams.
Jameson Williams. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Jameson Williams would be. I
Maybe
think that
Garrett
makes the most
Wilson.
sense.
I
might
think
be.
they need a speed element to their offense. I feel like Garrett
He's
Wilson.
versatile too. Can play in the slot, can play on
what
the
are their-
outside, can kind of do it all.
What are their receivers right now? Corey Davis, Elijah Moore.
who they hit on. With
Elijah
Braxton.
Moore's good, man.
Elijah Moore's
He's
really
really good.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they re-signed Braxton Berrios. It's not a bad unit.
Barrios
but you need
had a nice, strong like last 4
Right
games.
now,
of the
imagine if
season,
they
did.
just had an elite offensive lineman
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Their O-line,
wow.
Their O-line is not bad. It's not horrible. It's not great, but it's not horrible. Let's look up some. You want to see some stats on their O-line? Let's do it. Their stuffed run percentage 18, so not great. That's really not great. Their adjusted sack rate was 8.6%, which is fourth worst in the league, so that's not great. Okay, offensive line, Jets. Yeah. That's not good.
Would have been nice to have an elite offensive lineman if only one was available.
Sauce Gardner.
I going in on my little notes going in, I said this has to be O-line or receiver, and I assumed they would probably take O-line with their first pick. So
I exited the draft
because the good linemen are gone. I do think they probably I don't know, Jameson Williams makes sense. This guy was potentially a top 5, top 10 pick before the injury. Monster numbers,
where you are right now. If you're the Jets, you take the receiver and then second round, or trade down. Yeah, the second round. That's when you start.
Garrett Wilson, Ohio State, wide receiver.
Yeah.
He is the first Ohio State receiver we expect to see in the first round.
We're on a run on receivers. Let's hit that 6.5.
They're doing they're doing what the NFL's doing now and getting 3 elite receivers on a roster. That's a very common thing that we're seeing a lot of teams do.
Yeah.
3.
But this is
how about 0?
I would say this though too. If it goes back to what we said about when you have a quarterback that you're trying to develop. Yeah, that's line of the draft so far. When you want to develop a quarterback, you need to put those weapons around him to see what you have.
Yeah, and I don't know. My thing is just it's a good pick for the Jets. You're giving Zach Wilson options, but you're not giving him time.
What did Luca go?
B+. I think Garrett Wilson is really good. I think he's athletic. Wow. Out of the Ohio State receivers, he was the guy that had all of the
How do you like this?
Wow.
How do you like that?
A+.
Hempstead, what do you think? I think he's the best receiver in this draft. I think if he doesn't get hurt, we're talking about him going in the top 5. Going probably from 5 to 10 range.
Okay. Which is where he went.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I think he goes earlier. I really liked him, and then the injury is just the only thing that kind of slowed him down. I think this is they showed us through the offseason that they desperately needed a receiver. They offered up all of that for Tyreek Hill. They were apparently trying to be in on Debo.
I think they're out on Debo now.
Yeah, they have to be. Yeah.
Right? Unless you really what Corey Davis is only under contract for one more year. Isn't he
you don't have the draft capital now to kind of land Debo.
Unless you're willing to part with next year's pick.
But the Niners
it doesn't have the value anymore.
Yeah, exactly. The Niners don't want next year's pick.
I don't know. What's the plan? And now if you're the Jets, you should just be focusing on your line at this point. If you're going to make a trade, if you're going to do anything, you're focused on your line. The rest of
the draft, they should just be taking linemen,
Right? Everything's on the line, and then maybe you look to your...
I think you got to look at the pedigree of Alabama receivers who have, over the last, 3 years, that's been kind of wide receiver nothing but really good receivers coming out of Bama. So...
Yeah.
Or, sorry, wait. What am I saying?
Ohio State.
Yeah,
Ohio State.
I'm sorry.
This is my favorite part of the draft, guys. We get to christen the football again. As last year, we had to change the logo to the football team, but they have since changed the football team, which, unfortunate change. So now we get to cover it again. We got a 3-layer burrito of a football over here, and we're just going to put a nice W with a little bit of...
I will say his relative athletic score, Garrett Wilson, the comps are not great.
I take back my A+. I was confused for a second, and I thought I was talking about what's his name from Bama.
Jameson Williams.
That's what I don't know. I just had a complete brain fart there. So
his speed grade is elite.
Just ignore everything I previously said, and I don't have to change my grade. So now you guys know how I feel about
whoever takes Jameson Williams.
Yes, exactly.
I'm changing it to a B, actually.
There we go. Same.
I'm changing
Got a B.
I think the Saints traded up to 11.
Whoa! The Saints are up to 11.
So is this for quarterback?
If I'm seeing that right.
Wait, no.
It can't be.
But I just changed the
Saints
football.
are on the clock. The Saints are on the clock. I'm giving Garrett Wilson a B because I've looked at his relative athletic score, and it scares me, and it's something that a lot of people have talked about with him as well, as far as his ability to get off press coverage. That's something he still needs to work on, and his composite size grade is poor based on his height and his weight. His speed grade is elite, but some of the guys' relative athletic score he compares to Eddie Royal, Jerome Mathis, Quez Watkins, Quentin Lawrence, and DJ Woods. How many of those guys have you heard of? I've heard of 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
For me, with him, I would say it's the versatility, the fact that you can move him in the slot,
For sure.
the outside, and on that Jets team where they already have a good receiver core.
I feel like all those guys are interchangeable.
Yeah, exactly, and that's kind of. It seems like that's what they're building.
Yeah, this is huge. I love this.
I hate this. The Ravens have 48 picks in this draft and have done nothing.
Yeah.
So Dylan says Williams, as in Jameson Williams,
The guy who I just thought went 10 to the Jets.
couldn't beat
really
out
confused.
Olave or Wilson at Ohio State. And I mean, hey, that there's
Joe Burrow couldn't beat out a bum at Ohio State too, and then
exactly transfer to LSU.
These are young kids.
Exactly, they are young kids. Sometimes you need a shot. There's a reason why. I mean, it's not easy at Alabama either. John Mechie is going to be a second or third round receiver.
Yeah.
The Canadian.
I think he goes
Shout
second
out
round.
Candy.
I feel like
I
he
do
goes
too.
second round.
I think he goes second round, but it's not like you're walking into an Alabama receiving room and it's just like there's no competition there
Yep.
either. They've churned out
Nothing but competition.
tons of receivers year after year. They had the Heisman Trophy winning receiver last year
Yeah.
on their roster. Jerry Jeudy the year before that. So
If I'm a Steelers fan. If they take Willis, I might need a trip to the hospital.
do you think the Saints take a quarterback? Because so I've seen Penning mocked to them more times than I can count because obviously Teron Armstead is not there anymore.
Yeah, they've got a gaping hole.
They've got a huge hole, but I don't think the draft board has fallen the way they may have thought it would fall, or maybe they did expect this situation to
Honestly,
happen.
Luca, I think it's wide receiver. They saw the run.
I think so too.
They saw the run start. Wilson, London, and then after that,
Washington,
there's
yeah.
Williams and Olave, and after that, there's a bit of a fall off. So I think it's one of those two guys.
And like, they got Jameis, I guess. So like,
I like Jameis. I have faith that Jameis
30
can
for
be
30.
okay.
And they've got him. They've got him for 2 years as well.
Yeah, like
It's
I don't think
not
they're
like
in a
a
rush.
one-year thing.
I don't think they're in a rush to take a quarterback this draft. I think next year they'll see what Jameis does this year and their tight end Taysom Hill.
And then,
But like, I don't think. I think you're right. I think they came up for a receiver here. But
anytime I see the trade up, I assume it is for quarterback. But I think you guys are right. I feel like it's the run on receivers.
Miami did it last year for Waddle.
Is there anyone else they could be targeting? Someone off the board that you're looking at that they could be targeting?
Jermaine Johnson, Jordan Davis.
Because the Saints are a weird team. Peyton, what was it? Peyton Turner
Do we know what
last
they
year
gave up
that
yet
they
or no?
drafted? Right?
Last year? Let me
Peyton
check.
Turner, right? That's the guy they drafted last year from
Where are we?
Houston.
Hold on, I got the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Peyton Turner. They traded up that other year for Marcus Davenport. Like, they do weird things.
They're not trading up for Kyle Hamilton too. Like, this is such a weird.
Hamilton's
draft.
one of the
don't
best
think-
players, though, man.
Yes,
Like, you
I
know
don't think
he's
they're
gonna
trading up for him,
No,
but
neither do
maybe,
I.
like, Jermaine Johnson might be the guy.
Jermaine Johnson's pretty much the last good end. So,
this
that could
is-
definitely be the
yes.
case.
This is pick 11.
Jameson Williams is
I
what
love that. Let's go.
I'm guessing.
They got Let's Go Pels in their draft room, and the Pelicans are in tight right
Aren't they?
now.
They're in tight, really?
They're up 81-80 late in the third quarter for anyone
With
who
Booker
cares.
playing?
Game 7, maybe.
Wow. Pour some out for the Raps, though.
Yeah, they're done.
I'm seeing a lot of Let's Go Heat on Twitter.
Ben Willis says, or Ben, I said Ben Willis. It's Willis. He says Willis is too good not to have been taken. I don't disagree, but with 2 picks,
That wouldn't shock me here.
I don't know what they had to give up.
Yeah.
I wonder what they had to give up.
Do we know anything on what they gave up yet or no?
And I'm not sure if they came from their first or second first round pick.
That's also a good question. Just says the Saints are on the clock as far
Wow.
as Ian Rappaport
the pick is in.
says. The pick is in.
So we're either going to get complete anarchy or very anticlimactic picks.
I love when they trade up and the pick is not yet in.
Yeah. It's like, what are you
You
doing?
know what you're picking.
Yeah. what? Same with like when the first overall pick
Yeah.
takes like 5 minutes.
Jameson
It's like,
Williams
guys, you had months
would be
to think
awesome.
about this.
Yeah, that's what I think. But quarterback is what I want because I want chaos. Chaos is a ladder. Let's get a quarterback here and
Yeah.
let's start that chaos.
And like, I would love to see Tiny Hand Pickett in the AFC North,
God.
not Malik Willis.
They got some guys up here.
Here we go.
Is that Tony
What they bring?
Gonzalez? And Austin Eckler, yeah.
They bring everybody they know up.
Why are they bringing the AFC West up for this pick? And where are my Broncos?
Yeah, what is going on? Did they come to?
Oh, wait. Oh, are they just announcing the first Thursday night game of the year is going to be KC and the Chargers?
Oh my god!
Give me
Who
the pick.
cares?
Oh, wow. Amazon gets a full draft pick? Is that what's happening here?
Raj, we don't care, buddy.
Moose.
Oh, the Lions are now on the clock.
Oh, wow.
Wait, what?
Wow.
That might be for quarterback.
So the Lions and Vikings, presumably, who have pick number 12, made a
That's
trade.
Malik Willis.
yeah.
That's Malik
Ian,
Willis.
Ian
That's
Rappaport
Malik.
said it's a big trade. He used an exclamation mark in his tweet. Whoa, what is going on? The
that's
draft
crazy.
is getting
I think
crazy.
that's got to be
ladies and
Willis. Well, we'll see what
gentlemen.
happens here, though, because maybe Willis is here.
If it goes Willis Pickett back to back, that would
wow.
be so crazy.
So this starts the QB craziness then after
Yeah.
the Lions, right? Teams are going to start being like, oh,
We need to move up for Ritter.
So, yeah, wow.
Drop your predictions in the comments as to who you think is going to be the pick.
I think this has to be Jameson Williams then. If
Is
it's not
there
going to be quarterback.
is there a
because-
Saints emoji? Is there like a fleur de lis
Yeah.
emoji? Drop that in. Let's get a fleur de lis train going.
How do you spell fleur? Don't clip that.
Yeah, there it is. Week 2, Thursday Night Football.
Oh my God! No one.
Chargers
Week
and
2.
Chiefs.
We're announcing week 2.
Yeah.
F in the chat from Star Review. Oh, TSN
Wow.
dropped the first fleur de lis. Copy that and paste it.
Get it in
Let's
there.
go.
Because I know you guys couldn't spell fleur either.
Okay, let's stop talking about this game that is literally
Yeah, let's get
months
the pick.
away. Like,
What is the pick? So it's probably not Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett, right?
I don't think it's
No, I
quarterback
think-
if we
I
have
think it's a
someone
wide
trading up.
receiver.
Yeah.
so 12 and 46 for 32, 34 and 66. The Vikings get 2 picks at the end of the first round, basically, and start of the second round, and the Lions are up at 12.
Okay.
Wow.
That's a great trade for the
Minnesota
Lions,
and
too.
Detroit.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, Minnesota
Same
and Detroit,
division.
same division.
Weird.
Here we go. Saints.
That is weird.
That is weird.
Rarely happens.
It does.
Olave! Wow! Okay.
No way.
They traded up for Chris Olave.
I'm sad.
Wow, Matt, I know. I wanted him to be a Packer. The Ohio State receivers go back
Isn't
to
Jameson Williams
back.
better than both of these guys?
I guess it's
I
the
don't
injury
know if he
history.
is.
The injury history
Yeah.
is scaring them.
I don't know if he is. I am. So, me personally.
So was that back-to-back Ohio State receivers and back-to-back picks? That's great.
Back-to-back Ohio State receivers. I am giving this one an A-, and let me just wax poetic about Chris Olave a little bit here because I play receiver and in an Ajax Touch Football League. Catch me at the Ajax Touch Football
I think it's
League.
pronounced Ajax.
Ajax Touch Football League. Chris Olave is the best route runner in this draft by far. I get the size. I get the size concerns for sure. That is something legitimate, and I get the yards after the catch concerns as well because usually when he's making catches, he is not going far after.
Oh, you need that yak.
the catch. He is not a yak machine as opposed to Garrett Wilson is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think he needs to be. If you're talking about the safest receiver in this draft, it's Chris Olave. He's got the highest floor for sure
So
out of anybody in this draft.
I'm going with a B simply because I don't understand who was in front of them that was in danger of taking a receiver.
Well, I
Like,
feel
why did they trade up for this? That's the thing I don't get.
I do think we are at a bit of a run for receivers.
I think Washington was in play for a receiver.
I think Washington could have been, but after that, so you're either going to get Olave or Williamson.
But you
or
want
Williams.
to.
But like,
I don't have a problem with trading up and
It just
making sure you
seems-
go get your guy.
I think
You've
you're defending against
identified
other
this.
trade-ins too, right?
So that's why my grade
Yeah.
is incomplete because I don't know what they gave up.
Yeah.
I need to know
Sure.
what they traded for before I can give a
Saints
grade.
trade
on it.
up, giving up 16, 98, and 120.
see, I just think at 16 they were still going to get one of their receivers. Like,
I mean,
unless
don't
a
think
bunch of
this
teams were trying to
package-
trade up.
I don't think this package is crazy. A 98 is
I think,
nothing.
I
To
think they
move
could
up
have
to
stayed.
move up 3 spots.
I think they could have stayed exactly where they were.
Maybe, but
No, they moved
what-
up 5 spots.
You risk
yeah, right,
losing
yeah.
out on your guy. Like, why not?
I guess, but like,
You think that you know what other teams are gonna do, but you don't know what
I
they
have no
do.
idea for sure.
No,
but,
I'm
like,
saying like if you're the Saints, like you look at the teams ahead of you and say they're probably not going to draft Chris Olave, but if you have an opportunity to
Well,
make
like,
a move and
if
not give up a
not
lot
give up
to
a lot
go
to get
to
your
go
guy.
get him, why not?
Commanders, Washington, maybe. Vikings, no.
But why would
I saw
you? Why would
Kyle
Houston?
Hamilton going
no.
every draft to Minnesota.
Ravens,
Why
no.
wouldn't Houston do it?
Why would Houston do
They
it?
have
They
no
have
receivers.
no receivers other than Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Why wouldn't you
Houston's
do
kinda-
it?
And the Ravens also have trash receivers.
No, they do not.
They don't have trash receivers. The Eagles could draft a receiver.
All you do is complain about the Ravens receivers.
I used to complain about the Ravens receivers. In 2018, 2019, the Ravens receivers were brutal.
The Eagles could have drafted a receiver. The Vikings were a team that people had.
No way the Vikings are taking a receiver.
I don't understand why the Eagles were linked to receivers when they've taken receivers back-to-back years.
I think it's because Rager just is horrible.
Yeah. Devonta Smith is. I think Devonta Smith is sick. It's just they aren't really. We'll get to the Eagles when we get to them, but like that's not an offense that wants to pass the ball anyways.
Dylan wanted his Bears to trade up and get Olave. Dylan, your team has no capital to trade up. I that would be great, but I don't kind of disagree with I disagree with you on the fact that if they recognized and identified this guy as theirs and they only had to give up basically I 98. Go do it. Time.
Yeah, I like.
And you've got another first-round pick.
I like the aggressiveness of just going and getting your guy, especially having 2 first-round picks.
I love the player.
And
I love the player
like personally.
To me, it just seems weird that the teams in front of them that I see aren't really taking receivers.
I think that's just what Houston's kind of been advertising that 13th pick of like move up, move down.
It's true.
Yeah.
And now there's Green Bay, Kansas City.
I will say
Eagles
this too.
Moving up potentially. So if you love Olave, and a lot of teams do,
go get him.
Just secure.
I will say this about Olave too. I think his floor is a lot higher in a place like New Orleans, in the sense that you're assuming Michael Thomas is finally back and healthy.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be the guy, and I feel like a guy at his size and frame may never be like the guy. Cooper Kupp is bigger than Chris Olave. There's a reason why Cooper Kupp is one of the best receivers in football. He's got some size to him, even though he's maybe a little smaller in stature per se. Chris Olave's height and weight they're smaller than average.
But Cooper Kupp also has an offensive genius and a good quarterback. And now New Orleans has no. We don't know what the question mark is without Sean Payton.
100%. That's definitely part of it. I just think that a team that was drafting Chris Olave, it needs to be a team. I think like the Packers, like the Saints. Like if Houston is drafting him to be their number one, I think that's different.
Sir.
Yeah.
The Detroit Lions have officially caused anarchy, and the pick is in.
Here we go.
And your man Roger Goodell is about to announce it.
You already saw it?
No, I didn't see it, but it's got to be anarchy.
It's got to be Malik Willis.
It's got to be. The draft is so fun.
Jameson Williams!
Yeah, there we go.
Wow! They moved up to go get another receiver.
4th receiver.
Wow!
That's got to be a D.
I love it.
I like it too.
I love it.
So
Come on.
Everything I said before about
Detroit.
the Garrett Wilson pick is how I feel. I think this is the best receiver in this draft. I think this is. I'm going to get my A+ back on.
A+.
Yeah.
A+. I know you gave up 32 and 34, which.
But they got a second next year in that.
I'm
I don't know if you saw the details of that.
They did get a second in next year.
A+. Hempstead.
I thought for sure they were.
Bad.
I thought for sure they were taking Willis there, but this is like insane for them to be able to come through next year and draft one of their draft a quarterback that can slide into a team that is so ready to actually be good is such good play. Like obviously you have to hope that these players hit, but like this is a great draft so far.
I would like to hear Hempstead. Why do you think this is a bad pick?
Man, I mean, the thing with Jameson, right, is that it's not necessarily a year one play, right? It's a 4 to 5 year window. So for Detroit, that makes a lot of sense. You get a wide receiver who is potentially the best in the draft class. And maybe I'm just salty.
Yeah.
Because no, but it's a great point because now the Packers, you were thinking maybe Olave gets there. Now you're looking at Burks, right? As
well, if you're the Packers, why are you the ones trading up for this?
Thank you for that question.
Well, because they're probably not going to take a receiver and they're going to ruin their fan base.
Correct.
Yeah, they're going quarterback.
Yeah, no, I think for the Lions, though, it's just weird to have Goff, but then they're looking next year for their quarterback.
Where was I when the Eagles traded up?
The Eagles traded up!
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God, this is anarchy.
What is going on?
And we've had 3 trade-ups in the last 3 picks. This is nuts.
Another receiver?
Who, though?
Wow.
It'd be too rich for a receiver at this point, you would think.
Goodness gracious.
This has to be Jermaine.
Jermaine Johnson?
The Eagles had 29 sacks last year, which is second fewest in the NFL.
Yep.
Has to be Jermaine Johnson.
Well, if you're looking at receiver prospects.
Just to counter on that, 200 yards a game, that is what they threw for. They were like one of the worst passing offenses, ran the ball like crazy. they like we said before, they've drafted receiver back-to-back years.
They have.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think it might be defensive end. I think they're stupid if they take another receiver. It would be very Lions of the early 2000s.
Or Kyle Hamilton, who's sliding.
Yeah, who's arguably the best player in the draft.
I love that spot for Kyle Hamilton. Yeah. I think that's a great spot for him.
The Eagles?
Yeah.
But do you need to trade up for him? Couldn't you just have kept this slide going and seen where he winds up?
Maybe.
Where were the Eagles picking though?
15.
They were
15.
They were 2 picks.
Yeah, he would have. I don't think the Texans were taking.
Maybe.
Yeah,
he's been mocked. He's been mocked to the Texans a lot.
If the Texans were linked to Kyle Hamilton.
The Texans are a classic. Our whole team sucks. Take the best player available, and he fits best player available.
Yeah. It's interesting with them because Johnson does make sense. They did sign Hassan Reddick though this offseason to a big deal. Fletcher Cox is coming back. Derek Barnett is coming back, and Brandon Graham is still somehow there.
What do you guys think about Jalen Hurts?
Trayvon Diggs thinks that the Eagles select Pickett.
That'd be wild.
I think it's wild.
Crazy.
So, okay,
if they pick a
I don't think Hurts is a good quarterback. Last year, they sort of shifted their whole...
Do you think he's worse than any of the guys available now? I think the only guy might be
I think you know what you have.
Was Hurts bad enough to trade up to 13 to take Pickett, who probably would have been available?
So I'm not saying that I think that they're going to do that for quarterback. I just think they saw what they had in Hurts last year. I don't know if you remember the beginning of the season, they're like, we're going to be over the top in how much we pass. And then they just pivoted and we're like, we're going to run Oklahoma's offense. What did they... Ran over 31 times a game last year, second in the NFL, led the league in rush yards per game.
I love the comment that says, Trayvon, go back to camp.
So it was funny when we were going to talk about what the worst thing our teams could do.
I know we had so many questions.
My team is up next on the clock, and my thing was literally going to be do nothing, which is exactly what they've done. They have 10 picks this draft, and the Ravens aren't drafting 10 players. What are you doing if you're drafting 10 rookies? And now we're staying at 14. If Jordan Davis falls to us at 14, that's phenomenal. I'm happy with it. But we didn't do anything. They have to do some major moves with all their 4th round picks, and move up back into the second. Move into the they've got to do something.
You have a lot of options here. There's not, depending on obviously what happens with the Eagles. What are you hoping for?
Oh, it's Jordan Davis. If it's not, if Jordan Davis is an Eagle.
Oh yeah,
is a Raven. He's a Raven.
That is the fit. Yeah.
Jordan Davis is a Raven, through and through. Right? It's Haloti Ngata.
I will just drool over that guy. He's one of my favorite players in this draft. We were talking about before we went on air. What is he what's the size? 6'6".
He's Haloti Ngata reincarnated.
6'6", 350, and runs a 4.7, 840.
And every good Ravens defense has always had that big monster right in the middle.
Yeah.
Right? Which he's. I can't say it any better than he's a Raven. There's just players that's
unless he goes to Philly right now.
So I do love the Lions pick even more, knowing that obviously they have the Rams pick next year as well. So they've got the capital if they want to move up for a QB. And they're already going to be bad anyway, so it's just
next year's QB year. Right?
Makes sense. And Amon-Ra St. Brown was unreal last year.
But how real do you think that is?
I think it's real. I think he's a good receiver.
I think it's real too. I just don't think it's real to the extent of which he.
Interesting.
That guy swung leagues last year, but also with a
bad quarterback.
This I also just thought about. Jordan Davis is someone the Eagles could 100% be trading up for. Yeah. Right? Because they know the Ravens would have taken him.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So if
that's a very good point.
They slide right into 13. He was 100% going to the Ravens. That was the only choice.
So we still don't know
So if the Eagles pop ahead, that seems like the move to make.
It's funny how there's so much mystery, and then the Ravens are taking Jordan Davis. Unless someone stops them. That's literally the discussion, right?
Right.
So a lot of their consensus mocks always have them taking receivers. So
I'm also so fine with Jermaine Johnson falling to the Ravens. Yeah. That's a crazy slide.
I'm not as sold on him, but
there are 2 guys sliding right now. One is Jermaine Johnson, who a lot of people viewed as a top 10 guy.
Yeah.
And Kyle Hamilton, who we knew was in for a slide likely, but then we all thought it would stop at Minnesota, but they traded out.
So now what I'll say to that, though, is I think those are just sort of based on the premium of the position. Kyle Hamilton's a great player, but safeties for some reason aren't that desirable, whereas everybody wants an edge. And it's you can get the 4th best edge. It's what are you really getting with that? Are you just taking the position because you need that?
Yeah, I know.
Whereas take the sure thing in Hamilton.
I will say Marcus Epps, Anthony Harris as your starters at safety. That doesn't inspire a lot of confidence in me if you're the Eagles.
Yeah.
This definitely could be a prime spot. The Texans get pick number 15. 2 2022 fifths and a 2022
That's a lot
fourth.
to move up
That's a
2
lot.
spots.
A lot to move up 2 spots.
I think they're taking Jordan Davis. I think that's the only reason you make that move.
I think Kyle Hamilton is warranting of that move too.
But who was taking Hamilton before that?
I think the Texans,
The Texans, maybe. Well, the pick is in. We're about to find out.
Yeah.
And this is a targeted attack at the Ravens, right?
That's so much to give out, and it seems like they jumped one team who was linked to one player.
Mm-hmm.
So Borat thinks like you guys are thinking, and it's Jordan Davis. Seems to be the best
Very
fit for them.
nice.
I don't disagree, and I think that the Eagles, like I kind of explained some of those pass rushers that they brought back, but Fletcher Cox is on his last kind of limbs in Philly. Brandon Graham is as well. His contract's void after this year. And Derek Barnett has been underwhelming since being a first-round pick. He's going to be around for a couple of years still, signed a 2-year deal, but you got Hassan Reddick, who had a great year with Carolina after having a great year with Arizona after being viewed as a bust for a few years in Arizona. And now you add him to the fold, which will obviously help your pass rush. You add Davis in there too. I mean, you can never have enough pass rushers.
Yeah. But also too, that's just a big body that will open everything up for the rest of your defense.
For sure.
Yeah.
These Eagles fans look lit.
The Eagles.
Are you seeing this?
Oh, yeah.
They look lit up.
The Eagles are the only bird team to have their logo facing that way.
Is that?
It's good to know.
That's a fun stat.
That's the graphic designer in you.
That's a fun
really
stat.
important to note.
They're the only bird logo where their head faces the wrong way.
Raptors are officially out.
Bye bye.
Force them out.
Yeah, that sucks.
Here we go.
Matt. Oh.
Oh, there's a thing first.
There's a what?
There's a little announcement first.
Oh my God, is that what this is?
Yeah.
I was like on the edge of my seat. The Eagles are.
Oh
either,
no,
the Eagles
you
are
can,
absolute. They're either absolute scumbags or they have.
Let's
Kyle
drop
Hamilton.
some. Oh wow, we got an Eagles suck, go Cowboys, from Wolf over there. Let's drop some Eagles in the chat.
But not if they take Jordan Davis. Then no more Eagles in the chat.
Wow.
Actually, like I don't know. Like I want Jordan Davis, but
Jordan Davis.
Oh.
And Eric.
Scumbags.
Eric is
penning?
No. You absolute scumbags.
Right.
And like that makes sense why they gave up that much. They jumped to take
what
him.
a suit. What a suit.
That sucks.
I'm going. That's A+.
wow. We've been giving out some really good grades.
No, but honestly,
That's an A+ for the amount they gave up.
We talked about this before. This is a dude who can kind of completely.
But now he's not on the Ravens, so he's not that good anymore.
He can completely anchor your defense and open everything up. As Luca mentioned, his flag football wide receiverness. I was a defensive tackle. I love the big man. I just love a fat guy just crushing. And that's what this guy is. Man, he's 350 pounds, 6'6", 4'7", 840. I don't know how many times I'm going to say the measurable.
I gave an A because we literally have not seen an RAS, relative athletic score, this good. His speed grade is elite. Guy ran a 4.78 40-yard dash at 341 pounds.
So apparently the 341, the 341 is generous. There's people who say he could be up as close to like 360-ish.
What?
Yeah.
How is that possible? How is a man that big allowed to run that fast? Like, we're talking about faster than some defensive backs and receivers.
I get it, Luca.
He might be faster than Drake London, who didn't run.
He might be comparable, which is nuts. His 10-yard split is 1.63. That's a 9.9 on the RAS scale. His size grade is obviously elite because he's 341 damn pounds. And the comps are not great. Like Kevin Williams is one, Lawrence Okoye, Jonathan Marshall. Kevin Williams was really good.
For a long time.
Igor Olshansky out of Oregon. I think the athletic scores here just show that there are not many players like this, and none of those guys went in the first round. Like, none of those guys just had what Jordan Davis has. He is in a league of his own.
Booger is saying he doesn't understand the pick. I don't get that.
Who doesn't understand the pick?
Booger. I have the draft in one ear, and he's like, he doesn't get after the quarterback.
So
he opens it up for other people to get after the quarterback.
Inconsistent pass rush effort.
Yeah, but he's not a pass rusher. Do you know why Nakobe Dean made so many plays last year? because Jordan Davis opens everything up.
Yeah.
They're literally showing this one play of him not rushing and the replay of it. There's no context to this play. That could have been a drive that he was stuck on the field because it was a 2-minute drill and they went hurry up. That could have been that. Yeah. That is a handpicked play to show that Jordan Davis has questionable pass rush effort.
Okay.
That's ridiculous. Do
He's
better.
a tackle, though. You don't.
He is 100%. He's going to be disruptive. I know that's the one area of concern, which is legitimate though, because snap count. He was on a pitch count, and
But they also had a lot of depth on that defensive line.
They did, but at that weight, that is definitely a concern.
You're not playing every snap at that
You're not
size.
playing every snap, and so you traded up for a guy that's going to be on the field significantly less than you want him to, but you're hoping that the impact he makes when he is on the field makes up for it.
But aren't a lot of good teams now doing that? Don't you need to kind of go 8-9 deep on your defensive line and sort of keep guys fresh?
I think you do. I guess if you're drafting a guy and trading up at 13 or from 15 to 13 to get him, then I understand maybe some concern. Jermaine Johnson, are you happy? Sorry, I think I went all over the place. Are you happy with Jermaine Johnson? You're on the clock now. What are you feeling?
It's either Jermaine Johnson I'm happy with. I'm happy for Jermaine Johnson to fall that far. He's a good pick for the Ravens. If they take Trevor Penning here, I'm actually leaving and driving home. I will be
That's not
furious.
I don't think that's a
That's
terrible
a terrible pick at 14. That is a terrible pick with Jermaine Johnson on the board and nobody else. Trade back, trade with the Chiefs. We've already shown that we're willing to trade with the Chiefs. Take their 2 first-round picks and go get your lineman back there. If they take a lineman here, I will be furious. It's Jermaine Johnson or I'm pissed.
The Texans pick is also already in, so we're moving quick here.
Really?
What is Roger doing? Get out there.
Yeah.
Right? And
this guy's the slowest man.
We don't need Kyle Hamilton. We just signed Marcus Williams.
Oh, the Kyle Hamilton slide is officially on now. And I know I said this before from a Bills perspective. I didn't think there was any chance that the slide would be to a point where they could trade up. With Jordan Poyer having a contract.
He's a free agent, and Micah Hyde is 2 years away from that.
Micah Hyde's also old too.
Oh yeah.
So I wouldn't hate them drafting him. Moving up obviously to draft him, and if the slide continues, who knows how long this could go?
Yeah, Washington was a team who was mocked Hamilton quite a bit too, and they're coming up again at 16.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So maybe that's why Washington traded back, which is a great play. If you can trade back and still get your player, that's great.
Comment section. Ravens pick is in. Drop your predictions. I know we've been trying to get the engagement going, but it's tough because everything is
it's going by so quick now.
It's nuts. I
don't know if it's just because we're doing this that's why it's going.
We're
by
already
so
halfway
quick.
through the draft.
But
it's been. I guess it's been an hour and 46 minutes. But
yeah, when I watch this at home, it feels like the draft
it's slow.
Oh, this is flying.
By.
Yes,
this is flying by.
McDuffie, Eric.
If they again,
that's not bad. I wouldn't hate that.
Not
I wouldn't
at
hate that
14
either.
though. Not at 14. That's the thing that I don't get.
This guy hates McDuffie.
No, I like McDuffie. I think McDuffie's a great corner. He has the opportunity to be the best corner in this
Confirmed
draft.
hates McDuffie.
But not
Picks
at
in.
14.
You ready?
Nobody.
He hates pick 14, I think, more than anything.
I hate pick 14.
Yes,
Maybe if
sir.
you were better, you would have picked later.
Maybe if our whole team
got all
didn't
the
get
guys you
injured.
want.
Maybe if our whole team didn't get injured, we were 8-3.
Kyle Hamilton.
No.
Wow. Interesting.
Why?
Because he's a dude. We're all in consensus that he's one of the best players in this draft.
Yeah.
Sure, he is, but look at the Ravens roster right now. That's not a hole they need to fill.
A lot more teams are sort of moving to some hybrid 3 safety looks. He's a guy who's super
Kansas City
versatile.
Chiefs.
His size is elite. He's 6'4". He can stop the run. Sorry, I'm Matt. Don't yell at me. I got aggressive. I love Kyle Hamilton. He can stop the run. He can play in coverage. Elite size. Very good speed. You got a guy who everyone is saying can't miss.
This is such a Ravens pick where they just took our best player available.
And that's the Ravens are good. They're a good franchise for so long because of picks like that.
It is, but that's not a team need right now.
But
that being said, they have 5,000 fourth-round picks.
Yeah. Would you rather reach on a guy that they might not be as confident about, or someone who everybody says is going to be great and one of the best players in this draft?
Sure, he can be great. It's just so weird that we just made the play. We just made the play for.
I'm keeping A+.
For Marcus Williams.
Up.
Wow. Okay.
A+ stays up.
I just think it's a weird fit.
I'm gonna erase this though, so I don't give an A+.
I think it's a weird. Wow.
What do you got? B+? What's
B+.
you got? Sam?
I think obviously Kyle Hamilton's a great player.
He's going to play.
He's going to be phenomenal. It's just a weird fit right now. Looking at the Ravens team, looking at how much they're in a win now mode, with Lamar like refuses to sign because he's just like, whatever. Right? Like, you want to give this guy like all the weapons you can. You want to give their defense the holes. Like, why are we drafting for 2-3 years from now?
But I think this is a draft
I don't
for
think
right
it's
now.
a draft for 2-3 years.
This guy's ready to step in and be good right away.
But like, it's not a positional. Like, that's what I mean. It's not going to change the Ravens team that much.
So okay, you said the Ravens obviously have a weakness at corner. Maybe they didn't like any of the corners, and it's like, you know what? We're going to draft a DB. We'll go with more 3 safety looks. That will help our pass defense. So it's like you get a guy who could.
But we
be
also
elite.
just signed Marcus Williams. That's the thing. We've already done this. We've addressed our safety already. Like, we addressed our safety in free agency. We got the best free agent safety. Chuck Clark is a more than serviceable safety. We've addressed safety already.
I don't know, man. His size and athleticism is elite. Everybody has no one said anything bad about this guy.
This comes across as me being like
entitled Ravens fan.
Furious about the pick. It's a great pick. It's a great problem to have, having too many good players. It's just like,
so who would you have wanted them to pick?
Jermaine Johnson. First it would have been Jordan Davis.
Yeah.
First, but like,
but he wasn't there.
But then the Eagles are scumbags.
Yeah.
To me, it's just such a weird, like you look at their line, like, we couldn't get a quarterback down last year. We couldn't do it to save our lives. And that was one of the few positions that didn't get decimated by injuries.
I think
was our edge rushing and our defensive line.
I think part of the Kyle Hamilton thing, though, and because we don't know how they're going to use them, and so that's obviously going to be key. But
if we still had Wink Martindale, this would make so much sense because they're just going to blitz Kyle Hamilton all day.
Well, they're just showing a great kind of illustration of all of the things he can do. He can play slot. And, like, the Ravens, if they have any injuries again,
I think
he also has that Jamal Adams type rusher.
He can play in the box. He can be a free
if you're-
safety and roam. Like,
if you're the Ravens,
look at this.
This is probably
look at this. Left safety, right safety, single high, right slot corner, left slot corner, inside linebacker, middle linebacker.
This play,
he plays everywhere.
I actually thought he had more linebacker snaps because he plays a lot in the box.
If you're the Ravens, this pick is strictly because look at the 2 times we played the Bengals this year. And this is the Jamar Chase factor. This is they torched us twice. Once before our whole team was injured. They torched us once when our whole team was injured. That game meant nothing. That was like a cool, good for you. You beat USFL.
Yeah.
But the first game they torched us, and that was Marlon Humphrey was playing. Everyone was
Texans
playing.
pick is happening right now.
I think that's mainly their reaction.
This is a pick I have no idea what's going to happen.
No,
because I thought they would have taken Hamilton.
I thought they would have too.
Thomas Pocknick. Apparently Hollywood Brown got traded. Pock, get out of here.
Kenyon Green, guard, Texas A&M. They get the offensive
This is one of the guys in my
lineman.
notes where I'm like, I know nothing about this card.
Wow, the Texans with a boring pick.
I've heard his stock go up, and I'm just kind of listening to what they're saying, but
I feel like
offensive MVP of Texas A&M last year.
I feel like we could be pretty knowledgeable of a lot of stuff when it comes to like breaking down guard play.
Offensive linemen are tough.
That's going to be tough.
But I will say, I mean, some people are calling this a bit of a reach. Offensive line is never a position that you want your team to draft because it's just like, that's boring.
Sometimes though,
you need it. You need it, and they need offensive line help.
And they already traded back for this too.
They did trade back for this, which is nice.
Wait, did Hollywood actually get traded? What's going on right now?
I don't think so.
What?
Let's check Twitter.
Hollywood to Arizona. Are you getting rickrolled by the comments section?
I might be.
Okay,
I don't know. Let's give the
people are saying they just announced
trade. The Ravens have traded Hollywood Brown to the Cardinals.
Wow. Okay. So it's
wow, that is real. Apologize to the
in exchange for the 23rd pick. Sorry, you didn't get rickrolled.
Apologizing to Pock. He works for us.
Who was it?
Thomas Pock.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Thomas.
I thought it was just some jabroni in the chat.
So they've got the 23rd
Thomas. You're the
overall
best.
pick.
Wow. Okay, so
Hollywood Brown gone. Okay,
the floor is
this is a Ravens stream.
Let's hear it.
23rd pick.
I'm so happy now I can finally say this.
This guy
Kyler
hates
Murray,
Hollywood Brown.
I can't wait for you to throw a dime down the field and hit this jabroni right in the mask.
Broke my computer.
Right in the face, and him drop the ball, and everyone be like, Kyler sucks. After you just hit this man right in the face, right in the hands, consistently throughout it, everyone's gonna be like, you're such a bad quarterback. You can't catch the ball for your receiver. Enjoy having someone wide open who can't ever catch the ball. It'll be so much fun for you.
Wow.
Thank you.
I have 2 comments. First, I'd like to thank the Ravens and the Cardinals. The one time we got a guard where none of us had anything to say on him, we get a trade to talk about something else.
Yeah.
So thank you there. How did you get a first-round pick for Hollywood Brown?
He's been over 1,000-yard receiver the last 2 years in a row.
He's not, but dude,
I know, but you just outlined the biggest problems with him. Like,
yeah, but like if you're the Ravens and you're selling him, he's a 1,000-yard receiver 2 years in a row, and if you're the Cardinals, you're stupid.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a bad trade for the Cardinals.
I'm sure so then what are you arguing then? I'm saying, how did you get a first-round pick? And you're saying it's a
I
bad
don't
trade.
care. We got a first-round pick.
I get why you're
Eric
happy.
DeCosta is the GOAT.
I'm saying it's stupid that the Cardinals gave up a first-round pick for Hollywood. I think that's a bit much.
And Eric, now at 23, Penning, not so bad.
Not so bad, exactly. Or we take 23 and 50 of our fourth-round picks
go up for Jermaine
and trade up
Johnson.
for Jermaine Johnson.
Agreed.
So I will say this about.
It flies to an A+.
Okay, so let's grade this trade then. Let's grade the pick first for the Texans, okay?
I don't know. It's a boring.
I'm
pick.
doing question mark.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm giving it a B+ because they needed offensive line help. They needed someone else.
I'm giving it a
smiley
good job,
face.
buddy.
They needed offensive line help. Laramie Tunsil's the only notable person on that offensive line.
Selling his gas mask
Props
NFT
to
now.
that. You know what? Props to that. He's putting all the money towards cannabis prison reform. Good on Laramie Tunsil. He's doing the right thing with that. That's cool.
Now let's grade this trade because we get to grade trades now.
So wait, what's the full trade?
It's a for Field
first-round
Yates
pick.
had it, I think.
It's just straight up.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's look. Field Yates.
Crazy.
The Ravens traded Marquise Brown and pick 100 to the Cardinals for pick 23.
Okay.
So you're giving up what, a fourth, and Hollywood.
So, for the Cardinals,
A fourth, which we have 1,000 of.
Yeah.
We have everyone in the league's fourth-round pick.
I think the Ravens grade is kind of incomplete, but I'm going to give it an A- for now. I want to see what they do with that pick. The Cardinals, I'm actually giving it a B- because if they looked at it, if they looked at this and said, okay, we can pick a receiver at 23 because we lost Christian Kirk. I mean, the Cardinals strategy and team building perspective here, like I don't know what the hell they're doing because they have a ton of needs. They just lost Chandler Jones. They have offensive line needs across the board. They have cornerback needs across the board, and Byron Murphy is going to be a free agent soon. They have just so many needs. Jordan Hicks, linebacker, one of their leading tacklers. I know Zaven Collins and Isaiah Simmons are both there, but there's so many needs. But they decided, okay, Hollywood Brown is better than any player we can get. It's very questionable judgment, in my opinion.
Especially with how many good receivers are in this draft.
100%.
I think you could have, what Hollywood is.
I don't think anyone else in this draft might.
Yeah,
give
my
them-
boy.
So
I don't know if anyone else in this draft will give them what Hollywood could.
What?
We know what Hollywood is.
15 to 30 drop passes a season.
You know what? Actually, now that I think of it, because they have Rondell Moore, I don't know. I don't know what you're doing.
That's people really don't understand how often Hollywood drops the ball, and his yak is awful.
Also, what years ago? Aren't you gonna have to pay him in 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years. You got to pay.
You could have gotten arguably a better receiver on team control contract. Instead, you're getting a guy who's inconsistent that you're gonna have to pay.
Yeah,
It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know why I put B-.
He can only run streaks. He can only run streaks, and his yak sucks. His yak sucks. How does the fastest guy on the field who only runs streaks have terrible yards after catch? That's brutal. All he does is drop passes, drop touchdowns. I think this is actually good for Lamar's development.
Oh, wow.
now.
Well, here we go. Blockbuster trade. Titans are planning to trade A.J. Brown to the Eagles. Schefter, 25 seconds ago.
What is going on?
This draft is off.
What is going on?
Are you telling me these players are available and the Packers
aren't going to get any of them?
Nothing. But also, the Eagles, another receiver? Like, come on.
Wow.
I don't know. I think that's so crazy.
Okay, so Washington's pick is coming up now. It's a D-.
Oh, wow. Lamar just retweeted something. We got drama happening. Someone tweeted, "What the F and F, bro? We traded away Hollywood." Lamar, retweet.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Jahan Dotson goes, and the run on wide receiver continues.
Warren
for
Sharp
the Washington
tweeted the sticker
Commanders.
price just went up. Yeah, now you got an unhappy, have to pay.
But to be completely honest, I think this is actually better for Lamar's development than not, because that guy forces the ball to Hollywood so much right now. It's like, and you've got a guy like Rashad Bateman who is a better receiver than Hollywood.
Yeah.
And he's trying to force the ball into Hollywood's hands, who's consistently dropping it, consistently doing that. I think this will help him spread the ball out a little more.
So real quick, just on Dotson, I really like Dotson.
I do too. He
had
love
a
him.
Beckham. There it is, right there. He had that Beckham-esque catch. Just that play alone, so much fun. And also, I'm pretty sure
It's an A.
And someone to go with McLaurin, that is an A. You're right.
It's an A. It's a dub. I really, and I think he complements McLaurin really well in the sense that he is, and not to say McLaurin can't go up and win jump balls, but I think this guy has a bigger body, red zone frame. Yeah. He returns punts too. Like I think he's faster than people probably give him credit for.
This Jermaine Johnson slide
really like Dotson.
Crazy. This Jermaine Johnson slide is actually
one note I did have about the pick that just happened. He was called on the Penn State broadcast the Magic Man. So respect to Cal Naughton Jr. and Talladega Nights. Now you see me, now you don't. I love this pick. That catch alone is great. I'm excited for that pick.
So did Lamar still have that retweeted, or is it?
Yeah, Lamar. Warren
if you go to Lamar's
Let me
Twitter.
look. It just happened a second ago, so I'm guessing he still retweeted it.
That's kind of funny.
So what's the AJ Brown thing again?
Lamar, there's a wish I could have played with my brother forever, but I'm gonna see at the top, and then Lamar still did retweet that.
So it's okay to be sad that your friend got traded, but like
that, he's rattled.
Chargers
about
are coming up already. Like
This is
everything
nuts.
is just
that. So
happening.
wait, what did we find out what the AJ Brown trade is for?
No, this is nuts.
So the Eagles are looking pretty nice now.
Jordan
They
Davis
still don't have a
and
quarterback
AJ
though,
Brown.
man. Hurts sucks.
But like, this is like you're not giving up on Hurts yet, and now he has no excuse.
All right, Zion Johnson
I feel
goes,
like
a
they
guard
gave up
from
on
Boston
Hurts
College.
They gave up on Hurts last season.
I really thought the Chargers were going to go with McDuffie.
Yeah, especially losing Chris Harris.
So
Jr.
now McDuffie's in Bills territory, though.
He is.
Could be in Ravens territory.
Let's break down
Chargers
this
needed
AJ.
an offensive lineman, though.
He could be in Ravens
Let's
territory.
talk about this one just a little, because I feel like the Chargers are the first team that we've talked about that have legitimate Super Bowl aspirations. And they've got J.C. Jackson.
That was a nice signing. Just
No,
as
the
long as
Eagles
the Eagles are
trade
trading
picked to the
their pick
Titans.
to the
The
Titans.
Titans are on the clock.
Okay.
So this was part of the A.J. Brown trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made some big moves this offseason.
As
Khalil
long as he
Mack.
doesn't have to cover Stephon Diggs, Jackson's a great corner.
There you go.
Virgo Wolf makes a great point. Hollywood Brown is Antonio Brown's brother. Maybe that's why, because they really wanted to bring in Antonio Brown. So the Ravens were like, no.
Chargers get a B+ for me. Everything is happening way too fast for me to even comprehend right now.
Yeah,
They needed offensive line help,
Malik Willis is 100% going to the Steelers now.
I'll give that a B2.
He could go to the Titans.
It could be a Titan.
They need a
pick.
Ryan Tannehill replacement. They could draft
Kenny
a
Pickett
receiver.
is very similar to Ryan Tannehill. They can just draft the same thing.
They could draft
up?
a receiver here. I
Do
don't
we have
know.
the details from the Eagles trade yet?
I'm guessing it's a first. And...
Everything is happening so fast.
Yeah, I know. This is nuts. I want to get some insight and analysis on something, and it's just like
So let's get our trade grade up again too.
the number 18 and more.
The thing with the Titans too is now they have no one at wide receiver. That room is not
So
looking good.
I think an underrated part. I know I gave the. We're gonna go back to Hollywood Brown here for 1 second. I know I gave it a D-. Does reunite Kyler Murray and him together. He had his most success with Kyler Murray playing at OU.
Who cares? He can't catch the ball, man.
I'm just saying, if you want to be an optimistic Cardinals fan, like.
You have Rondell Moore.
So,
you have D-Hop.
I saw Kevin Clark.
Rondell Moore is also a guy that proved in his first year he could not catch the ball
So
consistently.
congrats. Now you've got one guy who's constantly injured and two guys who can't catch the ball.
I'm not saying I agree with how they're building their receiver room, because they also
So
did
let
bring
me
back AJ Green.
here's some things on the Cardinals that are just interesting and where I think their problems are much bigger than personnel. 30.7 points per game, 8-1 record first 9 weeks of the season. That dips to 20.3 points per game and a 3-6 record. That's including the playoff loss. Kingsbury has done this
Everywhere.
from Texas.
Everywhere he goes.
Texas Tech on, he falls apart in the second half.
What did the Titans give up?
We don't know.
We don't know yet.
Yeah.
We can't grade it. I see your comment, Flake. Wesley Wall, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, man. NFL draft. Birthday.
HBD.
That's a great birthday to have.
It's a great day. Depending on who your favorite
It's
team
a great day. AJ Brown for picks 18 and 101.
Wait, hold on, say it again.
AJ Brown for 18 and 101.
That is
from Flake Flawless.
Flake Flawless is our insider.
If that's are we grading that?
If that's it, that's an A+ for the Eagles.
I think I'm going to give it an A for the Eagles and like.
Let's see you Tennessee picks.
That's a steal.
But also,
18 and
this is
101.
another one now. You have to pay AJ Brown. AJ Brown deserves to get paid.
But
guy's a beast. But the injury concerns are definitely there.
I think
for sure.
Yeah, and
As
I
they
don't know. I
should
just
be.
think I've said it like 100 times tonight. But like, you're putting your quarterback in a position right now where you're like, no, you got no excuses. Go out and prove why we should keep you or we're replacing you.
But I think they already gave up on him last year when they went into that season wanting to pass like crazy. And then through 4 or 5 games, they're like, we can't do this. He's not good enough. And they completely went to...
They also didn't have the receivers for it, too. They had Devonta Smith.
But yeah, Devonta Smith was really good. Like, they...
Yeah, but you need more than one capable
But he can't throw.
Receiver.
Jalen Hurts cannot make...
I agree with you. Well,
I chirp Lamar a lot with making the throws on the outside. Jalen Hurts is... Like, Lamar can still make big-time throws. Jalen Hurts cannot make those throws.
Well, I agree with you. I just think from a franchise, putting your quarterback in a position where it's like, I don't want to hear a single excuse of personnel, nothing like that. Prove why we should either pay you, keep you, whatever, or we're replacing you next season.
I believe that with those other teams. I just think they're lying to themselves if they look at him and don't honestly assess what he is. And to me, he's not an NFL quarterback who's going to be, I've said that, like in that top 15 tier. I don't think he'll ever be there.
Yeah, and the Eagles are absolute scumbags, so...
they're having a great day though,
by being absolute scumbags.
But that's another one now.
Stealing.
If they're junk again,
Jordan Davis.
They're now. If you're the Eagles though now, aren't you not in a position next year? I know like this is sort of to use an NBA analogy. You're always a moment away from the next big superstar getting traded. Denver just proved this. We have the foundation everywhere, but don't have a quarterback.
Like Baker Mayfield could be an Eagle tomorrow.
But Baker Mayfield could go into Philly and actually be good with those weapons.
Pretty solid.
And even if they're a team now that could be a destination for a good quarterback because they're sort of filling everything out.
That's the thing that has always confused me about the Baker Mayfield thing is like, where's he going? Like you can say like they're for the next great quarterback, but like where's the next great quarterback going?
It's confirmed in the Tennessee Titans pick.
Okay, so I'm going...
Flawless Flake absolutely is the insider of the day.
We do have 2 firsts next year. They can trade Flake.
I'm going with the Eagles with an A. Titans, I'm going to give a B-. I'm going
to wait to see who the Titans pick.
But I just think it's like, for some reason, the Titans did not want to pay A.J. Brown, maybe because this receiver market has kind of gone crazy. But they might have just been worried about the injuries. This guy's jersey is now...
I think it's pretty insane to me that A.J. Brown, like... The package they got for him seems very light to me
compared to what the Cardinals just gave up for Hollywood.
What is that?
Well, and relatively speaking to like, I know Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams are on different levels, but
once again, Warren Sharp, this is insane. Within a minute of each other, Cards get Marquise Brown for pick 23, Eagles get AJ Brown for pick 18 and third. What are the Cardinals doing?
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's so like relative to each other, that's a bad trade for the Cardinals.
Well, yeah, because those package deals are basically the same.
Virtually the same.
Why didn't the Cardinals make a call on AJ first?
I honestly think it's because of the Kyler Murray thing, and I think the way Cliff Kingsbury is building that offense is just like speed.
Isn't that a stupid way to build a team though?
I mean, he's proven that it hasn't worked yet. I don't know why injecting more speed in there is going to be better. I think you should focus on maybe expanding his playbook a little, not with jet sweeps that you've already been doing and screen passes to wide receivers. Like, I don't know. I think it's...
But now you can
that like domino meme that starts really little and works itself way big?
Yeah.
Christian Kirk's contract from the Jags has just blown up this entire offseason.
And now I will agree that the Ravens receiving room needs help.
Yeah,
it does. As much as
because Hollywood's still okay.
Hollywood's still a 1,000-yard receiver.
Yeah,
but like if he caught even half the balls he dropped, he'd be a 1,500-yard receiver, and have 4 more touchdowns. Mm-hmm. But like,
here we go.
That's just having Rashad Bateman now. Essentially, is not a good place to be.
Treylon Burks. Okay.
How many receivers have we had? Did my bet hit yet?
So they traded a receiver and got a receiver.
That's got to be...
That's 5 or 6, right?
It's 5 or 6.
So they essentially just got a cheaper option.
I mean, when you're looking at the receivers now, though, like, that's 6. That's the 6th one off the boards. Who comes into the first round now? Sky Moore, George Pickens out of Georgia is a guy that a lot of people are high on. You think John Mechie sneaks in?
Yeah, he could potentially sneak in. Maybe.
Maybe he does.
Look at Treylon's comparison. AJ Brown.
Wow.
Great.
So
that's amazing.
I don't know. Like, to me, like,
so it's like they clearly just didn't want to pay AJ Brown and they're going with the cheaper option.
I'm giving the Titans an A on that trade.
I don't like Treylon Burks.
I'm giving both teams an A. I'm giving the Eagles an A+ and the Titans an A.
I don't hate that grade. I did B- and an A, but
I think they made a trade. They made a call to get the cheaper receiver who doesn't have an injury history. And
did I swap my?
Are hoping that he works out for them.
I'm giving them a B- because I understand. Actually,
I hate the Titans, but I don't hate the trade.
I can't figure out Treylon Burks. I think AJ Brown was a better route runner coming out. I think he's more dominant physically than
AJ Brown has proven when he's going, he can take over a game.
Oh yeah. And Treylon Burks.
I just love that his comparison is the guy he got traded.
I know, it's really funny. I think Treylon Burks is it is like the Spider-Man meme.
Right.
I wonder a lot of things about this. And I kind of start with, I don't know, he's their only receiver on their roster now.
Yeah.
He has to be the guy. I don't know if he is the guy.
Robert Woods is there too.
That's right. But coming off of a torn ACL, like that is something that it's going to take him a while to recover from.
If you're the Packers too now and you're just sitting back waiting, watching all these receivers either get traded or taken.
Let's hear from Hempstead on
this. Is crazy right now.
Yeah, but see, where you're mistaken, Eric, is that they were never going to take a first-round receiver.
Never.
Maybe a 28 with Pickens, but they were never going to do this.
The Packers do have success taking second-round receivers, so
they do.
Seeing those, like what Brown just went for, would you have wanted to go and get Brown, knowing though that you probably would have had to pay him a big contract? Which is probably what a guy like AJ Brown's probably going to get like 4 years, 80 mil.
Yeah, but they were willing to pay Devontae Adams.
Probably
they were willing to pay Devontae Adams, which is what a lot of people get wrong with Devontae Adams.
Is that they wanted to pay him,
and he chose to go to Oakland, Vegas, which is his choice.
Honestly, if you have to choose between Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr, come on, like you're going to make that call.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So then, do you think that they should have made? Would you have wanted them to make a move? Obviously, not Hollywood, I don't think, but like.
For AJ Brown, I think it's worth it. Yeah. When you look at what they have right now, and I think they're going to add on day 2 because they have a history. Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb.
Yeah.
The list goes on. But
Who's
still,
on
it's
right
like,
now?
it hurts. Not the Hollywood Brown trade. That's the AJ Brown one hurts.
I'm like, so the Hollywood, like now that it's starting to settle,
Saints are on the clock.
It leaves the Ravens in such a weird spot. Like, do we take? Like, if Jermaine Johnson's still on the board when we pick.
How he's sliding now. God. So I was against him. Now I'm about this. This is about
right.
Cool. This is good territory.
If he's still on the board, like we got to take him. But then like also like the Ravens, if they don't draft a receiver in the first 2 rounds, they don't get the looks. Like the Ravens just don't give 4th+ round receivers any time of day. So there's no point wasting our picks on them. But now like, do we trade like unless the Ravens are planning on trading for DK or Debo?
Which,
I really don't get.
I think we're kind of past the point of return, though, for Debo. I don't think the Niners will accept what the return is at this point for him. I think if they were going to move him, they wanted a high pick, like something in like that Jets pick.
But they got to move him now at this point.
Not really, though. They kind of have all the leverage.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to play.
Yeah, is he going to sit out a year?
Probably.
That hasn't really happened with a non-quarterback. I know the NFL.
Le'Veon did it.
It's sort of entering the NBA period. No, but no one ever sits out for like a long period of time like that. I don't see that happening.
Le'Veon just did it.
But Le'Veon and I think Debo are in very different positions.
Like kind of, but that's just because Le'Veon kept getting franchise tagged.
And that's
not only that, but like the value,
like 7 years ago,
the value of
like,
wide receivers compared to running backs.
And then Melvin Gordon had
guys hold up camp all the time, but they usually come back by like week 2 or 3.
He ended up playing.
I will say about Treylon Burks, and the numbers as far as his athletic scores go are not great. Like his agility scores,
a lot of yellow and red there.
His agility scores are very poor, and
his comp is Josh Gordon, which is crazy because he's a very agile player.
I mean, but look at his RAS score compared to Burks, which is a 5.82. I mean, I would love to compare him to like what AJ Brown's is here. I don't know if I can though.
It's funny though because Burks was a yak guy, right?
He was a yak guy, but his speed is not good. He's like a 4.5 guy.
He's faster on the like. He's not as fast running the 40, but he's fast on tape. It's like a misleading thing. But yeah, that's been what everyone's taking shots against him for.
So the Saints are on the clock. What do they do now?
Is there any chance they go quarterback?
That's what I'm thinking. Like
it might be a Penning pick here. Armstead is gone.
Penning is a good pick, but like, what a weird situation. See. And so many players have slid.
Yeah.
Johnson is still out there, which is crazy.
I thought for sure he was going top 10.
Yeah.
Treylon Burks went to Arkansas. I'm trying to.
I think it could be Penning. I think O-line.
I think it could be Penning.
O-line is definitely what could be in play here. So what was the?
AJ Brown went to Mississippi.
No, Ole Miss.
Yeah, it's Mississippi.
Is it same?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Wow.
Same but different?
We don't get compared.
We don't get a comp.
Wow.
Boo.
AJ.
Come on, Raj.
Yeah, what's going on here?
I got to hear it. Penning.
Trevor Penning.
Yeah.
Yep. Makes sense.
Yep.
They needed a tackle.
Yeah.
They lost Ron
And they'll-
Armstead.
Yep.
They got Penning.
Yep. They'll get their... If they need a quarterback still after this season, they'll get him next year.
I like Penning. I know you guys you didn't want him to take.
I didn't want him
early,
at 14. I like Penning. I didn't want him at 14. That was my big thing.
I just think people were talking about and I know we talked about this before we started when you said we were burning all of our O-line material before we even got on the stream.
I know.
People were saying the non-FBS factor, the fact that he was Spencer Brown was on the opposite side of tackle for him last year. Spencer Brown was a difference maker for the Bills. Where you're playing in that conference doesn't matter. This guy is better. Spencer Brown would wind up being a 7th-round pick, but was really good. He was significantly better based off of what the scouts are saying. I think that's a good pick. He slid. I'd be happy if I'm the Saints with that.
Yeah. Are we at 20 now?
It's QB time.
Pittsburgh?
It's Pittsburgh time. Yeah, here we go. So once again,
that's crazy to me. Mike Tomlin didn't have to do anything.
Nope.
And Malik Willis just falls in his lap.
Because there was talk about them trading up to 6.
Man, they may have
which
had
was
to
crazy.
at that point. Like,
This was last year with Najee Harris. That was the most unkept secret of that. Like, if Najee Harris is going to the Steelers, Willis I think is going to Pittsburgh. Like, he was at the pro. Like, I think their Tomlin and their GM was at his pro day and like just basically fawning over him.
yeah, which the AFC North has now just become the mobile quarterback and Joe Burrow division.
Yeah. Joe Burrow can move.
Which Joe Burrow's like no shade to Joe Burrow. He can move.
Yeah.
He's just not Lamar and Deshaun.
Is Pickett in play?
I don't think so. It seems like they were way more into
They
Willis.
love Willis.
That feels like the wrong choice, right? Pickett decision.
And it also just feels like they love Willis.
Yeah.
Like everything we've heard is like how much Tomlin loves Willis and how much he's always wanted a mobile
quarterback.
Oh, we're up to
Always
6 tackles
wanted
in the first round, eh?
You think he wants a mobile quarterback after Big Ben?
So
Well, Big Ben's been shuffling for a few years.
don't you just want the opposite of what you just had?
Yeah.
He wants someone to get some move on.
So the Steelers, the odds going into this, and I know the odds on FanDuel, gotta give props to our friends at FanDuel. The odds were moving like crazy, but Steelers' first pick, I think, was -200 or -250 that their first pick will be a quarterback. So like when the gambling odds are that strong in one thing, it seems like pretty locked in that they're gonna take a quarterback.
Vegas doesn't like to lose.
Yes.
Is something going on with Jermaine Johnson though? Because this slide's crazy.
It is.
This slide is wide.
Is it because I know the draft is deep at edge? Is that just what's happening? People are like, we'll just wait.
I think people were like
voting yes on that on the new poll.
Once the major like edges were taken, I guess people felt that it was too early to pull for Jermaine. Maybe. Because that's how I felt with McDuffie. That was my whole thing. Like you guys asked earlier, would I like McDuffie at 14? Not that I don't think McDuffie's a great player. I just think 14's a bit of a reach for him.
Well, now you're getting into there's still a lot of guys. McDuffie, Booth.
Right? There's great
Elam.
players still available.
Yeah.
I looked it up because I was very upset about the comparison between Treylon Burks and AJ Brown because it's just not there. Like it's just not there when you look at the athletic scores for both of those guys.
Right after they compared him to Debo too.
Burks is not that, and I'm sure if I look up Debo, it's not even going to be close because and it's the explosion. It's the explosion grades, which are just okay. His vertical jump is not good, and his 40-yard, 20-yard, 10-yard splits are just good, while his agility is very poor. And you look at AJ Brown, graded out really well relative athletically, and then Debo Samuel RAS. I'm sure it's going to be so much better. Yeah, it's so much better. His explosion score is great. Maybe, and there are always players that seem to explode more in kind of game scenarios as opposed to...
Didn't DK have not the best explosion stats on his...
I think people were just saying that he was one-dimensional in his route running.
Yeah, right.
Like he can only run a go.
Like, wasn't his shuttle time not great?
His shuttle time was not great to the point where, like, it was in the territory of guys that never succeed in the NFL.
Right, so...
But his relative athletic score was really good. His agility grade was poor, but his vertical jump, his broad jump, insane. His 40-yard dash was a 4.33. 20-yard and 10-yard splits were in the 9s.
Our personal stream insider, Flake Flawless, AJ Brown got a 4-year, $100 million extension.
Yeah.
What was it?
4-year, $100 million.
So I was off by 20 mil. I said 480 would be fair. I think that's a lot of money for a guy who's hurt so much.
It's expensive, but
Yeah.
I mean,
But it's a wide receiver market.
him and Devontae
Yeah.
Smith in
Christian
the same
Kirk,
room,
baby.
I really like that.
You think
pairing.
AJ Brown's accepting less money than Christian Kirk? I guess you have to play. I guess you have to pay the Jags tax.
Yes.
But still, like,
Jags.
come on.
You really like that combination though of like AJ Brown and Devonta Smith and then Dallas Goedert. Those players seem to complement each other
Yeah,
really well.
they've built a good. So
really have.
Let me like do this pick for the Steelers for Malik Willis will be an A-.
It's crazy they didn't have to move though, and it just fell to them.
Yeah.
That's what they do, which is amazing.
But doesn't that say what the teams think of the quarterbacks in this draft?
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
mentioned
it does.
2013. Are we not
Yeah.
back to that 2013
Yeah.
thing? And they're maybe learning from the mistakes of the past. Just because you need a quarterback, you don't need to reach
Because the
on
Bills traded up for EJ Manuel, didn't they?
them. They traded down, I believe, in 2013.
Oh, they traded down.
Yeah.
That's better than
They're like,
trading
oh,
up.
he's
Yes,
still
for-
here.
That's better than trading up.
They still drafted him.
But
They were hoping someone would take him so that you wouldn't.
Why
have to take
you
the
were
QB.
making me relive this and looking at the 2013 draft? EJ Manuel went 16, and I'm pretty sure they were picking earlier and then traded back. Okay, here we go.
Come on.
is the pick in?
Yeah. Oh, Franco Harris announcing it.
Wow. This is like so anticlimactic. Like it, I don't know. I guess it would be chaos if they pick someone else.
There was
has to be.
someone in the newsroom who basically, like, you know, like you're doing a game or whatever, you have to subclip it, and then that's
Yeah.
how it goes through into the system. Someone called him Frank O. Harris, like O dash Harris, like
Yeah.
like the great Irish running back Frank O. Harris.
I like that.
That's a little inside TSN pull the
Yeah,
curtain
so yeah,
back
there you go.
humor
Yeah,
for
we're
ya.
pulling it back for you.
Franco looks good.
Yeah.
He looks real good.
It's a good-looking guy.
Good looking guy. Okay, so Caden is going off right now on Daniel Jones having the best deep ball in the NFL and is very
Has he
accurate.
watched Josh Allen throw
And
a deep
also
ball?
has speed. Has he watched anyone else other than Daniel Jones throw the deep ball? Caden, thank you for watching, but that is
Come on,
not
man.
accurate. Malik Willis probably has a better deep ball
To be
than
and
Daniel
like
Jones, and he's not in the NFL yet.
and I'll be completely honest with you. I haven't watched a ton of Giants games, but the last time I remember Daniel Jones running downfield with a wide open end zone in front of him, he tripped over his
Tripped
own
at the
feet.
1 or at the 10.
So Kyle Brandt said this on Good Morning Football the other day. They were showing like, oh, there it is. Kenny
Pickett!
Oh my God!
Small
Wow!
Kenny!
No! Tiny hands Pickett! In the north, baby!
Oh,
This is great for you. Wait,
Give it
what
an
did you give
A+.
it an A? You got to.
It was an A
yeah,
minus
this is
for
a
Malik
reverse
Willis.
ranking.
Oh
Oh,
my
my
God.
goodness.
Get a C out there. Tiny hands Pickett. Oh my
This is-
God.
Guys,
This
take
is
your
a
marker.
D. This is a D. I don't think Kenny Pickett is good. I don't think that he is going to succeed in Pittsburgh. The hand size is a legitimate thing that should scare you because of the fumbles. Like, it's a legitimate thing. It's not like Michael Vick who had small hands coming out. This is a guy that, and I need to pull up the numbers so I don't get how many times he fumbled wrong.
Wow.
Because he fumbled a lot of times. Wow, ESPN, you're
So
absolutely
while Luca's
letting
looking
me
this
down.
up,
ESPN.
my grade is a tiny hand holding a D. That is a tiny hand.
holding a D to signify that they're going to need really good defense to win any games.
I
fake
don't know, man.
slide,
I
man.
just this goes
Oh my
against
God.
everything that we were told about
Okay.
about how they felt about Willis.
Oh my God.
So, in 5 years at Pitt, Kenny Pickett fumbled 38 times, which is 0.73 times per game. He only
Wow, that's nuts.
He only fumbled 6 times in 2021, which is 0.46 per game, which is an improvement. But apparently he also plays with 2 gloves like Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
And that's because it needs
Kenny
to
Two Gloves,
maintain...
gotta pass that nickname over.
It's a
now.
maintaining of a strong grip. He's staying in Pittsburgh, so he's played in the weather before, obviously.
So there's the fake slide.
we
but-
got Aiden Hutchinson
He's
staying
athletic.
in Michigan and Kenny Pickett staying in Pittsburgh.
I just don't... When I watch Kenny Pickett play, there are no traits other than, like, there's some athleticism there.
I don't know.
Wow.
All the comps
That's it.
I heard was
I-
Ryan Tannehill. If your comp is
I'm
Ryan Tannehill,
very... Oh...
Does Malik Willis even go in the first? Like, who takes Malik
yeah,
Willis
someone
now?
if we get to 32 and he's not picked,
someone will
someone
trade
trades
him.
up for the Lamar
Lamar,
fifth
the Lamar
year
thing.
the 5th year option deal.
Oh, The Chiefs just traded in for the Patriots ahead of the Packers, so this is George Pickens.
So wait, the Pats traded down? No way. New England traded down. Never thought I would see that in a draft.
There's a salty Bills fan for you.
Can you believe the Pats traded down? Wow.
This has to be George Pickens, right?
This is. It's 100% George Pickens. Dude, what are the Packers doing? Nothing.
We love Alan Lazard.
There's your Malik Willis team.
Malik Willis.
We're going to flip Jordan Love and then get Willis with 28.
Nice.
Great combination.
Wow.
If you're the Chiefs, unless...
What did the Chiefs give up? They couldn't have given up much. They only moved up how many spots?
Oh,
they moved up 8.
8? Oh.
From 29 or 30s.
That's a big move.
They had the capital. They had 12 picks, tied for most with the Texans, I believe, in this draft.
Imagine using your draft capital.
Dude, the fact that there was rumors that Malik Willis may have gone second. And he still Jermaine Johnson has still not been drafted.
Yo, the AJ Brown, the guaranteed money was $57 million.
How far back? How far out are the Ravens? When's their next pick?
They're 23.
23.
They're after Green Bay.
So we're gonna take Jermaine Johnson, and then you're gonna take someone else.
So if you take Jermaine Johnson, then the Eagles and the Packers are scumbags.
We're just sitting here doing nothing.
You've just been there. Actually, so you're less scumbags. You're still scumbags, but not as big of scumbags.
We're just watching wide receivers go off the board.
Yeah, we need one more for the over to hit.
Oh, it's right here.
One of the next 2 picks. Has to be.
It has to be. Could you imagine if the Packers just went John Mechie? Wow. That is so crazy.
He's emotional. I don't think it's gonna be a good pick. I don't think it's gonna end up being a good pick.
Honestly, I say this every time with the Steelers. Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season for a reason. As much as I hate the Steelers, and I hate the Steelers, let me make that clear. You got to respect them. Like, they know what they're doing. They've built a very good franchise for a very clear reason. I don't know. Hate it as much as you want, but they're clearly on to something.
I don't know, man. Like, I know they wanted to pick a quarterback. It just seemed like I'm just more shocked than anything. That's why I gave it a bad grade, is because I thought it was going to be Malik Willis. Willis seemed like the more fun prospect. Pickett just seemed like kind of meh. I
just think that if they had took Willis, the AFC North would have been such a fun division to watch.
I think when you look at the quarterbacks, if you're gonna bet on one to actually become something, I'm more comfortable with betting on Willis because of the arm strength.
Yeah.
No one has an arm like him, and he's a better athlete than Pickett. So I'm just like,
Pickett still is a good athlete.
He's a good athlete, but I'm just saying, like, what does Pickett have? And here's the trade they get. The Patriots get a 3rd and 4th round pick along with 29 from the Chiefs. You knew Kansas City wasn't going to keep 12 picks. We alluded to that early, so they trade 3 to move up to exactly. But I don't understand the logic in Willis's better deep ball. He's a better athlete, but you go with Pickett for what reason? Like, what does he give you that Willis doesn't? Obviously, every team has their different flavors and things like that, but I just don't see it with
Either
Pickett.
way, they still have the MVP on their roster, so who really cares? Pickett's going to be backup behind
Trent McDuffie.
Yeah.
It's a good pick. That's a good pick.
I like it.
That's
it a lot.
That's a good pick for the Chiefs.
I like it a lot. They lost a corner this offseason.
They lost Tyrann Mathieu. Like, their secondary needed help. That's
Added
a good
Justin
pick.
Reed, though.
That's a good pick.
I'm bitter. I was...
you were hoping for Trent McDuffie.
You were hoping to get it. Yeah. And they needed to trade up if they wanted McDuffie. That's a really good pick.
There's lost Charvarius Ward, which was one of their
I'm giving that an A. There's a great stat I heard from him. Where is this? Hold on.
A for me, too.
Yeah.
He allowed just 1 reception of more than 20 yards last season and didn't allow any touchdowns.
And that's in the Pac-12 where they throw it like crazy.
All they do is throw the ball. Hands down, 3rd best corner in this draft, and he started sliding. People had him going as high as like 12, 13, and
Yeah, no, that's a good pick. That's a great pick for the
really good
pick. And
pick.
now look at that. A receiver falls right in the Packers' lap for them to pass on one and take Malik Willis.
Give me Jermaine Johnson right now.
Buddy, you're getting
Okay,
Malik
so
Willis.
wait, hold on. Packers on the clock. Let's just throw this to Hempstead. Like, what do we got?
You want Jermaine Johnson.
Look, the Packers don't value wide receivers like they do, like other teams do. It's very clear.
Yeah.
And apparently they were talking to Houston about moving up to 13. That didn't happen, and I think it might have gotten Knicks too because all these wide receivers were going way before then. They love athletic guys.
Packers pick is it.
Right? They love athletes. Jermaine Johnson, no one thought would be here at 22. No one mocked him past
that's true.
15.
People said he could have gone as high as like the top 10.
They've got 2 picks. May as well use one on Jermaine Johnson.
Most people thought he was going at 8 to Atlanta.
Will Grill, I'm with you in the chat. I also wanted him on the Bills, so I was disappointed.
I think it's a good pick, and I think he'll fit Steve Spagnuolo's scheme very well.
And it's annoying because like any fan in the AFC hates to see the Chiefs get better.
The best team's getting a great guy falling to the
everyone hates to see it.
This is why you trade Tyreek Hill.
And that's how you stay one of the best teams is you make moves like this. You trade Tyreek Hill for a treasure chest of picks. And you use it to get guys like this. Like it's very annoying, but respect.
I'm rattled. I don't know. I feel like the Bills are going to go running back now, or just trade down.
They're going Breece Hall.
Yeah.
Do you like Breece Hall at 25?
Okay, so look at it like this. I think when teams draft a running back in the first round, it can be really stupid because it chews up a lot of your cap. But you're a team like the Bills that is
they don't have any other holes.
That's the thing. They need a corner. Trey White's coming off ACL. They lost Levi Wallace. I think he went to Pittsburgh. They have a great secondary. It's really built around their safeties, but they do need a corner. And I like Dalvin Cook's brother, who could go in the second or third round.
I do
Jordan
too.
Poyer has a year left on his contract. He wants a new deal.
An extension.
So whether they sign him, he's a little old, but coming off an All-Pro season. Digital Sports Center, friend of the show, been on DSC with us. Love Poyer. But yeah, I'm fine with the Bills drafting a running back just because like. I don't know. I'm still a fan, and it's sick when you take a team takes a running back in the first round. It's like you can get hyped about that. But I like Cook's brother, who could go second or third round, who's also same sort of deal, good pass catching back.
Okay. Either way, we'll get to you later. It's all Matt Hempstead right now.
Yeah,
it's the Hempstead hour.
How would you feel about Devin Lloyd? I think he's in the running here too, because again, he was someone else who.
I like Devin Lloyd or Nakobe Dean, one of those two.
Mm-hmm.
Lloyd's the Utah linebacker?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Nakobe Dean more. I like
Lloyd more, I think.
There's a lot in play, but I don't think Pickens is in play here. At 28, maybe. At 22, I think they're going defense.
Like they always do.
And to be fair to them, their draft history outside of one...
You want to pull it up?
One quarterback we will not
let's
name.
look at their last 5.
Pull it up because it's really good.
It is really good.
Despite,
let me grab it.
aside from Jordan Love, Goodell's coming up.
Okay, we'll get it after.
Here we go, Matt.
If I had to guess, I mean, it has to be Johnson, right?
Let's see.
I don't want it to be.
I do.
I don't.
Okay.
So they go Quay Walker, linebacker, Georgia. They don't go Nakobe Dean. They don't go Devin Lloyd. And I think the thing that sticks out with Nakobe Dean's teammate, Quay Walker, is that he is much bigger. He's got a much bigger wingspan. He has long arms.
And his measurables and his athleticism, they said was better.
And that's what you want.
Green Bay
but
loves
Nakobe Dean
athletes.
really he was a step ahead of everything.
Ravens traded their pick again.
Oh, wow.
To the Bills.
Oh, okay, so...
Jermaine Johnson. Do you think they saw him slide?
Do they need an edge? They like...
Jerry Hughes is gone.
Yeah, but Von Miller's there.
Oh yeah, Von Miller. I keep forgetting that they literally signed.
They just spent all of their cap space on Von Miller.
Yeah, the cap means.
So wait, we traded down to 25.
Yeah, 25. The cap means nothing to Brandon Bean.
It doesn't.
It's just an illusion.
I really like this pick. I think that when you're looking at a guy that has the measurables that he does, might be riskier to take Nakobe Dean. It might be safer actually to take Quay Walker because of the measurables and because of the upside that comes with being a linebacker that's tall, that has long arms. We've seen the Fred Warner type of linebackers succeed a lot.
I just think if you're taking anybody on this Georgia defense, you did well in this draft.
Yeah.
Well, see, like the Packers want speed next to Devondre Campbell, right? Yeah. One guy who's going to hold the anchor, and then Walker who can also do coverage. He can do a bit of everything, and the Packers only draft athletes.
And so, what is your grade on this?
I think it's an A-.
I think it also depends on what they do at 28.
Yeah,
like a lot of this has to do on what they do at 28.
Quay Walker's also been screaming up draft boards.
Right, he has been.
He was a D2 guy, and now he's.
Well, you look at the metrics too, and it's just like his athletic score is insanely off the charts, and vertical not great, but like You look at the 40-yard dash. You look at his shuttle, his 3-cone, his height.
The guy's
6'3".
Who?
Guy's a freak.
241.
Who is on the board still that the Bills
32-inch arms? Come on,
Those are
Quay.
some arms, yeah.
Give me
Malik
Quay
Willis?
Walker.
Come on. I don't think it's going to be Johnson because they've literally drafted edge. Last year they drafted Russo in the first round and Boogie Basham in the second round.
And then just signed
And they signed Von Miller. And the year
Von
before,
Miller.
they drafted AJ Epinesa in the second round, and they brought Shaq Lawson back.
Yeah.
So like the Bills, they want to go 10 deep on that D line and rotate. And that'll be good for Von Miller, who's in the twilight of his career, where you can use him as a situational pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Bean just looks at the value. Hall has been the guy who's been linked to everything, and like whatever we said about running back, corner is what they need.
What was the
But
trade, too?
McDuffie just went. We don't know yet. So that's the thing. If McDuffie's there, I'm like, oh, cool, this is what you're going for. But
My guess is you only gave up an extra fourth
It's a fourth
or
or
third.
fifth or something.
It's a fourth
yeah,
or
to move up a pick.
right to move up 2 picks.
Yeah.
But what
could be,
what were you scared the Cowboys were going to draft?
Who knows?
Or I guess you wouldn't be scared of what the Ravens would draft because they wouldn't have traded with you unless they really didn't want the pick.
Yeah.
It's just why are the Ravens not afraid to trade with teams that we have to beat?
So you said you had a lot of picks, right?
We have
now
a
you have
ton
more.
of picks. We have so many picks, it's not even funny.
It's pretty fun.
It's getting funny, actually.
Like it's at a point now where like we're gonna have more picks than roster spots by the end of this draft.
Yeah.
And like I guess there's the draft is an entire shootout, and you're just throwing darts at a board. And I guess the more throws you have, the more are gonna stick.
yeah.
But like,
Well, now you could be in the George Pickens
What?
marketplace, too.
I think the Ravens have to take a receiver this draft now.
Yeah, I would think so too.
They've put themselves in a position that they have to. That trade back is either if Jermaine Johnson falls to them again,
What
maybe they
something
stay.
happened with Jermaine Johnson.
maybe
that
they
we don't
stay.
know about.
Something weird's going on.
So of the
Or they're just trying to get trade back to take Linderbaum.
of Kuiper's big board, the two names that stand out, Jermaine Johnson and the Michigan safety, Daxton Hill.
Daxton
So like
really versatile.
Two-
He'd be a good player.
that
anywhere.
wouldn't shock me if that's where the Bills
the
go.
Bills take. Yeah. They do need a corner.
McDuffie would have been the move if he didn't just go. But like, who knows?
What do you
man?
think of Booth?
Do you think that you traded up
I don't know.
before
I'm confused.
before you knew that? No, you
No,
traded
that you
after.
wait until you know.
No, I meant before after like who
McDuffie?
traded up for McDuffie? The Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
The Bills-Raven trade is Ravens get 23 and 130 for the.
Okay. So like, was that a fifth? A fourth?
Wait, the Ravens already
Or sorry,
got 20.
the Ravens trade away 23 and 130
Yeah.
and
For-
25.
So
And
the
what?
Ravens gave
Why
up.
did
No,
we
that
give
doesn't
up
make
2
sense.
picks for a worse
I
pick?
guess Field Yates screwed up the tweet.
Okay.
You don't like that deal?
I don't like that deal. So I'm assuming we get
What's your
130.
grade on
Nah.
that deal?
You heard Field Yates.
I'm assuming we get 25 and 130, and you get.
Yeah, there you go.
I swear we have every 4th round pick. Every team, we have all of your.
You got another one.
We have all of your picks. Nobody's picking in the 4th rounds but the Ravens. NFL, what is going on? We were gonna ask you that. Is Sam in the chat?
Glisserman? What's he saying?
Glizierman? Oh, he's in the chat. How's Sam feeling? Resident Packers fan as well. Should we do another quiz or something?
Well, let's wait until the Bills.
We don't have any time to do anything. So many graphics, and they're all not being used because everyone is doing everything insane.
What is going on?
Also, Leafs might face the Bruins in the first round because the Bruins won tonight and the Lightning lost. So it's all coming down to the next game.
You get another fourth, Eric. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And the Leafs
The
face
Leafs are
the
benching everybody
Bruins.
Friday, aren't they?
So if the Bruins win and the Lightning lose,
We play the Bruins.
you play the Bruins in the first round who have won 4 in a row.
Here you go, Hein.
Why? I don't understand why you're giving up a fourth to move up 2 spots. Like, what is this for?
Imagine if it's Brees Hall.
I wouldn't. I'll be fine if it's Brees Hall. I'm okay with that. They
Really?
need a pass catcher.
I like
back,
Walker
yeah.
better. Michigan State.
No, Hall to me seems like
Really?
his
Okay.
his highlights
who-
are just so fun.
But you
Who
don't
else?
dump the Cowboys.
Walker's highlights are insane.
Who else was going for him? I feel like if the Bills didn't take him, he wasn't even going to be a 1st round pick.
There's no way you trade up for a running
Another
back.
edge.
No.
No way. Elam.
There you go.
Wow. I have nightmares of that last name. So enjoy.
They needed a corner. I don't know if you need to trade up for him.
I don't think you need to trade up for him at all.
I don't think you needed to trade up for him either, but...
Unless the Ravens were throwing smoke screens that that's who they were taking.
Maybe, I don't know.
Or the Cowboys or someone. I don't know. It seems weird.
I think Brandon Beane has shown that no matter what, he needs to be trusted. So,
C+.
Yeah, I'm going with a C just because I don't think you need to trade.
I just don't want to erase it. I'm going with a B+. Just...
Do you wholeheartedly agree with that?
So, babe, they took Tre'Davious White at 27, and how did that turn out? Like
phenomenal.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not. But
I
think did you need to trade up for Elam right there?
Probably not.
That's what I don't get.
But at the same time,
you only gave up a fourth, I guess.
Yeah.
Like when you're a team that you have identified 2 positions that you need to come away with in this draft, and you see your guy, you trade him.
Well, this is a definite position of need, like we said.
Yeah.
Trey White is coming off an ACL. Dane Jackson is their other starting corner. They desperately needed
a guy.
Yeah.
They needed a guy. And when you're the Bills and you think you are Super Bowl contenders, they are Super Bowl contenders.
Fit that need.
You're two pieces away from having a complete roster in your mind. You go and you fill that need, and if it costs you an extra fourth.
Also, with a rookie corner, it's nice to have arguably the best safety tandem in the NFL behind you to sort of protect you.
It's going to make it easier for him for sure.
Yeah, it's an easy transition.
I personally would have liked to see them take Dax Hill.
Yeah. I don't know. The trade is what confused me.
That's what confuses me. I think I'm stuck on the trade more than the pick.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm also starting to get a little annoyed with the Ravens just stockpiling 4th-round picks like they're some treasure to be had.
I think the Cowboys go Jermaine Johnson here. They lost Randy Gregory. Like I think it. Yeah,
they definitely could use an edge.
Right.
O-line also wouldn't shock me with the Cowboys here.
No. They lost Collins and they lost Connor Williams too.
There's so much going on.
Yes.
Ew.
So we got.
Okay, so.
Well, that's the other thing. Then Louis Riddick just made this point. Yeah. McDermott and Leslie Frazier really coach up DBs and get the best out of the DBs.
Levi Wallace had a great year.
I think he'll be a good player.
Yeah, Levi Wallace is awesome. Treylon Johnson's the best. I'm not going to say he's the best slot corner in the league, but he's one of the best slot corners in the league.
I think he'll be a great addition to your team. It's just such a weird trade.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Wow, that's also something they love. He doesn't turn 21 until next week. Bills love their super young guys. Tremaine Edmonds was the same sort of thing.
Let me erase that for you, buddy.
Thanks, man.
No worries, bud.
So some of the best players still left. So Jermaine Johnson, Daxton Hill, Malik Willis, Tyler Linderbaum, Arnold.
So if Jermaine Johnson goes to the Cowboys here, I think the Ravens take Linderbaum.
Dax Hill's good, man. Someone should probably move up and try to grab that guy.
Honestly, if the Ravens trade back for another 4th-round pick, you might see me lose my mind.
So what do you want them to do? We're 2 picks away. Obviously, Cowboys next, but what do you want the Ravens to do here? Jermaine Johnson?
It's either I think the Cowboys either take Johnson or Linderbaum. So whoever the Cowboys don't take, I think the Ravens
Let's say they do take Jermaine Johnson. Does that change how you feel about the Kyle Hamilton pick? You get the best safety and arguably one of the best edge rushers in the draft.
If the Ravens take
Jermaine Johnson.
I love the pick.
Yeah.
That's skyrocket.
If they don't, then...
Because I wanted Jermaine Johnson at 14.
Yeah.
Right?
100%. Maybe they knew something we didn't.
If they somehow come away with Jermaine Johnson at 25 and also get Kyle Hamilton, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's some Ozzie Newsome stuff. He
ain't
even there anymore.
Guys, let us know in the comments what you've thought of. Give us a grade. I don't know what you'd grade us, but give us a grade. Let us know how we're doing. If you've learned anything about football from us today, that'd be great.
Okay, so what was the quiz you were going to bring up?
Yeah,
we got some time with the Cowboys.
I don't know. Bring up question 2, Matt. I don't even know what my questions were anymore.
Nobody knows.
Too much. Everything's happened.
I got you, Luca. Who are the last players from Michigan and Georgia to go number 1?
That's right. Well, I was going to try and do that before the first overall pick because both were in play, but who were the last
Georgia's Matt
players?
Stafford, right?
Correct.
Michigan. Last Michigan player to go number
Wolverine. 1. How long ago is this? Is it long?
Yeah.
Is it Tim Couch?
No.
Tim Couch was at Kentucky.
It's not that long. Wow, we got an A+ from Grandpa Sam.
Is that Sam Glisserman?
Thank you, Grandpa. Appreciate the
Was
love.
it a quarterback?
Oh, there it is. The chat gave it away. Jake Long.
Jake Long.
Yeah.
Offensive line
I got Stafford. I'll take the 50%.
for the Miami Dolphins. It's question number 2 of draft quiz.
Of the draft quiz. All right, we got to get the energy back up.
Goodness gracious.
It's just so much happened. We're due
So
for
much
a natural
happened.
lull. It's
That we had such a high.
I feel like I want to analyze these picks
And
more
we've
too, and it's just like you
crashed.
can't. You
So
just
much
give a-
energy just came flying out through all those teens picks.
You give a simple
at the end.
grade because it's just like something happened and you have to react to that now, and it's
All right.
it's insanity.
This draft reminds me a lot of the draft where we took Hayden Hurst and Lamar Jackson, where the Ravens just kept trading back
Yeah.
and just kept trading back.
That was Ozzie Newsome's last draft, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they just kept doing. They traded back like 3 or 4 times, and then we're just like, they saw that nobody took Lamar, and they were just like, go get him.
Yes. And I think that could happen with Willis here.
With
someone
Willis?
going to 32, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Cowboys, I think you got to go. They probably go Johnson here. That makes the most sense.
Yeah, it replaces Randy
Randy
Gregory.
Does
Gregory.
anybody explain the slide, though? Does anybody know?
Nobody
what's-
knows, and we like something's. Matt's right. Something has to be going on. Drop from like a
Well, let's see.
consensus
Here we go.
top 10. Da, 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 da. It's the best jingle.
Tyler
Wow.
Smith, tackle Tulsa.
They did. We mentioned they did
They
definitely
lost
need O-line
Lyle
help.
Collins.
Yeah, they have
lost
weak-
Connor Williams.
Interesting that they didn't take Linderbaum though. What's going on in the NFL?
I don't know, but Mel Kiper just said he got a direct hit on his mock draft, so he had Tyler Smith going to the Cowboys.
Wow.
The Baltimore
Attaboy,
Ravens are
Mel.
on the clock. Again,
Okay, so
not gonna lie, don't know a whole lot about Tyler Smith, but
No.
they do fill a need
Yeah,
with it.
definitely
And
fills a
so
need.
any pick that I feel like fills a need that a team feels like they're going to be a first round pick that's going to come in and step in and play, I'll give it a B-. I feel like it's good.
I'm going B. Cowboys definitely needed O-line help.
I think I was stuck at B.
So now what?
It's an interesting pick because like
You know what I think we need right here? The Ravens need one
Trayvon
more
Diggs is
fourth-round
mad,
pick.
by the way. Though.
Trayvon
Trayvon Diggs is so mad right now.
oh
He
this
said,
Trayvon Diggs.
What are the Cowboys doing? I'm so mad. Take Linderbaum.
Yeah.
They didn't.
So this is such a weird spot for the Ravens too now because if they come away with Johnson, now I'm freaked out
Like,
about what's
wrong
going
with this
on
guy?
with them.
Yeah.
Something
maybe-
weird's going on.
Maybe
here.
teams are just scared of the fact that he had one season of production, and that's kind of it. That could be a legitimate thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think for the best thing to happen to us is another trade down. That's what we need here.
Yeah,
That'll get the energy up.
I need the
Your
Ravens.
reaction to a trade will
The Ravens do need another 4th round pick actually. So
And in our defense, we're on 2 hours and 45 minutes. We were due for a lull in energy. We were like just rising.
my God.
It
my
was
God.
nuts.
It was bound to crash.
I still can't believe the Steelers took Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
I can't either. I don't know what they see in him. I don't see a good quarterback.
Should we go to the tier list now? Maybe is that the or
Yeah.
do we wait until the Ravens?
Yeah, you
are-
want to just start putting people on the tier list? I may as well bring it up because we've had it, and it's just like,
Okay, go ahead and throw the Falcons in the worst.
okay, wait 1 second, man.
Go ahead.
Goodness, I want to make sure it's up on the screen first.
No, go ahead.
It's up on the screen. Okay. No, I'm not throwing the Falcons in the worst yet. Sir, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm D.
Yeah.
Does anyone disagree? D.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
D. Yeah.
D.
Depending on how the rest of it shakes out.
I think
could
we
move
move the
to C.
Chiefs. I think Chiefs go to the best.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs were already in that conversation.
Well,
Chiefs
do you
or
want to
Bills?
see what they do with their second pick first?
I don't even think we need to. I
No,
think right now,
I wanna
based
see
off-
what
So
they do with their second
let's
pick
move the
first.
Bills to A.
Yeah, Bills are definitely A.
Bills are an A.
They address the serious need.
Packers are A.
Wait, let's see what
Yeah,
those
Packers
teams
don't
do
move
with
pick.
their.
Oh, they. Still
I'm
have
gonna
second
move
pick.
the Chargers. I feel like
yeah.
B.
well, with their offseason moves, getting J.C. Jackson and Khalil Mack, I think they're an A.
Me and
I agree with
Hein are noted Chargers haters.
Yeah.
You guys are ridiculous.
Noted, and it's not even really haters. It's just like I don't trust their play calling.
Yeah, not at all.
I don't trust
That's
it.
fine. They had a rookie head coach last year.
He's not going to change his ways. Nobody's that aggressive and then does a 180.
No, it doesn't have to be a 180.
I think the aggressiveness.
I don't either.
I think
the situations.
It's the situations and the play calls.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and also go for it if you have the right play.
Can we put the Steelers in C, please?
Yeah, they seem very average to me.
I would put them in D personally. Like the Steelers were trash last year. How are they better?
They're gonna have
year?
a good defense though.
But like when your offense is so bad, the defense will.
But
will fall
okay.
off
So
of
put them
I
ahead
don't
of
think
the
they
Jaguars.
deserve to be in the Jaguars tier. Let's
Yeah.
just see how this goes out though. LA can make an argument that they're the best, signing Allen Robinson and Bobby Wagner. What
Chiefs
do you
are
mean?
better than them.
So there was multiple.
The Chiefs lost Tyreek Hill. The Rams brought in the best linebacker in football and Allen Robinson.
Yeah, but the Chiefs brought in Juju.
I'm putting them in
And
the best.
MVS. Put some
And
respect on
MVS.
MVS.
You guys are.
And they still have Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
Other than Arizona, I would say the Rams were. Lucky
Oh yeah, can we decimate the Cardinals right now?
No, but other than Arizona, the Rams were lucky to win all of their playoff games last year. They arguably could have lost.
Well, they were cruising against Tampa.
I don't
and
think
then they
they
also
were-
blew
almost
it.
took
Okay,
that
they
lead away.
weren't lucky to win that
They
one.
should have lost to the Niners.
They shouldn't have lost. The Niners have a crap quarterback.
And they barely beat them and threw a terrible interception. The in-game odds and the win probability for the Niners went too crazy.
But sometimes good teams do that. Like they
Okay, but then the Bengals also choked it away late. They probably should have lost to the Bengals too.
Yeah, I don't think we can put. I don't think we can put the Rams
were
in.
just the
in
team.
best.
Some years
I'll put them in A.
Some years the best team wins the Super Bowl.
So we're gonna put Kansas City in there after losing Tyreek Hill and losing to that Bengals team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
In overtime.
But also
They
too,
lost in overtime.
All right,
Also
I don't
too,
agree
with
with
the,
this.
With the Rams, like some
don't
years
agree
the
with
best team wins the Super Bowl. Some years it's just the team that survives.
I don't
And
think
the
Kansas
Rams
City
sort of
was the
survived.
best team. I don't think
I don't
their
think they were
defense
either.
is good.
I think Buffalo was the best team last year. The Rams happened to survive and be the last team that survived.
This is nuts. You guys can see the screen that I'm looking at now. Just looking at the NFL draft, it's gonna come up here.
And then a question from Sternyman1. How can we give the Lions an A+ for the trade? Traded up for a wide receiver. Goff doesn't need weapons. They need D help. Well, they took their D help with their second
They
overall.
got Aiden
pick.
Hutchinson.
And I think
They took
I think
arguably the best receiver.
the
in draft.
receiver is more like I don't trust Goff. Goff's not on my radar. I think they're waiting for. They might take Malik Willis
Next
still.
year.
They
still
could
could.
be in play to trade in back into the
also-
first
They don't
round,
have 34 anymore though.
right? But
which would
they
have
could
been
still.
or 30.
I think the Lions are more like hey, let's have a scrappy year next year and go like
And then take their
7-10
quarterback to next
and then
year.
take their
Exactly what
quarterback
they
to next
should.
year.
They have no explosive playmakers on their roster other than Amon-Ra St. Brown, or in their receiving core rather.
Yeah.
Because you had like DeAndre Swift, St. Brown, and Jameson Williams with a quarterback, TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah.
Their O-line's actually half decent.
Yeah.
And
Like-
then defensively is what you have to worry about after.
Having an offense fully structured, ready for a quarterback, is so much better for their development than
It's
bringing
so
in a
important.
quarterback
Exactly.
with bums
It's
and
so
expecting them
important.
to succeed.
It's so important. And you get Jameson Williams on a year that he doesn't have to be the man this year. Like bring him along slowly, but
Yeah.
he could be like if he hits, he's the best receiver in the draft because he has something that none of these other guys have, and that is the most pure speed in the world. And we see it all the time. Teams value speed, whether it be Tyreek Hill, whether it be Deebo Samuel, whether it be Jalen Waddle.
It's
last
arguably
year.
the
Like,
most. It's the most.
the most
you can't
important
coach it.
thing.
It's
you
all. It's the most
cannot
important thing to
coach
have.
speed. You cannot coach speed. Chris Olave, best route runner in the draft, and I don't think there's a question on that.
Is the Ravens pick in now? Like
Yeah,
they,
the
they've
Ravens in,
officially
yeah.
made the
Yeah,
pick.
they've made the pick. They've made.
So
the
we're
pick.
actually taking a player here.
We'll go back to the tier list. I'm guessing.
Yeah, we'll go back after.
So if it's not Jermaine Johnson, it's Tyler Linderbaum.
Wow, Jason Kelsey was live on the draft show when AJ Brown got traded. Oh yeah, and Adam Lefko is a
Eagles fan.
huge Eagles fan.
Here we go.
Who are we taking?
Linderbaum.
There you go.
Good
There we
pick.
go. Yeah, we need offensive line.
Yeah.
Last year there was
you
a
go.
meme. There was a meme.
And
going-
that's where you pick a center.
exactly.
Like,
See
at that spot.
and
That's a good pick.
I said that earlier. Linderbaum
center
at
in the
14, no. Right? Linderbaum at 25, great pick.
Best center in the draft.
And there was a meme going around.
Hey, he falls into the Hamilton category of someone everyone said is a can't miss guy.
Yeah.
And like you got to trade down. You got an extra fourth because you didn't have enough of those.
Yeah,
and
we
you
needed
still got
more.
the guy you wanted.
Right, and that's what I'm saying is there was a meme going around last year of a guy sitting in front of a dumpster, and it was Lamar Jackson giving a pep talk to his offensive line.
Nice.
So we need Ronnie Stanley to be healthy.
Which it seems like he's going to be.
I hope so. He had two years off.
Well, I think your whole last year is just a write-off. You can't base anything off of. There was just too many injuries.
We need Ronnie Stanley to be healthy. We brought in.
Look at him move. Holy, he can move.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. And I think that's great for the Ravens because, wow, the Jets are back on the clock.
Wow.
They have traded back into the first round for a
So this is their third
first round pick.
Are they taking Jermaine Johnson?
I think
Yeah,
so.
maybe, yeah.
This has to.
I mean, they have to, right? They took Garrett Wilson. They took Sauce. Jermaine Johnson's got to be the guy, right?
Yeah.
has to be.
Or do they take Dax Hill?
Yeah, it could be Dax Hill.
They need corner and safety help still, even with Sauce Gardner. I feel like it's got to be Jermaine Johnson though. That is
That'd be a
wild.
crazy first round for the Jets.
It would be. It'd be a really good first round.
I wonder what they gave up to try to get back in because they were pretty high. They probably just their second and then like a second and a third or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
who did they trade with? Who originally had this pick?
Tennessee.
It was
Those
Titans.
Titans.
Wait, is this Tristan Wirfs and Tyler Linderbaum wrestling?
Look at him.
Wow.
Get him!
Look at him go.
That's a very Ravens pick.
That is, but
That's
that's
such a
a great
Ravens
pick.
pick.
That's a really great pick. I like that a lot for your team, your squadron.
I
Yeah.
know you weren't happy, but coming away with the first round with Kyle Hamilton and
Coming
Linderbaum
away
was
with-
pretty sweet.
But
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
it's a really
Stop
No,
complaining.
I'm
you
not complaining. I'm just saying now we're like I keep
Sky,
going
man.
from point to point. We're like, who are receivers now? We've got Bateman, Andrews, I guess Tylan Wallace.
But you can throw waivers at guys on day 2 and a ton on day 3.
There's so many day two
in
guys
round
that
4.
But,
everyone loves.
Man, like the Ravens don't care about they'll draft them with the fourth round picks and stuff, but they don't give them any opportunities. Like we've got like Prochet, Duvernay, like we've got so many of these guys that we've thrown late round picks at that we just don't give them the opportunity to play. So that's the thing. The investment isn't there.
What if they sign Julio Jones?
Okay, stop.
He's a free agent. I'm just asking. What if they do legitimately? There's still free agent wide receivers.
Wide receivers out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like they need like an impact player. Is my
Julio Jones can still be an impact player.
he could be.
Jarvis,
Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
Cole Beasley, a few guys.
Chris Sims with some strong words
Cole
about
Beasley.
Linderbaum. One thing you can count on is the Ravens grabbing the baddest dudes on the planet every year. He has Jason Kelsey potential. I don't care about his size. He dominates. Ravens got the best safety in the draft and the best center in the draft. Yeah, pretty much.
Pick is
Attaboy.
in for the Jets. And their draft board is empty. Literally not one name on their draft board. It's so hilarious.
That's so Jets. Yikes on bikes. You're the best. It's my first stream. Well, welcome to your
You're
first
the
stream.
best.
Happy
You're
to
the
be
best.
part
Yeah.
of it. You're the best.
You're the best. Yeah.
We're
Xon
entering
Bucks.
hour 3. We need coffee or something.
All right. I saw a spoiler.
No.
No, don't say it. Don't
So
say
the
it.
Jets
man.
trade.
Oh, yeah, if you have the trade details.
I have the trade details and the pick. So the Jets trade 26. They get 26 and 101 for 35, 69, and 163.
Nice.
And
That's not bad to
they
move
get
up.
a guy that, well, I think everyone has been waiting for him.
Jermaine
Oh,
Johnson.
yeah, okay, there you go.
Let's grade it before they make the pick.
That's an
an A+, right?
plus, yeah.
The Jets
It's an
are
A+.
crushing this draft.
Yeah.
That's the first time those words have ever been said.
A plus,
A+.
New York Jets.
Yeah.
Unless
A+.
something very,
Yeah, unless we find something
very,
out after.
very weird is going on with Jermaine Johnson. It's a great pick.
It's an A plus. How can you go wrong? Again, we talked about the lack of interceptions, the lack of sacks this defense generated.
Yeah.
They've got a defensive head coach, and they finally have picked defensive players for him after one draft of picking 2 offensive guys. 2 of their 3 first-round picks this year are defensive guys. Arguably the best corner in the draft in Sauce Gardner.
Yeah.
And then you get Jermaine Johnson, who had great production this year after leaving Georgia, which tough to get any time on that Georgia defense, especially that defensive line. So I don't have any problems with him transferring and then just dominating in the SEC still.
No.
Jets last year.
Or not the SEC, the ACC.
Jets last year, third worst pass defense in the NFL, 275 yards a game.
Yeah.
They needed someone. This guy has been sliding.
Oh, this
He
guy
is huge.
His shoot is dope.
That is a big man.
Wow,
That is a sick suit.
He is New York right there. He is New York.
Okay, so what's our edge? How many edge is that now in the first round?
I think he's the 4th, no?
Oh, he was on Last Chance U. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
so
1, 2.
crazy.
Last chance you to first round
Just
pick.
4.
I love the pick. I really do. I don't know how you couldn't love this pick if you're the New York Jets.
Man, if you're
Yeah.
the New York Jets, you had such a good first round.
You've got
It's now on
three
you.
players that are starters.
It's now-
wow. Jaguars are on the clock.
And it's wow.
The Jags.
Malik Willis. Goodbye. Trevor Lawrence.
Who did they trade up with? Who was originally there?
Tampa.
Tampa.
This was supposed to be Tampa.
If
All right, we got another trade.
so, yeah. If you're the Jets now, you just fill out your offensive line now. That's all you really care about
well, this all comes
in the
down
late
to
picks because they don't have when's their next pick? 4th round?
The Jets?
they had
Yeah.
2 seconds, didn't they?
They traded them both, didn't they?
Did they trade both of them?
Why'd they trade both of them?
I think they only traded one.
Oh, they only traded one.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right.
So honestly, man, this is all just on Zach Wilson. I think we all think Zach Wilson isn't that good. It's still way too
know.
early to make a call.
Early, but I
Yeah.
don't think he's good.
Honestly, man, his pro day was a phenomenal thing to watch in terms of those throws. But I saw nothing from him last year to make me
Well,
think
he
that he's a
looked
good
great in the
quarterback.
preseason, but then after that, he didn't.
But that roster had nothing on it
Yeah.
last year, so it's like it's hard to look good on that.
So give
They
him
hit this draft out of the park. Props to them. They've
Grab an
never done that
offensive
before.
lineman in the second round or something.
Wow.
He's swag.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Okay, let's find out what this trade is here. Field Yates has been the guy who's been
There's
breaking
been
everything.
so many trades tonight.
I
Yeah.
know, it's awesome.
So it was funny. We started with a bunch of teams. We started with 8 teams with 2 first-round picks. How many have moved?
Wow, the Bucks got a lot for this. Bucks got 33, 106, 180. So they basically moved down 6 spots and picked up an extra. That would be
Yeah. Who do the Jaguars come up and get? Could literally be anything.
yeah. They have holes everywhere.
I feel like
Do they need another running back at 25?
maybe. I feel like, and maybe it's just me, this draft doesn't feel like, or this first round doesn't feel like they are or have been a lot of reaches. Like some really crazy picks where we're just like, that's horrible. Like the Oakland or the well, that's why it's because the Raiders.
Farrell, yeah.
The Raiders
The
aren't in this
Leatherwood.
draft, so that's
Farrell and
why.
Leatherwood the last 2 years.
And
right?
Yeah.
Everett
Yeah.
and the Dolphins too aren't in this draft, reaching up for Austin Jackson and the corner that has a
So-
really long name that I can't say.
One interesting thing though, as to why it doesn't feel like there's reaches, because this first round didn't really seem to have that much of a consensus outside of the top 5.
It's true.
So it's like a guy like we just saw now, a guy who we saw could go in the top 10 falls all the way to the late 20s.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's fair.
one thing I would say though is like this to me is we kind of talked about before of like, hey, has the craziness of the offseason taken away some of the steam from the draft? And it's like, no, it just took a gasoline and poured it all over the fire. Like this is just the offseason
awesome.
continuing to chaos.
This is awesome.
Hands down, best offseason in NFL history. Nothing touches this. This is the NFL turned into the NBA this year.
It
Yeah,
really
it
did.
was a
It's
crazy
a lot of
year.
fun. It's a
Man,
lot of fun.
Something weird happened. The Ravens actually paid a free agent.
But do they have enough 4th round picks? That's
how
what I'm
many do we
wondering.
have?
Can we make a poll?
Actually,
do the
how many-
Ravens have enough
can
4th
someone
round picks?
can someone tell me
I'm
how many
obsessed.
4th rounds they have? I think they have like
Ooh.
7 or 8 now.
I'm obsessed with the Jermaine Johnson athletic score comps. Neil
Luca
Smith,
just loves a good athlete.
Willie McGinnis, Brian Burns, and Jalen Phillips. Those are some good athletic score comps.
Luca just loves an athlete.
I
Yeah,
really
oh,
do.
I love this the athleticism data though. This is great.
Yeah.
I know, it's awesome.
What's this from? What site is that?
RAS football.
Do you
can
pay for that or no?
No, you can literally just type in Google like whoever you want,
Oh, wow.
RAS, and there you go. He's got an elite composite speed grade.
That's a lot of green.
It's a lot of green. His weight and bench a little bit concerning, apparently, according to the RAS score. But you know what? We will leave that alone. No, I think it's a great pick. I feel like we've just been gushing about how great the Jets have done this draft so far, and there's a reason for it. They've addressed 3 important needs on their team, and they've addressed them with guys that are going to come in and play right away and be impact players.
Yeah.
I don't think you can ask for much more when you're talking about a draft coming away with 3 first-round picks and expecting them all to be high-level contributors, not just their first year, but like for turning this franchise around and getting them back to the playoffs. That's what you're looking for.
But I still have my doubts at quarterback as to get them.
I do too. That's obviously the most important part.
Also,
but
especially in a division where they were very much falling behind.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets take a step forward to, I mean, how good are the Patriots going to be this year? I don't want to be the one doubting them, but how good are the Patriots going to be?
So I don't think they're going to be as good.
I don't think so either.
The defense really carried them last year, and they lost one of their best players on it. And
they have no linebackers anymore.
And honestly, Mac Jones, he's okay.
He's okay.
He's all right.
Yeah.
Is Mac Jones going to go and win you a game?
Maybe.
I don't think so. No, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Also, all that money they spent in free agency 2 off seasons ago, all those guys are junk.
Judon had a great season.
Judon's the only one.
Judon had a great season.
He was amazing, but I was more so talking about the receiver stuff and those tight ends. That's what you spent.
The 2 tight ends was
it made no sense.
Mind-boggling. So the Ravens still have 10 draft picks.
Yeah, they're
what are we doing here?
So, some of the best available players as the Jaguars come up on the clock: Daxton Hill, Malik Willis, Arnold Ebiketie, defensive end from Penn State, and the linebackers, Devin Lloyd and Nakobe Dean. And this could be a spot for one of them, considering Miles Jack is now a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Isn't Nakobe Dean just going to end up on the Pats at 29? I don't want that.
Also,
that's going to happen.
I feel like one of those linebackers is going to end up on the Patriots at 29. It makes too much sense, but I think one could end up here in Jacksonville.
Yep.
Nakobe Dean just seems like a Belichick player.
So
he does.
Oh, you mean one of the smartest guys, the smartest linebackers in the draft who can kind of
everyone is
captain
just like,
my defense?
Thanks to everyone in the chat who let me know that the Ravens have 5 fourth-round picks.
Wow. Nice.
110, 128, 130, 139, 141.
Rob Armstrong.
And then Rob
says,
Armstrong, Christian Kirk ruined the NFL.
Yeah.
Rob Armstrong is my boy.
He did.
Did he ruin it, or did Christian Kirk make the NFL this is the best offseason we've ever had? And it's all because of Christian Kirk.
Is it all because of Christian Kirk?
Yeah, literally.
I want to see the domino meme on Bar Down or TSN's Insta tomorrow.
All because of Christian Kirk.
Yeah. That's a challenge to you directly.
Yeah, I know. You looked straight at me when you said it. You looked straight at me when you said it.
You're the self-proclaimed graphic designer GOAT. This is...
I've never called myself the GOAT.
I don't know. It sounds like something you'd say.
It does sound like something.
I think Devin Lloyd should be the pick if I'm the Jaguars.
You know what? And if Luca says that's the pick, Trent Baalke, if you don't listen, we're coming over there.
Northern Florida.
Trent Baalke's not gonna listen to anyone.
And we're gonna give you the business.
That guy's just gonna keep doing what he does. And
oh, this is a shocker. Getting a text from my dad. Awake at 11 o'clock. I think the Jets did great. Division could be interesting. All they need is a QB. Wow.
Wow. You heard it here first.
Ernie Hein. Ernie Hein is awake at 11:05.
That is an elite take.
Ernie Hein enjoyed a couple Molson exports, watched the draft.
That was my exact take too. So he's probably just watching the stream and is just like, yeah.
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nothing like a good
6
Ernie
picks
Hein
left,
take.
guys.
My dad hasn't sent me anything.
No.
He's a Steelers fan though, so who cares?
Oh, here we go.
6 picks left.
Rob also says bit of both.
22 NFL draft. The Jacksonville Jaguars select Devin Lloyd.
There it is. Luca proclaimed it. We don't have to go to talk.
We don't have to go
Baalke.
fight Trent.
Nice.
Trent, you just
saved yourself a couple Band-Aid bills, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Healthcare ain't free in the United States. B+. I like this pick a lot. Devin Lloyd, I think linebacker was definitely an area of need for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Here, I'll put that there. I realize no one can see my face.
Sorry, I once again swiped the good marker.
No, I know. I have the worst marker in the world. Yeah, I think it's a really good pick. They needed to be more athletic on defense. And I mean, with a comp for Darius Leonard, that's a pretty elite comp. But this guy can do anything. He can rush the quarterback. He can tackle. He's got athleticism and range. He can cover. He's got great ball skills. I don't know what else you want in Jacksonville. It really seems like Miles Jack was that player for them, and they've just replaced Miles Jack with, I mean, they're hoping a better version of Miles Jack.
I give it a B, and I agree with everything you said. I think the key word with him is versatility.
Yeah.
He can kind of do a lot of different stuff. The reason he falls is because there's not that premium. They don't put that premium on the linebacker position, but he seems like, I know we've said it about Hamilton and we said it about Linderbaum, one of those sure things. He's a guy who's like, he will not miss. You know exactly what you're getting with him. I think that's a good pick, and it's a need.
I think my grade is Trevor Lawrence getting sacked by 3 players at the same time.
Better graphic designer than you are in Harvard.
What are we doing? Like,
I mean, the only thing that scares me is the place that he went, because Jacksonville has proven, I don't want to bring it up again, but they've proven that they literally cannot draft at all.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who's doing it.
I don't even know if it's that they can't draft. It's they can't develop players once they've drafted them.
I mean,
they may
can't
be
draft
drafting
them
players
either.
that could turn into studs on other teams.
Other people's teams, yeah.
They can't keep players either.
Right?
Yeah.
No,
Like
they can't
Dante
keep
Fowler
players.
was a player that I think if he was on the Ravens could have been developed into such a good rusher.
He was good with Jacksonville, though. As I yawn.
That's we are. We're in 3 hours,
It's
8
sleepy
minutes.
hours right now. Dylan Fontes, you are a squid. There you go. I made your year.
Oh.
Guys,
Yeah, no, I mean it's
I don't
so
think Dylan's a
interesting.
squid.
It's so interesting when you talk about the draft, and it's just like how much of it is actually, and as you see Devin Lloyd and his kind of snap breakdown, middle
This
linebacker,
goes to what I was
right
saying with the
linebacker,
versatility.
left
He
outside.
can do it all.
They've only pulled up that
Oh.
chart for 2 players, Kyle Hamilton
Yeah.
and Devin Lloyd.
Sorry, quick
I think
update.
they did for Evan Neal too.
Evan Neal as well.
the other
Yeah.
one.
Quick update. The Ravens actually have 6 fourth-round picks.
Oh,
we also
wow.
have 119.
That's a
Wow.
lot of 4th-round picks.
That's almost 25% of them. If they got 8.
Yeah.
That's almost a quarter of the
25%
picks in the round.
That's pretty crazy. Actually.
That's absurd.
Packers.
Who's
pick
in
is
the 4th round of this year's draft?
Are we
Packers
going to
pick-
see that 7th
I hear this is
receiver?
a deep 4th round.
I'll
too.
give you 3 names, Luca, for the
All
Packers.
right, give me
pick.
3 names for the Packers.
2 Georges, Pickens,
Pickens.
or Karlaftis,
Yeah.
yeah.
or Daxton Hill. Are 3 guys I'm looking at.
Dax Hill, I think, is the best value on the board right
Yeah.
now.
But also,
I don't know. I don't know about the Dax Hill one.
They're looking safety because Amos is probably
Amos-
gone next year.
Yeah, and they gotta.
And they
pick
got
up
to decide on
Savage's
Savage
fifth year,
too. And
which
they always look
mean,
forward, so it's an interesting position. And I know,
Karlaftis is also a good pick here too.
yeah, well they need edge. They need a 3rd rotational guy.
Yeah.
Love how Rashawn Gary is.
I don't
coming
think
along.
you
He
make a
looks like
mistake with any of those
superstar.
3. I think
Give me some Christian Watson, North Dakota State action
Oh,
here.
geez, that's a reach.
I need to hit my over 6.5.
Yeah,
George
receiver
Pickens
bet,
would be the
which
guy.
Is now
I think-
we're down to
Take
the wire.
Pickens. Take Pickens.
Pickens is
also,
the guy.
guys, Malik Willis is still available.
right now.
Yeah.
Packers.
That's what the Packers are doing.
Did you see how
Packers
quick that
pick.
pick came in? You know it's Willis.
How quick that came. The second they were on the clock,
Actually,
they
no,
sent it
sorry.
through.
They would have traded up for Willis.
Yeah,
They
true.
only trade up for
Yes.
quarterback.
True.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's up, man?
I also know Jalen Petrie is a guy who has been climbing boards too. A lot of people love him. Another safety guy. There's a lot at play here. Probably not a wide receiver.
Is Petrie at a Baylor?
I'm not sure.
I think
so.
Is.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because there's the Georgia safety as well, Sign or Sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, that he's also good too. I don't know where the
yeah.
Packers should go from here.
Should
but
we go back to tier list for a little bit?
no,
got
the
some
pick is
time?
in. We're just waiting for Raj to come up. We've got 5 picks left.
Luca, can you Google Roger Goodell's RAS score?
It's negative.
A lot of yellow and red. Here we go.
Okay, right after this pick, we're going back to the tier list because we got a lot of teams to get in and not a lot of time.
You'll have the best team to put in after this pick.
We already got the Bills in there.
I will say this, and I always wonder about this when it comes to the draft. What matters more? Is it just is it pure talent? Is it traits? Or is it where you end up? What makes up the highest percentage of success? What's the biggest
I
determiner
think
of success?
as for just the draft,
yeah. In your
From-
minds. I think
from
I
a fan's
personally think
perspective,
it's situation.
I think
Yeah,
it's
I think
wildly
it's situation too.
I think it's different from a fan and a team though, because I think every fan wants to fill the team's holes. They stare at that, but man, look at the teams who have the best draft success. They draft the best players, right? They don't look at
I
positions
also
that
think
they
it's
always
just
need.
a crapshoot.
A lot of the time, no, but you look at the teams who consistently hit and the teams who
But I feel
consistently miss, and they're always going these stud players who are like not necessarily 100% needs right now, but they're just like, there's a stud.
I get that, but also does that kind of become lumped in with the situation thing? Like if you want to say
situation and development,
I think situation's more affected in the later rounds, like second, third, fourth. That's when they start drafting for situation. I think it's important in the
first rounds too.
It's just it's really hard to, especially with how college offenses have changed. Yeah. You want to see a guy run plays that you run, and if you don't see that, you can take a guy who you think might fit, but you've never seen him in any of the things that you do in the NFL. So that's where a situation can be tricky, and like a guy gets drafted could ultimately determine his success, because he could be, if I went here instead of there, it's a completely different offense, a completely different defense. All right, here we go.
No, not yet.
He's got to give his man of the year spiel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hempstead looks stressed.
Yes and no.
Is it that North Dakota State receiver?
No. I feel like I just keep going back to the Ravens because I know them the best. But like Lamar played a 5-wide spread offense in college. Mm-hmm. He does not play 5-wide in Baltimore.
Right? But he's arguably generational talent.
Right? He plays a completely different offense. But yeah, that's also he plays Greg Roman's offense, which.
Hey, Tyrod made a Pro Bowl with Greg Roman's offense.
A lot of players have had great seasons with Tyrod. Lamar won an MVP. Kaepernick went to the Super Bowl.
After year 3, everybody wises up.
Right, but like he's the least creative offensive coordinator in the league.
Well, it's creative for the first year, and then it gets lazy.
Right, and like, I don't know. It's
okay. Let's get with this pick here. Matt's waiting.
Is Andrew still on about something? Luca's just
deep into this ass game.
It's a big game.
Is it a big game?
Yeah, aren't you already clinched first and the President's Trophy's done?
Nothing changes.
Well, I want to assert dominance over a potential first-round playoff opponent.
Oh, okay.
Here you go, Raj. Spit it out. Come on.
Come on.
Cole Strange to New England. Oh.
Yeah.
Devontae Wyatt.
He's good, man. He was projected to go a lot earlier.
There's another Georgia guy.
Yeah.
How many Georgia guys have gone this?
I think that's 5.
Is that 5 from the defense?
There we go. Well, 2 to the Packers.
Trayvon Walker. Yeah. Quay Walker.
Jordan Davis.
Devontae Wyatt. And no, that's 4. So if Nakobe Dean goes next to New England, like we think he will.
Yeah.
So I had in my own little mock area, I had Wyatt going 17 to the Chargers.
Wow.
So there you go. I don't know. People said a lot of good things about him.
So Christopher Hein, big value.
I honestly, man, I watch a lot of SEC and I watch Georgia all the time, and it was like every week it's like, cool, just bet the under in the Georgia game. Like no one does anything on them. No one can score on them.
No one can score.
It was the most impressive college defense I've ever seen. So any guy, I kind of just gravitated towards him.
And I mean, for the Packers, no receiver in the first round, but I think you have to look at it in the sense that they didn't reach for a guy that they can probably get in the second.
Yeah.
They've got another second round pick. I think I'm correct in saying that from the Devontae Adams trade. And they load up on a defense that was really good last year. They're going to take a receiver
in the second round.
They're going to take one. They're eventually going to take one.
I'm going A. I'd like to hear Hempstead.
Yeah, I got an A on there.
I'll go B+.
I got an A on there too.
So this defense, honestly, is going to be even better than it was last year, which is already a much improved unit.
Yeah.
And they're getting Jair Alexander back. Eric Stokes on his second year, who was already a great rookie. And then this allows Kenny Clark to move around a little bit more too and give him some rest.
Yep.
This defense is going to be a top 10 unit.
Yeah.
And maybe better. And look,
maybe
Rodgers
they got
weapons.
Jair back now.
Rodgers needs weapons. We get that. We know that. But you can double up on guys on day 2.
And you can still try to make a trade for a guy. Like
we have Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, hey man, I will always believe in Sammy Watkins.
Will you? I don't know. Yes. As a guy who just had to watch Sammy Watkins, the best ability is availability, and that guy does not have it.
At least we can watch Sammy Watkins' Twitter account, which is always
entertaining.
I think the underrated part of the whole Devontae Adams trade, other than getting the first round picks, was being able to bring back Rasul Douglas and Devondre Campbell.
That's what it allows you to do. Yeah.
Both impact players, and now you've signed them to long-term deals, which is great, and that keeps that defense together. You know Aaron Rodgers is going to be great. They've got 2 great running backs.
You still got Robbie
a good offensive line.
Robbie Tonyan.
They got Tonyan. It really is just the receiver position.
But Rodgers will make someone good though. Rodgers will do that.
And I don't get like Sammy Watkins is good.
Let's hit the tier list, baby.
All right, let's hit the tier list.
So wait, is Nakobe Dean going next, and that'll be our 5th Georgia player? Is that what's happening?
I think
Probably.
so.
I think we can move the Packers up
into
to
A.
It's an easy A. Yeah.
I think so.
And if we're going in order, I would move. Let's go in order. Let's put the.
I don't think we need to go in order.
Really? Okay.
No.
Yeah, no, it's all kind of the same tier. Okay. Vikings have not picked. Bengals have not picked. Falcons, I feel comfortable
the
putting them in the worst.
Yeah, drop them down there.
They're talent
Let's
deprived.
put the Cardinals in.
It's a C, I think.
C.
I think they're pretty C-like.
Yeah, I don't think they're bad enough to put in D.
What about, okay, so we can do the Dolphins. They don't have a first-round pick. They used it to trade for Tyreek Hill.
They still have Tua, which makes me
The
want to put them in
Dolphins are not
C.
good. The Dolphins are a bad
It makes
team.
me want to put them in C, but like they've
Yeah,
got weapons.
C.
They've
Or
got
they're
weapons.
Fine. They got weapons. They're not B. Don't even flirt with
All right,
that.
we'll put
Come
them in
on.
C. We'll put them in C. The 49ers, I think you put in B.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Tampa.
I
We
think
can
they're a
also
B
move to
team.
Tampa. We can move to A.
Because
Or-
Tom Brady's
yeah.
back and literally only...
Also, wait. Are
Chicago could be the worst,
Are
but
the, are
put them
the
in
Texans the worst?
No.
No, I
the
don't think
Falcons
so.
are so bad.
Multiple teams can be in here.
No, I think
No,
you only
the
put
worst,
one
you
in the
only
worst.
one in the
Because
best,
they're
one in the
literally the
worst.
worst.
Yeah.
I think the Falcons are one of the worst NFL rosters I've ever seen.
Yeah, they're trying to do that.
Really
Whereas like the Texans
awful.
will be trying to win.
All right,
the
so
thing.
Texans
They're
in
awful.
D.
And like the
Yeah.
Texans, like Davis Mills wasn't awful.
Where are we
No, he
putting
wasn't.
Cleveland?
So
right?
Cleveland's kind of an incomplete. I think because if you think Watson's going to play 10 games,
Let's put them in C then.
they're B. But if Watson plays 6 games,
Yeah.
they're in C or D.
Cowboys in B? They feel like a B team.
Dude, they were a 12-5 team last year. Like I know
They lost
don't-
Amari Cooper.
they don't
lost
seem-
a couple offensive linemen.
They don't seem like a 12-5 team, but
That division is awful.
Yeah.
Well, the Eagles
Okay,
just
but
got a
does
lot
that make
better
them a
after
B?
today.
I'm putting them in B.
I think they're B.
I think they're B.
Yeah.
I think we can put the Lions in.
Titans got to go in D, right?
Yeah.
They were the 1 seed last year still.
Yeah, but they were the least intimidating one.
Fine.
seed
They,
ever.
were still they almost beat the Bengals. They probably should have beat the Bengals if Tannehill doesn't throw a terrible pick.
But man, no, that's also like you can say they
He's their
almost
quarterback.
you
Yeah,
can say
no
they
receivers
almost
now.
beat
Yeah.
the Bengals. They brought Joe Burrow down 9
I know,
times
they
and didn't
couldn't-
win
and they
that
couldn't
game.
Beat him, I know.
That is more embarrassing than it is
I
to
would-
say you should have beat.
I know.
You should have.
They
You
shouldn't-
lost. That's an embarrassing.
They shouldn't
loss.
be with the Jags, the Bears, and the Texans.
They shouldn't.
though.
But that is
Colts are like the
hideous.
most B team I've ever seen. In
I
my
don't
life.
know though. I think Colts are C. Like that,
Yeah,
they didn't make the playoffs last year, and they
I'm with you, Luca.
But okay,
What,
they
you're
were,
at
they
B.
were a win and you're in game into the playoffs.
lost
lost to the Jags.
They lost to the Jags, but now they have Matt Ryan.
was Matt Ryan better than Carson
So?
Wentz last year? Carson Wentz had a better year than Matt Ryan.
But I think Matt Ryan playing in that Atlanta situation is different than him playing in this Indy
Who are their
situation.
great weapons other than Jonathan Taylor?
Michael Pittman
Pittman's
Jr. is
good.
a beast. Paris Campbell.
I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd go as far to say he's a
Beast,
beast.
yeah,
He
he's
was
a good
beast.
He
receiver.
was good. He
a
was
good
really
receiver.
good.
I'm okay. Well,
But like,
you guys
I
put
don't
them
think
in
they're
C?
on the level. The Niners.
I
were
don't
a
think they're
potential
as
Super
good as
Bowl
the
team last
Cowboys.
year.
So I don't think they're as good as the Cowboys or.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Okay, let's put some other teams in there. I just showed that a pick is in.
So I think Bengals we have to put to A.
well, let's see who they pick
Yep.
first before we do it. Detroit D.
Yeah,
They're
I
a
don't-
D still.
Yeah.
The way how hard they played, I'm fine with flirting with them to C.
Yeah,
but
they had a solid draft too. Like,
Giants put in D.
Well,
Giants and
commissioner's
Oh,
coming
here we
up.
go.
Let's go back to.
Here's your Nakobe Dean pick.
Yeah, I think it should be Nakobe Dean.
It should.
I don't
be.
want it to be.
what is going on?
Cool Strange.
Someone called in chat.
Big Mac. Big Mac.
He called it in the chat.
Yeah.
Big Mac.
Big Mac. And he's got Karloftis to KC.
Is this guy an insider?
Or is he just ahead or when we're behind on the stream?
We're not that far behind.
that's like
he
10
called
minutes
Cole
behind.
Strange like
Yeah, he
five
called it like
5 to 10 minutes ago.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. They needed a guard because they traded Shaq Mason to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Which I didn't understand that at all. I did
didn't
not get
either.
that.
You get a draft pick for him, I guess. Not a great one, but yeah, Cole Strange. I like it.
The Chiefs wasted no time. Pick's already in.
This is a classic Belichick pick. 5-time academic, all SoCon. Like,
Oh
of
my
course,
gosh,
yeah.
he loves those
He
academic
better have
players.
played lacrosse too. That
He
also
definitely
fits the Belichick.
played lacrosse. Guy went to Chattanooga.
Yeah.
It's a good pick. You're protecting your quarterback.
Yeah.
Like,
They need another offensive lineman. It's literally just a replacement for Shaq Mason. Give it a B.
I got it a B+.
Call
That
it a day.
suck. F. Down with the Patriots.
That's a biased pick.
Yes.
That's a man
Fully.
who has been fully owned by a franchise for 20 years.
Hold on. I have
feel
been
like-
a Bills season ticket holder for a long time, since I was like 6 years old. I have not seen the Bills beat Tom Brady live. The 2 times the Bills beat Tom Brady, one, my first year of college at Fanshawe, and that was the Sam Adams game, so that shows how old I am. The second time was the Fitzpatrick 3-0 or 4-0 game, also in Vegas, missed that game. So the only 2 times the Bills have beat the Pats in Buffalo, I have not been there. I hate that, man. But when the Bills win the Super Bowl this year, it needs to be against Tom Brady.
Chiefs are right back on the clock here.
Raj wasted no time, too. Yeah, he's like, let's go, fellas.
Big Mac, again. He had Karlaftis to KC 5 minutes ago. Big Mac, where are you?
Yeah, what's going on?
Who's Cincinnati
Daxton Hill to sin.
So I feel like...
I don't know, Big Mac, you tell us. Goodness, why are you
putting a question mark there?
You know.
Yeah.
Honestly, Daxton Hill to the Bengals would be a great pick for them.
Yeah.
They need secondary.
I feel like Karlaftis
so
was another guy who was way higher in mocks. Like, this is a bit of a slide, is it not?
I think so. Second best pressure
this
rate.
Daxton Hill slide is crazy.
Is our 5th edge guy now?
Yeah. Cincinnati's pick is in. Are we like super behind? I'm just gonna refresh this because
I think the Man of the Year speech backed up everybody, and now they're speeding.
So no, I have the draft tracker up here, and it still doesn't have Cincy's pick in.
Okay, so what's Karlaftis?
I mean, I think if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you brought in Melvin Ingram last year to try and generate some kind of pass rush. Frank Clark is getting up there in years and isn't providing the same impact. So you look at it from a need perspective, I think it's a B+. I don't know.
So I'm giving them an A just because I think that they have an offense that they know virtually nobody can compete with Patrick Mahomes when he's on. I don't care who his receivers are. The Bills can, sure. But, like, if they build their defense up to stop the Bills from scoring like that, they stop Cincinnati from making that comeback, they win the Super Bowl.
That is my point exactly. The Chiefs draft, I think, they looked at what happened in that Bills game. I give this a B+. You're drafting McDuffie. You're drafting an edge guy. They're drafting a team to try to slow down the Bills.
The Bills.
The Bills and the Chiefs are basically in an arms race right now.
The Bills and Bengals games, I think, is exactly what this draft is about for the Chiefs.
I think so,
because they were this close to losing to the Bills.
Yeah,
they were a coin toss. They were a coin toss.
They literally changed the rules because of how much Josh Allen was
Either
wrong.
way, having a good defense is part of football.
Yeah, but hold on. But in overtime, and this is why they changed the rules, you just played 60 minutes. You're so tired.
And I agree with the rule change.
Come on.
I agree with it. But also, that being said, having a defense is a part of football. And then they blew a massive
lead. 157 pass yards a game. They had arguably
they gave up 157 pass yards in a game, and then they also gave up 157 pass yards in 4 minutes.
Yes, exactly.
But either way, I think that Bengals game was more of a wake up call to them than the Bills game was, because they should have skated to the Super Bowl.
Were the Vikings always at 32, or did we have a trade there?
No, that was from the Lions.
Okay.
They've got 32 and 34,
yes, that's right.
and I wonder if this is a Malik Willis spot.
For the Vikings?
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially now because they've got pick number 34. Do you just get it over
Big
with?
Mac says Willis or Booth Jr. to min.
He's the
Big
insider.
Mac's right. I mean, I'm happy.
Mac
I'm happy. I'm aligned with Big Mac. Like,
I would bet the house on whatever Big Mac says after this run. If Daxton Hill goes to Cincy.
Well, we got some Luca over Corwin action in the chat too.
Oh wow, that's very kind of you. Thank
Spicy.
you.
Corwin's actually here.
Is he still here?
He is
What's going on out there?
He's working.
Hempstead, you were just out there. What's happening?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah, get in here, Corwin.
Come on in, Corwin.
Come here. Yeah, right. You never work.
The Raps game's over.
How is...
Can't hear anything you say.
Magical said that Luca's better than you. Corwin says that you're
we're
right.
running on fumes here. We need an injection of energy. Please just come in. We can only talk about left guards for so long. Who said that to him?
Drake did?
Wow.
Drake is literally the biggest loser.
Oh, yeah, this guy's right. More tears. Let's go.
More tears?
Yeah.
Thank you, Shams04.
Right.
Wow, is that the real? Is that the real Shams who broke the first pick? Yeah.
Tears is back. Okay, we can do the Patriots now. I think that Strange was a bit of a reach for sure.
I also think that get the Colts out of B.
Okay, fine. I'll move the Colts to C. You guys are cowards.
Whoa.
I think the Saints are a C.
Your screen is going crazy.
Is it?
When you hold the logos, we're going nuts.
Oh. Oh, wow. I'm seeing it now. It's like an earthquake.
Oh, well. Either way, just don't hold them for that long.
That's okay.
Oh, no.
How is my stream so far behind you guys?
Well, it's always like that. It's on like.
But how does Eric have it?
Because I'm the best.
Giants, they've moved it up to a C.
Yeah, I'd
tier,
put them in
right?
C. They had a good draft.
C?
They had a good draft.
They had a good draft, but they're still like
They have a good
don't
draft.
have
They
that.
brought in new personnel. They brought in Dable. They brought in Wink. I'd put them to C.
Do you guys remember what the Giants did last year?
Yeah, they were bad.
Yes.
They were really bad.
And they, I don't know. They're gonna trade Kadarius Toney. Last year's draft was a complete dumpster fire.
I think they're better than the Lions, Texans, Bears, and Jaguars.
they won
Agreed.
4 games last year. I think they're in that group still.
I actually think the Lions are
I wouldn't surprise. The
better
Lions
than
are
that.
better than the Giants.
I think the Lions
Come
are
on.
better than that.
Interesting.
Man, the Lions played with heart to end that year.
Hey, you're damn right
All right,
there.
I'll move the Giants down to that tier then. The Jets. I guess the Jets
Their
are
Jets
still
are
in that
D,
tier.
yeah, as
They
well.
stay.
The Raiders are the most like
They're
I don't-
C.
I think
Yeah.
they're-
I think
they're
you put
the
I think
average
Ravens
of
can
the
be B.
teams.
Really? You're not
Yeah.
putting them B?
Raiders,
Yeah, Raiders.
You want Raiders and B?
100%.
Panthers, D.
Adams, yeah,
Panthers are a D.
yeah.
Seahawks might be the worst, but I'll put them in D for now.
Yeah,
I think you
Seahawks
could
are
put-
pretty
I think
bad.
Washington, you could probably put a C, right?
Yep.
Denver, I think, is a C. Although with Wilson,
They're
yeah,
a B. They're a B with
Denver's
Wilson.
a B. Yeah, that's that.
The Eagles are a C, I think, still.
Yeah,
Despite
that's
the
fair.
trades that they made.
No, the trades. I love what the Eagles did today.
You put the Bengals in A?
Why don't we let? Oh yeah, they did. Did they? Yeah.
No, but like whatever.
They have to be A.
And then the Vikings,
Well, the Vikings pick 32.
So
Let's
if-
wait. Let's hold off on Vikings till they pick.
they're about as average.
But
as
they
you
if
could
they
be.
take Willis here, that's okay. Just leave it. We'll,
Put them C with potentially moved.
Yeah.
So,
There's
like,
our
if-
tier list.
if
The world's fastest.
if the
tier
Bengals
list.
Well, yeah, the
don't-
screen is going crazy. I
If the
see it now.
Bengals don't take corner here, I don't get it. I don't get what they're doing.
Yeah, it's
They need to go corner or safety.
Nicholas H. Why are the Bengals not in A? I agree. I think they're a little overrated and they got very lucky to get to the Super Bowl, but they still got
Big
to
Mac.
the Super
I think the
Bowl.
Ravens are a better team than the Bengals. I 100% believe that.
Big
I
Mac.
think the Bengals have a better offense, but man, that secondary is awful.
I'm
and that's
thinking-
their.
I don't
that's
think-
their
I'd rather
second
have
healthy.
Burrow. I'd take Burrow and Chase over anybody on the Ravens.
Well, I also think the
Sure,
secondary is.
But I just said they have a better offense. I said that.
yeah.
But
I think
like,
you're-
man, like they had the benefit of everyone else in their division falling apart
Yeah.
last year, and then
Oh,
like,
trust me. I don't think the Bengals were
I don't know if
world
I'd
beaters.
put the Bengals
Okay, here
in
we
A.
go.
I think I'd agree with that. I'd put the
Well-
Bengals in B.
Let's see who they pick.
I'm way behind on this now.
Yeah, see, my boy Nicholas H gets it. Drafted two of the best players at 14
Paxton
and
Hill.
25.
That's a great pick for them.
Yeah, that's a really good pick.
That's
for
a
them.
great
They needed.
pick.
Now,
they
what do
needed
you got to
DB
say,
pick.
Nicholas H? They just got
I-
to steal.
I'll put them.
But I still like. I don't think that
Another
the Bengals
Bulldog.
are
That's
that
five.
much. Are like. I
Or no, for
wouldn't say
seam.
that the Bengals are better than the Ravens.
I would.
Well, I wouldn't.
Okay. I think like you're saying their secondary is bad, but their corners are bad. They have two of the better. Like they have one of the best safety duos in the league.
Man, their corners are awful.
Their corners are
Like,
awful, but they
awful.
played really well last year.
Dude, and how long?
Mike
can you
Hilton
keep...
is not awful. I think he's a
They
good
did
corner.
not play very well last year too.
They
They're
played better
their
than
corners.
It's so
Played
hard.
better
to
than
it's
you
hard,
would think
so hard
from a
to
group
judge
with
the
Eli
Ravens
Apple.
because last year was an incomplete.
Yeah.
So like we don't really know what we have. So I don't think we can say they're better than the Bengals
I also
because
think-
what we saw last year we can't judge because they were so hurt. So then we have to go back.
But
to
then
2
you
years.
also, how can you judge the Bengals on that? Because
they
the
just went to
Ravens
Super
were
Bowl.
so hurt they played them twice. The Steelers were
But they didn't play any of those
decimated.
teams in the playoffs, and
No,
they
but-
beat all those teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, but they played them 6 times in the regular season.
So in case
Yeah,
anyone
but-
wants my grade for this one, it's an A+ for Daxton Hill.
Yeah, oh,
Like,
yeah.
This
I
is an
love
A.
this pick. He's so versatile,
That's an A.
and
A plus just for Nicholas H. I don't know why I'm defending the Bengals so much because I don't.
this
think they're
could
that
be
good, but-
this could be a replacement for Jesse Bates if they end up contract talks kind of end up spiraling out of control. He's on the franchise tag right now. Von Bell is going to be a free agent, and they need corners. So this guy can literally do everything you want in a secondary. Getting him at 31, that's
Yeah,
pretty
it's a
good.
steal.
Yeah, no,
He
that's
was
a
a guy
great
like
pick.
Hamilton who they said like, hey, this
Yeah.
is one of those can't miss guys.
I really like I think the Bengals are an A. Like I get what Nicholas is saying. Kyle Hamilton's top 5.
They had a great draft. The Ravens draft was
like I'm not saying
Kyle
it's
Hamilton's
not
my favorite guy in this draft.
Yeah,
It's
I just
not like it's not a good draft.
Like if you go to the tier list and open her up.
Okay, not yet. Let's wait for the Vikings. I will say, like we're talking about the Ravens. Their offense is nothing to write home about right now.
Yeah,
the Ravens' offense.
Yeah.
How?
I mean, who's playing receiver?
Dude, we have like
you have Bateman.
People forget that like all of our running backs are coming back this season.
I know. So that's fine.
We were running the retirement home out of the backfield last year.
It's not like they were playing bad. Like Freeman and Murray had a pretty good season
with
considering.
retirement level players.
No, I know
were playing well.
I just
think it's we can't judge. It's too hard. It's too hard to.
Our entire offensive line was injured. Yeah. Bateman looked phenomenal when he played.
He looked
Mark
good.
Andrews looks really good. Nick Boyle's coming back healthy. Like, the Ravens have a completely different offense this year.
So then how can we know what it's going to look like, though? That's the thing. I'm not saying that the Ravens aren't capable of being a team
how can you say that they're nothing to write home about when they have one of
I would say
easily
that, like,
the best rushing...
Rashad Bateman, he played a few games, and now he's going to be the number 1 wide receiver. Like,
yeah, but
you obviously drafted him for that reason.
He's easily the best route runner we have on our team. Like, he should have been the number 1 receiver anyway,
of course
even with Hollywood.
That's fine, but I'm just saying, like, that is something that's going to be new to him.
You're saying that's your number 1 when you look at other teams with real number 1s.
I'm comfortable with Bateman being
the Bengals'
number 1.
offense is so good that and they got better this offseason.
If you're ranking number 1 receivers in the NFL, he's probably in like the 20 to 32 range.
But he's only played like 10 games, and how many of them were with Lamar?
So, but would you take? There's 20 other number 1s you would take over him?
Maybe.
Yeah. So then, what do you really have?
But, like, we haven't seen him play.
I know.
He hasn't played with his quarterback.
No, I know,
but that's what I'm saying, though.
All I'm saying is, like, if we're going to talk about why...
Drake London's not a good number 1. We haven't seen him play with his quarterback
If we're going to talk about why the Bengals are in A and the Ravens are in B, I think you start with the offenses. And, like, I don't think the difference between the defenses isn't as big in my mind as the difference between the offenses.
I think the difference in offenses is way bigger in your mind than it is mine.
Probably, but the Bengals have arguably the best.
But their O-line is still a serious question mark.
It's still a question mark, but they signed 3 guys that were starters.
They revised it.
And now they have a full functioning 5-man unit.
Yeah.
They still have a great running game. They have Joe Burrow, who's going to get better. And they got Jamar Chase, who's going to get better, and T. Higgins, who's going to get better.
Outside of the Titans game, they kind of adjusted their play calling schemes to nullify that weakness of a bad offensive
I think their defense is underrated and still being slept on. Like, I get the whole Eli Apple thing and, like, their corners are bad. I think defensively on the D-line, they're pretty good. Linebackers, they're pretty good. And safeties, they're pretty good. I just think the free agent signings that they made last year went under the radar. And we're kind of forgetting they held the Rams pretty much in check in the Super Bowl.
They should have won that game.
The reason they lost that Super Bowl was not because of their defense. It was because of their offense.
Well, not really. They put up enough points to be competitive and be in there, clearly.
I would disagree with that. If we're talking about they had chances to ice the game multiple times. The defense stopped the Rams so many times. And then it's just like, okay, one drive, they finally got there. But
either way, I think I completely agree with this take. I'm not hating on the Bengals at all, but I think whatever tier you put them in, you have to put the Ravens in too.
I disagree with that. And maybe it's because of recency bias, but the Bengals proved that they could go on a playoff run.
Yeah,
whether you call it luck or whether you call it skill.
I like Lamar.
I like Lamar a lot, and you know I like Lamar.
Yeah,
but the Ravens' core group that's been better than the team that they have now. Lewis C and Big Mac right again. This guy is an absolute genius.
So Malik falls out of the first round.
Malik falls out of, and there's the history.
And that's another Georgia. That's our 5th Georgia player.
Defensive players.
Wow.
First school in NFL history to have 5 defensive players in the first round.
How many did LSU have that one year? Oh, that wasn't defensive players.
Defensive players. And Nakobe Dean somehow.
Yeah, the best player on the defense is not picked.
But Lewis Cine, that's a great fit for the Vikings. They needed someone beside Harrison Smith after losing Xavier Woods.
I'm surprised no one traded up for Willis. Like, is this going to be a
I genuinely thought the Vikings were going to take him there.
Oh, I'm seeing Lamar. I'm seeing a Lamar WTF tweet in my feed. This guy doesn't have a contract and seems like he's pretty pissed about what happened.
He loved Hollywood Brown.
He did. But Lamar's also like him and Harbaugh, like everyone gets along so well with Lamar. And genuinely the feeling of why he doesn't have his contract to me seems like Lamar doesn't feel like he's earned enough to be paid as a best.
Yeah, I know he said that. I don't really get that though.
He didn't say that.
Yeah, wasn't there a direct quote of something like that?
That was like Harbaugh who said that.
Or it was it was like Steve Bisciotti, but like Steve Bisciotti said that Lamar.
Yeah. That's what they said. They think he is. Which like that's how
it just seemed like a cryptic quote. There's a lot going on with that.
To me, it just seems like he thinks he needs to do more before he can demand $40 million a season.
But that doesn't seem like any athlete's mentality ever. Like
no athlete is like Lamar.
Yeah.
I've never seen an athlete like Lamar.
He's incredible. I'm not saying he's not incredible. I just think that like we have to give the Bengals some respect. They should not be in the same tier as a team that has not.
We're done the first round. Let's go to the tier list. Let's move Ravens to D.
Yeah, okay.
I think it looks pretty good. There's not really any teams that I'm kind of just looking at. I would still argue the Rams are the best team in the NFL.
No.
I just don't know what the difference is between them and the Chiefs. Like the Rams defense is way better than the Chiefs. The Rams offense is arguably on par with the Chiefs.
I don't think the Rams offense is on par with the Chiefs.
Really?
And their defense lost Von Miller.
Yeah, they got Bobby Wagner.
Their offense, but those are two completely different things.
Okay, but
and how old is Bobby Wagner now? And Von Miller's a premium position.
No, I did.
Oh.
And how old is Von Miller?
Put anyone beside Aaron Donald, and they'll have a good season.
Yeah, but not. Von Miller made crucial plays.
He did. I'm not saying they didn't.
So also, they I know he was hurt, but they lost Robert Woods. They got
Allen Robinson.
I know, but like
Allen Robinson might be better than Robert Woods.
I really like Robert.
No one wants to talk about that.
Nicholas H is our insider right now. Lamar tweeted that because Hollywood apparently was already on a plane to Arizona, and he didn't know anything.
So that means he's still upset that he didn't know. Why is there needs to be transparency between your franchise quarterback?
Bye, Lamar.
Yeah. Holding out. Okay, so let's look at the tier list. Like, what do we got here?
Oh wait, my notes are all showing up on the screen because I just wanted to look at who else the Rams brought in, and they brought in two offensive linemen or brought back two offensive linemen rather that are big. I don't know. I just think that here you can pull up the tier list again if you want. It looks good, but I would still argue that the Rams are the best team in the NFL.
Do you think the Rams are the best team in the NFL last year?
I think genuinely would do this and say they're the best team in B. To me, I don't think they're as good as these teams.
They beat some of these teams.
So I don't think the Bengals are as good as those teams, but I do think they need to be in B because they went to the Super Bowl.
I also don't think the Chargers are as good as those teams.
I'm fine moving the Chargers down.
I would move the Chargers down. I don't think the Chargers are.
So we basically just have the fine. Like this is so chalk. You guys are no fun at all.
Why?
Because you have the fine. Like basically, you're saying no off-season moves mattered at all to change the power balance of anything. What
do you mean? I wouldn't have had the Chargers in B if they didn't make those off-season moves.
That's ridiculous.
How is that ridiculous?
Yeah, they didn't make the playoffs. They have a coach who kind of melted.
The Ravens didn't make the playoffs, and you wouldn't have had them. You have them injured. But I don't care. Like you're basing it on one thing.
What do you mean I'm basing it on one thing? Their entire team is coming back.
The Chargers roster is way better.
The Chargers team was entirely healthy.
The Chargers roster is way better than the Ravens.
The Ravens beat them by 25.
I'm just saying the Chargers roster is way better than the Ravens.
In terms of roster talent is one thing. The Ravens have a proven Super Bowl winning coach. Coach is arguably is it not the second most important thing?
He hasn't gotten them past round one of the playoffs in how long?
But do you trust the Chargers coaching situation?
Yeah, I do.
Really? What's I'm not
Why
saying
should I
don't
trust the Ravens situation anymore?
Because consistency.
He did it once.
No, but he's consistent. He's consistently had winning teams and made the playoffs.
He has. They've had winning teams. It's fine. They made the playoffs. They haven't done anything with it.
Yeah, like
they've choked.
I'm not high on the Ravens either. So like I don't know.
I don't when you go out and you get Khalil Mack, who's one of the best defensive players in football, arguably one of the best corners in football.
Yeah, I'm
JC
saying
Jackson.
they're a B. Like
but you're not projecting any growth out of that team at all.
I would have had them worse if they didn't make those signings.
That doesn't make any sense.
You got but like the Herbert leap factor is definitely something. Like I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Why? They weren't that great last year.
They were. I mean, oh yeah, my TSN, my Sports Center on Jay and Dan, and then I'm back on the tier list. No, I don't know. I just think it's pretty ridiculous to think that like they don't belong in that tier because they have one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football. They have a better offensive line after this draft. They have a better defense than here. Like, do you want to talk about the better
You're putting Herbert. You're going to put Herbert over.
He's top 5.
So Mahomes, Allen,
Herbert,
Rodgers,
Herbert.
Brady, and then Burrow, Herbert.
I'd take Herbert over Burrow. I think he's more talented than Burrow is.
But like Burrow kind of has that Brady factor to him, where the talent might not be there, but like he scrappy finds a way to win. Had a terrible offensive line.
That's fair.
And managed to do that.
Matt, what do you think about the tier list? You've been quiet over there.
Oh, wow. I brought up the Chargers schedule, and there's literally one game, that Amazon game that they promoted. ESPN already has it up on the schedule.
Wow.
I think the Raiders are being disrespected quite a bit.
Just because of Devontae?
It's not because of Devontae.
I think they're so
They
bad.
also signed
Chargers last year lost to
Chandler
Baltimore
Jones.
34-6.
They got Rock Ya-Sin as well.
Yeah, no, and like if you
Don't
watched that
come
game
in
last
here
year,
and say Rock Ya-Sin is going to be a big. If they lost Casey Hayward, he was their best
watching that game
corner.
last year, like that was
Yeah, but they were right there in the playoffs. Like
it wasn't even.
they're
a
winning
game.
games. I don't think they're far behind the Broncos. And
Yeah,
like
like the Chargers had the season on the line in a game against the Raiders and couldn't even beat them.
Yeah.
We've been here too long. I almost just dropped an F-bomb there thinking this was just normal conversation and there's not cameras
they
around us.
lost in overtime.
I just
Look
look
at
at who they're with in C, and I'm like, they're better than those teams.
Look at
the
these
Raiders.
losses.
The Raiders.
I'm
I think
not-
the Raiders are the best team in C.
I'm not convinced.
I don't think they're better than any
I'm
of
not
the teams
convinced
in B.
of what. And also, Josh McDaniels coming in. I don't know what we're.
Okay, but
gonna
Luca,
get
at some
from him.
point you got to look at this. Look at this. There's some bad losses on here, and
That's
that goes
fine.
on coaching. You
That's
lost.
fine.
You lost to the Pats at home. You lost to the Vikings at home. You lost at Denver. Like Denver last year was nothing. You lost at Houston, and then with your season on the line, you lost to Vegas.
That's fine.
Like, at some point, your record and what that represents what you are. And I really don't trust their coaching yet. Hey, they could be 14-3 next year. Herbert could be MVP.
Yeah.
That's definitely in play. I'm not saying it's not.
That's fine.
I'm just saying those teams are Super Bowl contenders. I'm not ready to say that the Chargers are ready to win a Super Bowl when this group hasn't even made the playoffs yet.
That's a fair point. I'll take that. Maybe it's just on talent wise then that I think they're an.
But
A
I think they had.
team.
I
But
think
aren't
they
all
had
those other teams
arguably the
Super Bowl
best
contenders?
offseason.
Isn't everybody?
I think the Chargers are Super Bowl contenders.
But when is
They
the
haven't
last time a
played
team
yet.
has not gone to the playoffs and like had a heartbreaking loss before they've won? That just doesn't really happen.
I mean, the Bengals. Well, I guess they lost.
They did.
But
They didn't win.
They didn't win, but like they could make a run like that.
I don't. The Bengals run was also kind of unprecedented.
It was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
was
like
wild.
a lot. Like they barely beat the Raiders. Like barely snuck out of that. They have.
They barely.
They barely beat
won all
everybody.
those games.
They barely beat anybody.
I honestly, man, like I get in this argument with Jesse all the time. He's just so high on Herbert, and I get it, but like Herbert sometimes just he's not. People want to say he's Josh Allen, he's Patrick Mahomes, he's Aaron Rodgers, he's Tom Brady. He's not in that group yet for me. I don't think Burrow's in that group yet for me either. But
No.
Burrow proved a lot in the playoffs that he's close to getting there.
Interesting.
Like,
Yeah.
gun to your head, who you taking, Burrow or Herbert?
Herbert.
Do you take Herbert?
I don't even
I
think
think
twice
I
about
take
it.
Herbert too.
I don't know who I
I don't
would
even
take.
think
I take
twice
Herbert.
about it.
But I just like.
He makes throws that only he
But
can make.
Herbert's
Joe
not the
Burrow-
reason.
so-
Herbert's not the reason why I don't think the Chargers are an A.
Yeah,
it's not
to me
Herbert.
it's coaching. But
It's
like,
100%
but
coaching.
with Burrow, I
That's
think you-
what separated. Like that's what makes it.
But like no, like also you're saying like they would have been a B last year. They had one of the worst
No,
run
they weren't
defenses
last
I've
year.
ever seen in my life
But
last year.
I'm saying like the offseason moves they made have to count for something.
That's
here.
why
They
I'm
got
saying
one of
they're
the-
in B
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
No, but
They would have been in C.
they didn't
before
just
that.
make moves that were relative to being in B. Like they got Khalil Mack. Like he is one of the best defensive players in football.
So like
I don't think is he still that?
Yeah,
I think
I don't
he
know
still
if we'd
is.
still say that. I'd say looking back on it,
Look
I
at
think
his
the Raiders
PFF
won that
grades.
trade at this point.
Not with the draft picks they made.
Not with the picks they made, but that's because they can't draft.
I think that
He didn't do anything with the Bears. Did they even make the
I mean,
playoffs?
it's more on them than it is on him.
Well then how what?
Khalil Mack
you
hasn't had
make-
double-digit sacks in 3 years.
Yeah,
So like
I know. I just think that Chicago is a bad team. He's playing with
31
Joey Bosa
now. 31 now too.
Yeah.
Like
That's fine. You're telling me he can't have like a Von Miller like impact playing across from Joey Bosa?
I don't think they have the same. I think Von Miller's in a position to succeed because of the depth across that line. I don't think across from Bosa. Yes, I think that's nice. I think he'll be good.
I think he's
but
going to be amazing.
I really don't trust.
And he's got the revenge factor twice a year going back to Las Vegas.
I don't.
I just look at those other. I look at the teams in the top as Super Bowl teams, and I don't think the Chargers are there yet.
And like also,
I would honestly put the Niners. Well,
That's another one from Drew. Sebastian Joseph Day. It's a great run stopper. So they add him to the fold.
Yeah, no, they definitely got better. I think we're all agreeing on that. I just don't think they got better. I don't think they're on par with those teams.
We can keep them there. That's fine.
If you
guys,
like dead
you
set
guys
on
have
keeping them there.
you've overruled me. You have two against one.
Be the decision.
I'd go A. I'm with Luca.
But you also got the Raiders as like top tier, so
No, B.
I'm fine moving the Raiders to B too.
I'm not. I don't think they're good.
Once again, though, Raiders versus Broncos. I don't know.
I'm taking the Broncos.
I know Russell Wilson, yes, but like the Raiders,
their offense is good.
Either way,
The offense
there's
is
the
nasty.
tier list.
The offense is nasty.
They had a really good pass rush last year.
Yeah,
They got better.
They got Chandler Jones. I get it. I don't think they're.
But who did they lose? They lost.
Didn't really lose. They lost
No,
Casey.
Yannick Ngakoue.
They lost Ngakoue. They lost Casey Hayward too, which is a big one I think for corner.
And like a lot of people like discount like the addition that Yannick Ngakoue actually is. Like he doesn't have the sack numbers, but that guy opens up the defense so much and makes like other people so much better on his team. I watched it with the Ravens.
I don't think Josh McDaniels is a great coach.
Josh
you guys want
McDaniels
to talk
is
about
buns.
coaching?
Josh McDaniels is
And
buns.
coaching matters. And we're gonna just throw the Raiders in B.
True point. Yeah, that's good. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
It's his. It's now his second opportunity though. Like
Yeah.
I'd like to.
And like I don't know, like the Raiders have like such an interesting offense to me.
Yeah.
Their offense is insane.
They've
I
got such
also
an
don't think
interesting
Derek
offense.
Carr is very good.
He doesn't have to be.
Yeah, he can sling it though too.
All you need
Like
is
he
pass
can
interference.
sling it.
I know.
That offense.
That's
is
why they
shut
lost that. Let's be honest. That Chargers game.
Yeah.
A couple.
Either way,
awful calls.
there's the tier list, everybody.
Yeah, is this how we're closing out?
The
It's almost
draft is
midnight.
done.
Yeah, the draft is done. Let's go home.
What?
Yeah.
What an absolute evening.
Yeah. What a time.
Connor
Malik
Nickel
Willis.
Penman almost FFF go Browns.
Oh my god. So Malik Willis falls into the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah, who are some players to watch? Let's bring up the Canadians to watch because they're actually going to be on display tomorrow with John Mechie of Alabama.
Mechie.
Jesse Luketa is another one from Penn State to keep an eye on. And there are a few other Canadians that you should just know about.
Non-Canadians, who's on our radar?
Malik Willis, Nakobe Dean. I mean, all the quarterbacks really, like Desmond Ritter,
yep.
Sam Howell, all these guys that people are just like, yeah. I think Andrew Booth is a good one if you're looking for a corner. Like I'm going through all the positions right now. That graphic looks incredible.
Thanks.
There you go.
Luca.
Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall, Isaiah Spiller and James Cook for running backs are some names to know going into the weekend.
You
Wide
used that. I like
receiver.
the maple leaf look you got there. That is a nice graphic.
Yeah, that's cool. Sky Moore for receiver. John Mechie. Obviously, we've talked about him being a Canadian
George
guy.
Pickens still out there.
George Pickens still out there. He's definitely a boomer.
Ravens,
bust
baby,
guy.
grab yourself a receiver. Go get DK Metcalf. Here we go. Put him to A. Luca, the Chargers suck.
Oh, I just noticed that's Connor from work who said that. Yeah, nice. Hey, Connor.
But
Great job with your animations
everybody,
today. They were lovely.
Thank you all for tuning in for the draft. It was a pleasure to experience this night with you.
So.
Yeah, you got to hold it. You got to really
the
feel
two
empowered.
hands.
Yeah, you got to really feel empowered here.
Wonder where David Ojabo's gonna go.
And then
Really hurt, but
yeah,
wonder where he's.
that'll be an
just
interesting.
talking about prospects. Yeah,
Guys,
honestly,
let's shut her down. Let's go to bed.
the numbers. I just appreciate anyone that came in.
Nicholas H. Ravens might make a run for Debo. I think I'd prefer DK, but
They're not.
any
They don't have
receiver.
They don't have
I think they're making a
any.
move for
they don't
Any
have
receiver is good.
capital to do it. But
What do you mean? We have 50,000 fourth-round picks.
you're gonna trade a bunch of fourths.
Yeah,
for
take them
Debo?
all. Take them all.
I feel
guy-
like
this guy needs to go to
Nicholas H
sleep.
might just be your girlfriend's burner, and he's just feeding the chat with Ravens propaganda.
This
Take 'em
guy
all.
needs to go to
Big
sleep.
trust. All right. Good night, everybody.
See everybody.
Love you all.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for
y'all.
tuning in. It was a pleasure. That's our.
This guy's
first
walking
draft.
off. It's a walkout.